When my mother saw that I always lay on the bed every time I came home, she called all the aunts and uncles to laugh at me, and even the dung beetles at home laughed, so there was no place for me in the house. With no other choice, I could only go to the company to collect my salary 100 times higher. Unexpectedly, I ran into the female CEO whom I had never met before, and she brought two adorable twin babies with her. At this moment, I looked at the female CEO in front of me and was stunned. "Why is it you?" It was because I accidentally saved a woman 4 years ago, but I didn't expect to meet her again, and she turned out to be the female president of Tangsing. Yi Qingjiu didn't expect that the two of them would meet again in this way. He then looked at me and turned away. 4 years ago, she was set up by her rivals. Just when she was in despair, I saved her. After that, some things happened between the two of them, and she even got pregnant with twins, a boy and a girl. On the other side, just as I was about to walk to my seat, two little bastards bumped into my legs without any warning. When I realized I had bumped into two kids, I lowered my head hastily. "Kids, are you guys?" However, before I could finish my words, two babies around 3 years old raised their heads at the same time and looked at me. The girl had two small braids of soft yellow hair and was wearing a red princess dress. She looked so soft and cute that looking at her was like looking in a mirror to me. The boy next to him has the same eyes as Yi Qingjiu, who just left. If he wasn't his biological son, I would eat shit live on social media. The girl blinked and showed me a row of small milk teeth. "Uncle, you really look like my brother." The boy pouted, looking unhappy. "She obviously looks like her sister." "Just like a sister." The two were arguing, neither of them giving in. The young assistant, who came running behind them in a panic, just lowered his head to check his phone, and the two darlings ran away without a trace. He picked up the two children nervously and gave me an apologetic smile. "Thank you." When he saw my face, he was stunned. "Don't ask. If you ask, it's your biological father." The moment I saw the two babies, I knew they were definitely mine. I had only one thought in my mind. I had to find Yi Qingjiu and ask her clearly, "Where is the president's office?" The assistant looked at the three faces that were too similar and swallowed. "I'll take you too." In the office, Yi Qingjiu was holding a pen in her fair hand, playing with it while thinking about my affairs, when suddenly there was a hurried knock on the door. Her long eyelashes trembled. "Come in." The assistant came in hurriedly holding two babies. "Boss Yi." Yi Qingjiu raised his eyelids. "Why did you bring them here? Didn't I ask you to take them to play for a while?" Without waiting for the assistant to speak, the little girl pointed at me as if she had discovered a new world and said, "Mom, look, this uncle looks like my younger brother." Hearing this, Yi Qingjiu paused for a moment. The next thing she saw was me standing at the door. She raised her delicate face and looked at the assistant. "You go out first." The chubby little boy ran to Yi Qingjiu, clung to her legs, and said unconvincedly, Mom, this uncle obviously looks like my sister." The girl stood in front of the table, her arrogant demeanor exactly like Yi Qingjiu's. "Obviously they look alike." I looked at the two faces that were too similar, feeling so complicated that I couldn't express it in words. This child is..." Yi Qingjiu never dreamed that I would bump into his two treasures, and I didn't know what to say for a moment. My daughter Niu has been very smart since she was young, and her IQ and EQ are far higher than those of her peers. Seeing her mother's hesitation before she could speak, Niu opened her eyes wide and looked at me with burning eyes. "It's Dad." Niu rushed over immediately and stretched out his hands for a hug. "Dad, Niu misses you." I was melted instantly. After all, blood is thicker than water, and the affection between parents and children is irreplaceable by any other emotion. I hugged my daughter and said, "Dear baby, Daddy misses you too." But his son Yanyan didn't know whether he was scared or excited. He actually cried in Yi Qingjiu's arms. Boys are always weaker in expressing themselves. Seeing the child crying and at a loss, the usually cold and ruthless Yi Qingjiu softened instantly. "Yanyan, be good, don't cry." I still wanted to confirm. "It's my child, right?" Yi Qingjiu hesitated for a moment and nodded. I looked at Yi Qingjiu holding the child and suddenly felt distressed. "Let me take care of you from now on. The child needs a father, and you can relax a little with me around." Yi Qingjiu's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Be a full-time dad. I offered you a monthly salary of 50,000, don't you want it?" I smiled and said, "If there are any problems with the company, you can always come to me. When there are no problems, I just want to be with you. After all, no amount of money can buy the happiness of being with my wife and children." Yi Qingjiu glanced at me and said, "How come you're my wife? We haven't even got the marriage certificate yet." "Then I'll pay you 50,000 a month and you'll take care of the baby." I was a little confused, Paying money to let me take care of my own child. Is this planning to support me? I think so. Yi Qingjiu interrupted me directly. If you don't agree, forget it. Just when I was hesitating, my daughter Niu gave me a kiss on the face. Today is a day with Daddy. Niu is very happy. Yanyan looked at Yi Qingjiu, then looked at me and spoke cautiously. Yanyan is happy too. Instantly, my happiness level soared. Seeing that the two babies needed their dad so much, I gritted my teeth and said, as long as I can be with my own children, I will support them. No problem. Yi Qingjiu curled the corners of his lips. Deal. Come with me now and get familiar with the environment first. I gave her a big smile. Okay, mother of the child. The words mother of the child sounded very much like the way an old couple address each other, and Yi Qingjiu's face suddenly became covered with a layer of shyness. I looked at the shy Yi Qingjiu in front of me and suddenly became alert. Am I wrong? Damn it. It was just a joke, but Yi Qingjiu blushed completely, and her breathing became a little rapid. With a slightly red face, she quickly walked out of the office. I followed behind with my two children in my arms. Mother of the children, I was wrong, really wrong, please don't be angry. Half an hour later, a Rolls-Royce Phantom stopped at a high-priced villa area in Sichuan City. Yi Qingjiu opened the car door and walked down. The person who opened the door was a naive nanny. Her name is Zhang Ma, and she has been staying at the Yi family since Yi Qingjiu started junior high school. The young lady is back. Yi Qingjiu nodded and walked in. I followed behind him holding the child. When Aunt Zhang saw my face, she was incredulous. So similar, I smiled awkwardly. After all, the child's mother didn't say anything, so it didn't feel right to introduce myself. Seeing that I was a little embarrassed, Zhang's mother half covered her mouth and smiled. I'm sorry, people always can't control their mouths when they get old. Hearing Aunt Zhang say that she was old, Yi Qingjiu looked at her in a feigned anger. How am I old? Aunt Zhang smiled and said, not old, not old. Yi Qingjiu was satisfied then. By the way, Aunt Zhang, this is the child's father. Aunt Zhang smiled and said nothing, as if she understood everything. Then he looked at the two little babies with a smile. Dear ones, it's time for a nap. When Niu heard that it was time to go to bed, he hugged my neck tightly with his little hands, afraid that he would lose his dad by accident. No, Niu wants daddy. Yanyan also spoke nervously. Will I no longer have a daddy if I fall asleep? Yanyan, don't sleep. My heart was broken when I saw the two babies reluctant to leave. I patted their heads and said, from today on, Dad will always be with you. Niu blinked his innocent eyes and looked at me eagerly. Really? I nodded vigorously. If you don't believe me, ask Mom. Yi Qingjiu walked over to the two babies and pulled their hands. Yeah, go to bed quickly. Mom and Dad still have something to talk about. Hearing that their father would not leave, the two little babies went to sleep obediently. Aunt Zhang looked at Yi Qingjiu and said, Miss, what do you want to eat for lunch? When he heard about eating, Yi Qingjiu, who was always decisive, looked a little helpless. Why do people have to eat 3 meals a day? Aunt Zhang smiled lovingly and said, you can't not eat. Hearing this, I quickly said, how about I go and cook? Auntie Zhang, where is the kitchen? Auntie Zhang looked at Yi Qingjiu, and after getting her approval, she took me to the kitchen. On the way, she reminded me worriedly, my daughter likes spicy food, but she has a bad stomach. Just add chili to enhance the flavor. Please don't put too much. I nodded, no problem. An hour later, I walked out of the kitchen with the dishes. Come, try the cooking of the child's father. Yi Qingjiu, who was drinking water, almost choked himself to death. This person was not right. He was either the child's mother or the child's father, as if constantly reminding himself of what happened that night. I served the food and placed it in front of Yi Qingjiu. Is it time for the babies to get up and eat? Yi Qingjiu glanced towards the bedroom and said, it's about time to get up. As she was talking, Niu ran out, stood on tiptoe, hugged my legs, and looked at the table. It smells good, Niu wants to eat it. Yanyan also rubbed her eyes and followed out. Mom, Yanyan is hungry. I held the two babies in the high chairs with a smile on my face, and the nanny brought the two babies tableware and served them the meal. Then I served Yi Qingjiu a bowl of soup, looking expectantly. Try this. Yi Qingjiu took a sip, widened her almond eyes, and said in disbelief, how can it be so delicious? I looked at her with a smile, feeling secretly happy. Niu looked at me aggrievedly. Why does Dad only have eyes for Mom? Niu is so hungry. Yanyan stuffed the empty children's training chopsticks into Niu's mouth. Don't cry, sister, Yanyan will feed you. Yi Qingjiu looked at the two adorable little babies, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. The nanny will take care of them in the afternoon. Go back and pack up and get ready to move in. When they heard they were going to be separated from me, both of them were reluctant to leave. Niu pouted and said, "No, no, Niu doesn't want to be separated from Daddy. No, no, Yanyan doesn't want it either." Hearing the protests of the two babies, I was moved. Why don't I take them with me? Yi Qingjiu looked at the two children he had raised with his own hands and saw that they had forgotten about him in less than a day and became friends with me. He felt sad and touched. An hour later, I took a taxi back to my one-bedroom apartment with my two babies in my arms. When I got to the door, I put the two well-behaved babies down and said, "Be good, Daddy will open the door for you." The two babies nodded sensibly. "Yeah, don't worry, Dad." I touched their heads, took out the key, and opened the door. Looking at my mother sitting on the sofa, I was instantly startled and broke out in a cold sweat. "Mom, why are you here?" Niu heard me calling for Mom and rushed out from behind. His little eyes blinked and his face was full of innocence. "Dad, is this Grandma?" Yanyan nervously grabbed my trouser leg and stuck her head out to watch. Jiang's mother was stunned for a while, and suddenly she picked up the cushion on the sofa and threw it at me as if she understood something. "Okay, you dare to hide such a big thing as marriage from me? Do you still have me as your mother in your eyes?" The two kids got nervous when they saw their dad being beaten. Without waiting for me to speak, they rushed over and hugged Jiang's mother's legs tightly. Yanyan's face turned red with anxiety. "Don't hit my dad is a good man." Niu grabbed Jiang Ma's pants hard and almost pulled them off. "Dad, run quickly, we will protect you." Seeing how strongly the two babies reacted, Jiang's mother squatted down hurriedly and comforted them with a smile. "Good baby, Grandma won't hit you anymore, she won't hit you anymore." Niu stared with a pair of watery eyes, her face full of determination. "No one can bully my dad." Yanyan agrees with her sister's words. "Those who beat Dad are bad people. Yanyan will turn into Ultraman to protect Dad." I saw the two little lumps of flesh trying their best to protect themselves, and my eyes were slightly sore for a moment, and I was so moved. I wiped my eyes and said, "Nano and Yanyan, this is your real grandmother, your father's mother. She is not a bad person. She will not hit your father." Mother Jiang also coaxed in a gentle voice. "Yes, Grandma is Dad's mother. Grandma is not a bad person." After hearing what their father said, the two meatballs let go of my hand and ran to my side quickly, looking like they wanted to support me, with their chubby bodies standing straight. Mother Jiang pulled up her pants, sat on the sofa, and said with a stern face, "Tell me what's going on." I said with a sad face, "Mom, it's not what you think." Jiang's mother is over 50 years old and has seen everything. She said with a straight face, "Is he a classmate? Does the girl's family know about it? How old is the child? Has he been registered?" I didn't dare to hide it, so I just told the truth. "I'm 3 years old, and my household registration should be with my mother." Mother Jiang became angrier and angrier as she listened. She pointed at me and said, "Look at you. These two kids are already 3 years old. How long are you going to keep this secret from us?" Seeing Grandma pointing at Dad, Niu became unhappy again. He put his hands on his hips, his eyes widened, as if he would fight you to the death if you dared to be mean to my dad again. Yanyan also pursed her lips nervously, ready to transform into Ultraman at any time. Seeing how cute the two babies were, Jiang Ma's anger instantly disappeared, and she waved with a smile. Come to Grandma, there are delicious foods here." The two babies were instantly moved when they saw the food. Niu walked to the coffee table with a smile and licked her lips. "Grandma Tilda," this soft and sticky voice made Jiang Ma's heart melt. "Hey, Grandma's good granddaughter." Yanyan saw her sister go, hesitated for a moment, and followed. Jiang Ma held the two children's chubby hands and asked, "Where is your mother?" When Niu heard her mother being asked, she quickly said, "Mom went to work. Her work is very hard." Yanyan also nodded. "Mom often works overtime and always comes back in the middle of the night." When Jiang Ma heard this, her expression darkened again. "What the hell did you give birth to? Bring my daughter-in-law back to me. If you don't want to raise her, I will." After hearing this, I touched my nose and laughed out loud. "Mom, I'm afraid your daughter-in-law is not easy to raise." Mother Jiang glanced at me and said, "Your father and I have saved a lot of money over the years. I will raise not only my daughter-in-law, but also my grandchildren." "Puff, Mom, your daughter-in-law is not an ordinary person." Jiang Ma looked at me suspiciously. "What does not mean by ordinary person? What does it mean?" I hesitated for a moment, but still didn't dare to say it. I took Jiang's mother's arm and sat down. "Mom, this is not what you think. 3 years ago, I was drunk. Then it was like this." Later, the mother gave birth to the child secretly and told me today. Jiang's mother's eyes lit up after hearing this. "That girl is afraid that it will affect your studies. She has been raising 2 children by herself and silently giving for so many years. What a good girl. Why are you waiting if you don't bring her back? I patted Jiang Ma's hand and said seriously, "Oh, I can't explain it to you clearly. The girl is a good girl, and the granddaughter and grandson are also my own, but it's not the right time to take them home now. I will definitely take them back to you after a while, okay?" Seeing that her son didn't seem to be lying, Jiang's mother nodded and said, "All right, I'll clean up the house first and buy a gift for my daughter-in-law." I slapped my thigh and smiled suddenly. "Hey, Tilda, that's right." Mother Jiang looked at the 2 babies and found them more and more adorable. She felt more and more distressed and wanted to take them home to show them to her husband. I packed my things and prepared to go back to the villa with Niu and Yan Yan. In the office of the president of Tengsing Group, Yi Qingjiu sat on a large leather office chair, holding her phone. After hesitating for a long time, she sent a WeChat message to her best friend Sheng Xinyan. "What's the matter with blushing and heart beating for a man?" 3 seconds later, the phone screen lit up. "Fall in love." Yi Qingjiu's eyes widened and he quickly typed 3 words. "Impossible." Her best friend is a well-known veteran in the love field and is recognized as a caring and intimate lady in the circle. But it is absolutely impossible for her to fall in love. 30 seconds later, the phone rang. It was indeed Sheng Xinyan calling. Yi Qingjiu picked up the phone. Before she could say anything, the other party was already so curious that she was tormented by the thought of waiting for a moment longer. "Tell me the truth, who do you like?" "You're not going to tell me, right? Okay, wait for me." Yi Qingjiu blinked with a helpless look. He shouldn't have asked her. It seemed that he was going to get to the bottom of it. "I have already taken my 2 little babies into the taxi." I looked at the 2 little babes and asked, "What do you want to eat tonight?" Niu licked his pink little mouth and said, Niu likes whatever Daddy does." Yan Yan also nodded. "Dad is great. He can cook delicious meals, Tilda." I looked at the 2 cute little guys and my heart was sweet and warm. Niu licked his little mouth and looked at me eagerly. "Dad, can Niu eat long?" I couldn't stay calm when I heard this word. "So rich people can even buy dragon meat." This is a bit metaphysical. I smiled awkwardly, picked up the phone and hesitated whether to ask the child's mother. Inside Tengsing Company, a girl with big brown waves and a pair of affectionate eyes walked into Yi Qingjiu's office in high heels. "Tell me, who made our 1,000-year-old iceberg, the iron tree, bloom?" Yi Qingjiu raised his eyes. A cold light flashed across his face. "Go down, this is the desk." Sheng Xinyan raised her eyebrows, forced out a big fake smile, and moved to the chair obediently. "Dear Jiujiu, Tilda, can I tell you now?" Sheng Xinyan's voice was so sweet that Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but get goosebumps all over the floor. She said calmly, "The kid's father came to apply for a job today. It's really true that if you don't make a sound, you'll be shocked." Sheng Xinyan was so scared that she forgot to close her round mouth. "No, hey, I mean, where is that person? Which department is he in?" Seeing her like this, Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but want to tease her. "Sorry, you will be disappointed. I'm going home." Sheng Xinyan was instantly like being poured with a bucket of cold water. "Is it because she's too ugly that I can't eat her?" Yi Qingjiu glanced at her and said, "What are you thinking about? She is going home with me." Sheng Xinyan clasped her hands together and narrowed her beautiful eyes. "Well, Yi Qingjiu, you took him back so quickly. How is he? Is he handsome?" When I think of this man, all I can think of is the words, mother of the child and wife. Just thinking about it is enough to make me blush and my heart beat fast, and I am speechless. Sheng Xinyan looked at the faint blush on her face and said, "No way, this is just the beginning and you've become like this. This is too exaggerated." Yi Qingjiu lowered her eyes, her long eyelashes trembling. "Oh no, he called me?" "He?" Sheng Xinyan asked curiously, "What did he call you?" Yi Qingjiu had a blushing face and said stubbornly, "He actually called me his wife." Sheng Xinyan frowned. "After all, the 2 of us have a child that big now. What else should I call her if not my wife?" She was a little confused. "So what's the problem?" Before Yi Qingjiu could speak, the phone on the table rang. It was a voice message from Jiang Cheng. "Speak of the devil and he will appear." Yi Qingjiu said coldly, "What's the matter?" I heard my carefree voice. "Hey, wife, what is Long?" Yi Qingjiu's face instantly turned red to her ears. Why do you keep calling me wife all the time?" I heard my careless and slightly mocking voice on the phone. "If you are not my wife, then what are you? You don't recognize me after just a short period of separation." Yi Qingjiu was too embarrassed to listen any further. Long, it's lobster." After saying that, he quickly hung up the phone. Sheng Xinyan looked at Yi Qingjiu, who was usually ruthless and heartless, and now looked like a 16 or 17-year-old girl who had just begun to fall in love. She became more determined in her thoughts. Sure enough, love makes people pretentious. No, love really makes people stupid. I finally figured out what long long is. Although it's a little expensive, it's rare that my daughter wants to eat it. After buying it, I carried the fresh lobster back to the villa happily. Aunt Zhang immediately opened the door. You're back. I put the two babies down and looked at Aunt Zhang with a smile. Well, I bought some food and was delayed. Aunt Zhang looked at me and thought to herself, this young man is energetic and can cook, and most importantly, the two children love him very much. It seems that the young lady won't have to work so hard in the future. I changed my shoes and suddenly remembered something. By the way, Aunt Zhang, what time does Kingju get off work every day? Aunt Zhang said calmly, Mrs. Busy and usually comes back around 8 o'clock. I was a little worried. How will she eat dinner? Aunt Zhang explained. We can eat whenever she comes back. I shook my head. It's not good to eat so late, it's not good for the stomach. I squatted down and looked at the two babies. Let's go and bring food to Mom later, okay? The two babies said in unison, okay, okay. Half an hour later, a plate of salt-baked lobsters came out of the pot. I carefully packed it in a lunch box, walked into the living room, and looked at the two meatballs with a smile. My dears, let's go and have dinner with Mom. Hearing this, the two little guys immediately climbed down from the sofa and ran to me excitedly. Dad, shall we set off now? In the office, Yi Qingjiu was whispering something with Sheng Xinyan. Suddenly, the door was opened from the outside, and two little girls came in. Mommy, Tilda, Mommy, I miss you so much, Tilda. I followed behind with a smile. Wife! When I found that there was someone else in Yi Qingjiu's office, I immediately shut my mouth. When Yi Qingjiu heard me say, wife, his face instantly turned red all the way to his neck. Sheng Xinyan looked at me in front of him. No wonder Qingjiu blushed. He is so handsome. Hello, I'm Qingjiu's best friend. My name is Sheng Xinyan. You can just call me Xinyan. I shook her hand politely. Hello, Jiangcheng. Niu and Yanyan lay on Yi Qingjiu's legs and said in a baby voice, Mommy, Daddy is here to have dinner with. Yi Qingjiu was full of doubts. Did I ask him to come? I put the lunch box in my hand on the coffee table opposite the desk and said casually, I heard that you eat very late every day. That's not good for your stomach. As he spoke, a pair of hands gently supported Yi Qingjiu's shoulders. The moment Yi Qingjiu felt two warm and powerful hands on his shoulders, his heart skipped a beat and his mind went blank. He let me push him to the sofa and sat down. I opened the lunch box and a unique aroma of seafood wafted out. Eat it quickly, it won't taste good if it gets cold. Yi Qingjiu tried to calm himself down. He actually dared to touch me. Who told him to do that? What was even more terrible was why I was enjoying it. The two little babies rushed over to me as soon as they saw the lobsters. Dad, I want to eat too, I want to eat too. Looking at the two eager little things, I smiled and said, Okay, Dad will peel it for. Seeing Yi Qingjiu still sitting still, I gently pushed her. Don't just stand there, eat quickly. Sheng Xinyan stood aside, looking at the happy appearance of the family of four and coughed twice. Then I'll leave first. Yi Qingjiu finally came to his senses. How about we eat something together? Sheng Xinyan smiled mischievously. Forget it, I just ate a lemon, it's sour, Tilda. Nunyuo Yanyan, Auntie is leaving first, you guys better be good, Tilda. Nunyuo Yanyan looked at her innocently. Auntie, my father's cooking is super delicious, you can stay and have a taste. Sheng Xinyan waved her hand. Auntie has something else to do, see you another, then she said to me. Be good to my Qingjiu. I was removing the red shell with the meat attached to it for my babies. Hearing Sheng Xinyan's words, I nodded repeatedly. Of course. Niu chewed it for a few times and his eyes lit up. Dad, it's delicious. So delicious, Tilda. Yanyan was also shocked by the taste and nodded repeatedly, his little cheeks bulging. Only Yi Qingjiu was silently picking at the rice in the bowl. His mind was in a turmoil and he couldn't taste anything. I couldn't help but touch her head. Eat well. Unexpectedly, this touch made Yi Qingjiu's scalp numb instantly, and she bit her tongue without paying attention. The pain was so sour that tears came down instantly. Seeing Yi Qingjiu's tears falling down, I became anxious and pinched her chin, lifted it up gently, and wanted to blow on her to see if it would feel better. At this moment, Yi Qingjiu raised his chin slightly, his rosy little lips curled up, and there seemed to be stars in his eyes with tiny lights flickering. This harmless look made my blood boil instantly and my scalp felt numb. Yi Qingjiu was completely stunned and completely forgot about the pain. I quickly withdrew my hand, swallowed my saliva, and pretended to be calm. It doesn't hurt now, right? The Jiang family's unique trick. Yi Qingjiu was helpless after my series of actions today. She lowered her head and blushed. Nano said, It really doesn't hurt anymore. I smiled and said, Then eat quickly or it will get cold. 15 minutes later, Nunu burped. Dad, Nunu is full. Yanyan licked her lips. Yanyan is full too. Yikingju no longer had the appetite to eat. I am full too. I took the lunch box on the table and said, keep busy, I'll take them back first. Yikingju thought for a moment and said, forget it, let's go back together. 10 minutes later, the family of 4 sat on the Phantom. The 2 kids were so sleepy after dinner that they fell asleep on the way. When Aunt Zhang saw the young lady holding the child, she hurriedly took it. I sent the children back to their room. Yikingju changed her shoes, went to the kitchen to get an ice cream, and after thinking for a while, she took another one. I walked out after eating a few bites and saw another ice cream on the upper left. I opened it without hesitation and ate it. Not bad. This is Yikingju's favorite ice cream. She looked at me with satisfaction. Ka Panera's ice cream is really delicious. I know this brand of ice cream should cost at least 1,200 yuan. Is that exaggerated? The most expensive ice cream I've ever eaten is only 30 yuan, Hajin Daz. Yikingju glanced at me and said, yours definitely won't work. What she meant was, yours can't possibly taste better than mine. But who knew that it sounded different to me? Oh my God, who can't do that? What can't do about me? Yikingju nodded seriously. It's indeed not possible. I pushed Yikingju onto the sofa and said, you are provoking me, do you know that? Yikingju was startled by my action and screamed, what are you doing? I was afraid she would wake the baby, so I covered her mouth with my hand and whispered, don't scream too loudly, what if you wake the baby? When Aunt Zhang heard the young lady's cry, she hurried out. Unexpectedly, as soon as she came out, she saw Yikingju leaning shyly on the sofa. My eyesight is not good, you guys continue. Yikingju was embarrassed by what Zhang Ma said and turned her head away from me. Who wouldn't want to take a second look at a woman with such a stunning appearance and such a perfect figure? Yikingju noticed that my eyes were on him and asked unhappily, what are you looking at? Seeing her embarrassed and angry look, I couldn't help but want to tease her. I'm looking at you. Okay, you rascal. You're the one who has your own wife in front of you. Yikingju couldn't argue with me, so he struggled to stand up, turned around, and left. Why doesn't this guy hide anything at all? I looked at her cute, angry look, walked over with a smile, and gently touched her head. Okay, I was just teasing you. Go to bed early, dear. Yikingju was stunned by the sudden touch on his head. His heart almost jumped out of his chest, and his face turned red like a ripe apple. There are many bedrooms. You can choose anyone. I'm going to sleep first. The next morning, when the 2 babies opened their eyes and saw their mother was still sleeping, they quietly climbed out of bed and searched every room on the first floor, and finally found my room. I opened the door and saw that it was my dad lying on the bed. My 2 darlings climbed onto the bed barefoot, one on the left and one on the right beside me. Nunu hugged my face and said, Dad, I finally found you. Yanyan was afraid that her sister would wake up her father, so she pouted and said, don't wake up Dad. Nunu looked aggrieved. I clearly just kissed Dad, I wouldn't wake him up. The 2 of them talked back and forth and finally woke me up from my sleep. I rubbed my eyes and looked at the 2 cute little babies. Why are you here? Nunu rushed to his father, raised his head and blinked his big watery eyes. Nanu misses his father. Yanyan also rushed to throw herself on her father. Yanyan wants to sleep with Daddy every day in the future. The sun shone in, and I looked at the 2 lovely babies. It turned out that the feeling of being needed was so wonderful. I got out of bed with the 2 babies in my arms, and then asked Aunt Zhang to look after them and went to cook. At this time, Yikingju rubbed her sleepy eyes and sat up. She could smell the strong aroma of rice even in the bedroom. She rubbed her stomach and walked towards the kitchen. I was putting vegetables into the pot in the kitchen when I heard footsteps. I turned around and saw Yikingju standing in front of the door. Yikingju noticed that I was looking at her and said unnaturally after a long while, I'm back. I came back to my senses and smiled. Pack up and come to have breakfast. The 2 babies found that their mother had woken up, and they ran over quickly, hugged her legs, and rubbed their chubby little faces against her legs. Mom, you're awake. Yikingju looked at Aunt Zhang, who was following behind her, and frowned. Where is the nanny? Seeing that Aunt Zhang didn't say anything, Yikingju probably understood that now that she had me, it seemed that there was no need for a nanny. She said lightly, we can let them go back today. Aunt Zhang nodded, okay. At this time I came out with the porridge. Try it quickly. Yikingju looked at me and trembled in his heart. Why does this guy seem to have become more handsome? She drank a mouthful of porridge, took out a pair of car keys and put them on the table. The car is in the basement. It will be more convenient to take the children with a car. I looked at the R on the key, a little confused. Is this key for the Phantom? Yikingju nodded. The Phantom is more convenient for taking the child. After she said that, I felt too embarrassed to refuse. She gave me the luxury car. What kind of a wife is this? She is so considerate. Seeing that I didn't say anything, Yi Qingjiu thought that my self-esteem was hurt. After all, many straight men nowadays don't want to live under the shadow of their wives. Before she could finish, I suddenly walked towards her and said, I think you can be more convenient. After what happened last night, Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but get a little nervous when he saw me. What are you doing? I opened my arms and gave her a big hug unexpectedly. Thank you for thinking about me. Unconsciously, Yi Qingjiu's face had become as red as a ripe apple. She pushed me away, her face full of shyness. I want to change my clothes. Aunt Zhang looked at the loving side of the two people, and her old eyes smiled into a crescent. Miss, you are shy. Give her more time. Take your time. I touched my head, smiled bitterly, and said innocently, I didn't do anything. Yi Qingjiu was already dressed, and her hip-hugging short skirt wrapped her perfect curves, which made me mesmerized. She was a little shy when I looked at her with aggressive eyes. Mommy is going to work. You guys follow Daddy and be good. Hearing that Mommy was leaving, the two kids turned around and said, Bye, Mommy, we will be good. I looked at her, her peach blossom eyes blinked, full of tenderness. Be careful on the road. She nodded and walked out quickly. After entering the garage, I don't know why, but whenever I see me, Yi Qingjiu can't help but feel her heart beating faster. Why does this man seem a little bit flirtatious? I was watching Peppa Pig with my kids when I heard the phone ring and I hurried to answer it. I took a deep breath and saw two words written on the screen. Mom. Hey, Mom, what's up? I've discussed it with your dad, and we still have to hold a wedding for you, the sooner the better. When talking about marriage, Jiang's mother couldn't help but get excited. I felt helpless after hearing this. It's only been one day. Didn't you agree to give me some time to slowly tell the child's mother? Will they agree to this? Think about us. Our two babies can't even be recognized by their grandparents. They are always wandering around outside. How can your father and I feel good about this? They are such lovely children. Mother Jiang felt more and more aggrieved as she spoke. Your Aunt Zhang holds her grandson in her arms and basks in the sun downstairs every day. She is so happy. I was amused by what my mother said. So you feel that you are not happy enough? Upon hearing this, Jiang's mother became excited. I am just not happy. It is difficult for me to even see my grandchildren. Listening to Jiang Ma's aggrieved tone, I seemed to see her resentful eyes through the screen. Mom, don't be sad. I'll bring your grandson back to you right now. Isn't it just to bask in the sun? Bring your son and grandson to bask in the sun together, and we can bask in happiness too. After hearing what I said, Jiang Ma burst into laughter and said, That's a deal. I'll go cook now. The day before yesterday, your aunt picked some vegetables from the vegetable garden. They are all grown at home and are very healthy. I looked determined. No, just sit in the sun and wait for me. Let's go bask in some happiness first. I hung up the phone and looked at the two lovely babies. Do you two want to go see Grandma? Hearing Grandma, Nano's little face, which was watching cartoons seriously, turned to me and said, Grandma, can you buy me some potato chips? Yanyan blinked her eyes. Grandma will give us candy. Hearing the word candy, Nuanyu swallowed. She loved candy the most, but Yi Qingjiu never allowed them to eat candy. The two kids climbed down from the sofa and hugged my legs. Dad, we are going to find Grandma. I looked at the two little elves and said, Okay, let's go. Mother Jiang went out to wait for her son and happened to meet Aunt Zhang, who was coming back from shopping. Seeing Mother Jiang sitting alone by the fountain at the door, Aunt Zhang sat down with a smile. What are you doing sitting here? Mother Jiang smiled and said, Waiting for my son. Jiang Cheng will be back for dinner today. Aunt Zhang held her grandson in her arms and boasted, Let me tell you, when you have a grandson, you won't miss your son so much. Jiang Ma's ears were almost calloused from hearing these words, and her attention was focused on the taxis on the street. Seeing that Jiang Ma didn't say anything, Aunt Zhang became even more proud. But Jiang Cheng has been quiet since he was a child, and he is not as likable as our Wu Keo. It is normal for him to get married a few years later, so don't be in a hurry. Jiang's mother didn't want to tell anyone that she had a grandson. After all, they weren't married yet, so it would be embarrassing to tell anyone. But Aunt Zhang was such a mean mouth that she made Jiang's mother's anger rise again. Mother Jiang said unconvincedly, To tell you the truth, I came out today just to wait for my grandchildren. After that, she stretched out two fingers and shook them in front of Aunt Zhang. Twins. Aunt Zhang laughed. Mother Jiang must be crazy about her grandson. She pointed to her temple. I think you have a brain problem because you miss your grandson so much. Mother Jiang was so angry. That's the problem. As she was speaking, A Rolls-Royce Phantom drove over smoothly and stopped in a public parking space not far from the gate of the community. Jiang Cheng got out of the car, carrying a bunch of health products he had just bought, and came over with his two babies. Niu hugged Jiang Ma's legs and started to act coquettishly. Grandma, Niu wants some candy. Yanyan was unwilling to be left behind. Grandma, Yanyan not only wants to eat candy but also potato chips. Niu glared at him angrily, turned around and grabbed Jiang Ma's hand and shook it. Grandma, Niu wants to eat potato chips too. When Jiang Ma saw the two little babies, she smiled and said, Okay, Grandma will buy them for you. Aunt Zhang's eyes widened. Is it really your grandson? He's grown so big. Without waiting for Aunt Jiang to speak, I walked over with my bags, put the things on the ground, and looked at Aunt Jiang with a smile. Your son has brought his grandchildren back to accompany you in the sun. Seeing how filial I was, Aunt Zhang felt uncomfortable. Chengzi is back. You must be tired carrying so many things on the bus and taking care of two children. Auntie, please make way for me. Sit down and have a rest. I looked at Aunt Zhang with a smile. I drove back. I'm not tired at all. Hearing that her son had a car, Jiang's mother was surprised. When did you buy a car? I said proudly, your daughter-in-law gave it to me. I said no, but she insisted on giving it to me. When Aunt Zhang heard what I said, her face immediately turned grim. Speaking of cars, my son's Land Rover is the best, but it's very expensive. Most people have to save up for decades to buy one. After saying that, she still felt that it was not cruel enough, so she added, Which one is your car? Auntie will help you check it out. Don't be foolish enough to marry someone else just for a junky car worth tens of thousands of dollars. Niu was not happy when he heard the phrase marrying into the family. Although he didn't understand what it meant, he felt that it must be something bad. He stood at Jiang Ma's feet and said, My father is the hero of the family. He is the idol of Yanyan, me and my mother. You are not allowed to say that about him. Yanyan also looked at Aunt Zhang with vigilance, as if he was ready to transform into Ultraman at any time and defeat all the bad guys. Aunt Zhang smiled unnaturally. These two kids are really quick talkers. Mother Jiang was unhappy. How can my grandson be called quick talkers? That's called quick reaction. I pointed to my car and said, My car is not expensive, but it would take Wu Ko decades to earn it. Aunt Zhang couldn't sit still anymore. She looked at the mother and son with a fake smile and said, You guys chat slowly. I have a lot of things to do at home. I'll leave first. When Jiang's mother saw Aunt Zhang leaving, she quickly scolded me. Child, why do you buy so many things when you can just go home? I looked at Jiang Ma with a smile. Don't worry, your son is living well now and has no shortage of money. When we got to the door, Dad Jiang couldn't wait to open it. I widened my eyes and said, Dad, I haven't even knocked yet. Before I could finish, Father Jiang pushed me aside and said, Move away, don't block the way for my grandchildren. After saying that, he squatted down with a smile and looked at Niu. Grandma said you are the most beautiful. Come and let Grandpa see you. Yanyan was unhappy when she heard this and puffed her cheeks. I'm beautiful too. Father Jiang pulled him over and said, You are a man, an Ultraman? I turned and went into the kitchen, and Mother Jiang hurriedly followed behind me. Mom, just take good care of your grandson and I will take care of the cooking. Mother Jiang nodded and said, Okay, then I'll go see my precious grandson. After that, she went to the living room with a smile. An hour later, 4 dishes, a soup, and a bowl of white rice were served. Father Jiang took a bite and his eyes lit up. Well, not bad. Old man, how about you have a couple of drinks? Father Jiang rubbed his hands and said, I have lived half my life and now I have grandchildren. Come and have a drink. Niu and Yanyan sat obediently next to Grandma and Dad, eating whatever the adults ate, taking big or small bites while watching Jiang Ma, their hearts melting. He put down his chopsticks and looked at me earnestly. I say, if you don't want to have a wedding, it's okay, but you still have to get the certificate, and you have to give them an explanation. I nodded. Okay, I'll go back and discuss it with her, don't worry too much about it. Jiang Ma nodded, went into the house to get the household registration booklet and put it on the table. Take this with you. As long as the girl agrees, get married quickly without asking for our opinion. I took a few bites of rice and knew what was going on. After dinner, the two babies started to feel sleepy and actually fell asleep while eating fruit on the sofa. I carried them into the house and then tiptoed out. Jiang's father and mother were watching TV and saw me looking like I was about to go out. What are you going to do? I smiled and said, The kid's mother gave me her car, so I have to buy her a gift to show my appreciation, right? When Jiang's mother heard that she was going to buy a gift for her daughter-in-law, she nodded repeatedly. Don't be stingy. If you don't have enough money, ask me for it. I smiled and said, Don't worry, I have enough money. Then I left the house. On the way here, he had already decided to buy a pair of flat shoes for his wife. At this time, Jo Meng, a beautiful girl with shoulder-length hair and big eyes, came towards me and recognized me at a glance. Seeing me sitting on the Phantom cover, she smiled sweetly and said, "Senior, I actually met you here, what a coincidence." I nodded, "What a coincidence." Then I lowered my head to look at my phone. "Which brand of shoes is good?" "LV," Jo Meng noticed the Phantom behind me at a glance. "By the way, Senior, you bought a car after just a few days of not seeing you." I glanced at Jo Meng and my eyes fell on the pair of flat shoes. "Your shoes are pretty nice." When Jo Meng heard the Senior praising him, he lowered his head in embarrassment. "Hey, Senior, let me treat you to a meal." I heard about eating and frowned. No, I have something else to do." Jo Meng pouted in disappointment. "Then, Senior, don't reject me next time." I smiled and nodded. "We'll talk about it next time we meet." Jo Meng was still unwilling to give up. "By the way, Senior, are you here to buy something? I have a good eye and can help you choose." I became excited when I heard this. I was not good at buying shoes for women, so it was a great thing to have someone to help me. "Okay, then you have to help me choose carefully." When Jo Meng heard this, she smiled excitedly. "I'll cultivate our relationship while buying things. As long as the Senior is interested, marrying into a wealthy family will be just around the corner." As they talked, they entered LV. I looked at the several pairs of women's shoes with old patterns in the store and couldn't help but frowned. "Jo Meng, do you think these shoes are a bit old-fashioned?" Jo Meng was completely confused by me. "Senior, aren't you here to buy something for yourself? I've never heard that I have a girlfriend, so you're not buying this for yourself, are you?" The more she thought about it, the more nervous she became. I looked carefully at the pairs of shoes in front of me, but still shook my head. "No, my wife can't wear these, they look old-fashioned." "Wife, is this a confession? Oh my God, the pace is so fast." Jo Meng's heart almost flew out. She looked at me shyly. "Senior, isn't this a little too fast?" I was confused. "What do you mean fast?" Jo Meng lowered her head, her eyes full of affection, and tried her best to control her temper. "I mean, aren't we moving a little too fast?" I looked at Jo Meng's shy look and immediately realized. It seems like a misunderstanding. "No, I'm here to buy shoes for my wife. I want to give her a gift." After hearing this, Jo Meng was instantly confused. "Senior, you have a wife. Aren't you single?" I smiled awkwardly. "This is a long story. Let's look at the shoes first." Jo Meng gritted her teeth and followed after a moment's hesitation. The Senior had just graduated, and she was just a girlfriend at best. With her face and the man she couldn't pry open, she had to be the hostess of the luxury car. On the second floor, Sheng Xinyan sat on the sofa, opposite Yi Qingjiu, who was wearing a white suit and suspender skirt and looked very graceful. I went up to the second floor under the guidance of the salesgirl, followed by the cute and well-behaved Jo Meng. The salesgirl took me to the shoe section and said, "Sir, these are all new styles. I'm sure your girlfriend will like them." I was not happy when I heard this. "What girlfriend? It's my wife. My wife is tired from work and always wears high heels, so I want to buy her a pair of nice flat shoes to make her feel more relaxed." Hearing my voice, Yi Qingjiu's breathing slowed down a beat. Why is it him again? And the word wife again? Who is he calling wife? Sheng Xinyan noticed that she looked unhappy and looked over there quickly. When she looked over there, she saw Jo Meng looking at me with a smile on her face. She poked Yi Qingjiu on the sofa and said, "The child's father is here with Sanner to buy shoes." Yi Qingjiu was also confused. What's wrong with this guy? How many wives does he have? Yesterday he was calling his wife all the time, but today he brought someone else to buy shoes. Humph, men's words are deceiving. Yi Qingjiu took a deep breath and said, "I need to listen to what's going on first." The clerk realized that he had said the wrong thing and smiled and said, "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't expect your wife to be so young and beautiful, like a high school student." I hurriedly explained, "You misunderstood. This is not my wife. I am here to help me check the shoes for my wife." Hearing this, Yi Qingjiu breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out that she was looking for someone to help her look at shoes. Sheng Xinyan also understood. It seemed that the two people had no relationship. She leaned next to Yi Qingjiu and whispered, "Sure, your husband is quite thoughtful. He came to buy shoes for you." Yi Qingjiu glanced at her embarrassedly. "Go to hell." Jo Meng gave the clerk an awkward smile and looked at me lovingly. "Yeah, I don't know how lucky I have to be the Senior's girlfriend." Yi Qingjiu was drinking water from the cup on the table. When he heard these words, he almost spit out the water. I was attracted by the violent coughing sound, but I didn't see Yi Qingjiu. Instead, I looked at Sheng Xinyan, who was patting her on the back, and was surprised. "You are here too." Sheng Xinyan stopped what she was doing and looked coldly at Jo Meng next to me. "Sister, You are so talkative. You must be thirsty, right? I'll ask the salesgirl to make you a cup of green tea to moisten your throat. Zhou Meng looked at me innocently. Is this sister my brother's friend? I nodded. My wife's best friend. So she's my rival's best friend, then she can't lose. Zhou Meng looked at me with a guilty look on her face and said sullenly, Did I say something wrong to make my sister misunderstand me? I just envy my senior's girlfriend for having such a perfect boyfriend. Zhou Meng pouted her lips, and she looked more and more aggrieved. I felt a little embarrassed when I saw her expression. However, I think there is one thing that needs to be corrected. I looked at Zhou Meng seriously. She's really not my girlfriend, she's my wife, my dear wife. After hearing this, Yi Qingju couldn't sit still any longer. Why is this guy afraid that others don't know? He tells everyone that I'm his wife. She stood up with a red face. I saw Yi Qingju was stunned for 3 seconds, and then he smiled widely. Wife, you are here too. As he spoke, he walked towards Yi Qingju enthusiastically. Yi Qingju was obviously still in shock from what happened last night and hurriedly stopped him, saying, Don't come over here, let's talk it over. Seeing her nervous look, I couldn't help but want to laugh. Look, you're fine, why are you so nervous? Yi Qingju's face turned red, not knowing what to do. This man is really terrible. None of the 3 people noticed Zhou Meng's complicated look behind them. She stared straight at Yi Qingju's swan neck. I didn't expect that the senior's girlfriend is so beautiful. Zhou Meng came over and said, Senior, this is your wife, right? Then he smiled innocently at Yi Qingju and said, Wow, sister, your lipstick is so beautiful. I really envy you for being able to put on makeup. I don't know how to put on lipstick. This sentence made Yi Qingju embarrassed. As the top executive of the company, she only wore lipstick to let everyone see her energetic side. Sheng Xinyan, who was standing next to her, looked at the faint traces of makeup on Zhou Meng's face with disdain. She folded her hands and said, Sister, your foundation is pretty good, and the highlights and shadows are really good. I'm afraid Qingju can't even learn your skills. Zhou Meng didn't expect Sheng Xinyan to have such sharp eyes. She was speechless for a moment even though she had put on very light makeup. Yi Qingju looked at me and said, So you are here to buy me shoes? I nodded and said, Yes, it's so tiring to wear high heels every day. Buy a pair of flat shoes and put them in the office. When no one is around, change into them and feel comfortable for a while. It's not just to buy you shoes. I also asked Zhou Meng to give me some advice. After all, she is also a girl. Seeing my sincere look, Yi Qingju was a little touched. I didn't expect this person to be so thoughtful. I walked to the shoe rack and took another closer look. My eyes fell on a pair of pink shoes. I took the shoes and waved them in front of Yi Qingju. Wife, how about this pair? Without waiting for Yi Qingju to speak, Zhou Meng hesitated and said, Senior, after all, my sister is already working, and she should look very strong when she wears lipstick, right? I think pink doesn't seem to be appropriate. As soon as this sentence came out, Sheng Xinyan almost died of anger. Who are you saying is old? Who is strong? Zhao Liying is over 30 years old, but she is still pink and tender. Qingju is only in her 20s, she should wear pink. My eyes lit up instantly. Yeah, whatever my wife wears must look good. After saying that, he walked over with the shoes and wanted to let Yi Qingju try them. Seeing that I had squatted down, Yi Qingju hurriedly stopped me. No, I'll do it myself. I was afraid that Yi Qingju would not want to do it, so I pretended to be successful. Then let's start. Yi Qingju quickly took off her high heels and changed into flat shoes. I looked at her and nodded with satisfaction. She is worthy of being my wife. She looks good in anything she wears. After saying that, he looked at the salesgirl who had been standing silently behind him and said, I want this pair. How much is it? The salesgirl came over with a smile and said, Sir, this pair of shoes is 128,000 yuan. Yi Qingju knew that I had no money, and 128,000 yuan was already a sky-high price for me, so she hurriedly said, No, just swipe my card. The moment Zhou Meng heard the price, her face darkened. 180,000 for a pair of shoes. How lucky is this damn woman to have a boyfriend as amazing as my senior. She followed me silently. Senior, I have something else to do, so I'll go first. I didn't stop her. Okay, then go slowly. After that, she happily followed the salesgirl to pay. Zhou Meng walked out with a dark face, looking at the Rolls-Royce across the street, still unwilling to give up. After thinking for a while, she took out the lipstick and notebook from her bag and wrote a note. Senior, I really like you. After writing, she left a red lip print, which she then stuffed into the windshield wiper of the Rolls-Royce before leaving. She didn't believe it, as lipstick notes are a sure kill for most men, and she didn't believe that this senior would remain unmoved. On the sofa on the second floor, Sheng Xinyan looked at Yi Qingju with envy in her almond-shaped eyes. It doesn't seem fake that he treats you like that. He bought the 128,000 yuan pair of shoes without hesitation. I say, Yi Qingjiu, you are really capable. You managed to get such a handsome and considerate husband without making any noise. After a pause, he became a little worried. But that little girl just now didn't mean any good. Look at her teary look. It would be annoying to have such an opponent, and it would be disgusting for you. Yi Qingjiu looked at the pretty little pink shoes on her feet, and a shy smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. As for whether she is a rival or not, she doesn't care. After all, the men chasing after her can line up from here to France, and those who can be snatched away are all trash and unworthy of being her men. Jiang Cheng paid the money and returned to the second floor, looking at Yi Qingjiu. Wife, do you have anything else to buy? Yi Qingjiu shook his head, no more. When Sheng Yangtze saw her best friend's shy and tense expression, she knew it was over. It was time for her to disappear again. She coughed twice and said, "Okay, I have something else to do, I'll leave first." After saying that, he turned and went downstairs. Seeing Xinyan leave, Yi Qingjiu suddenly remembered that he was at home taking care of the children, so why did he appear here? Where are Nyunyu and Yanyan? Speaking of the child, Jiang Chengmeng slapped his head, picked up his shoes, pulled Yi Qingjiu and ran to the car. After being away for so long, the two babies should have woken up by now. Now that he is not here, I wonder how they will cry. Yi Qingjiu was pulled back to the front of the car by him. She raised her beautiful eyes, and her gaze fell on the white piece of paper on the wiper. She got out of the car, took the note, read the words on it clearly, opened the car door and got in. There is no doubt that it was definitely left by Zhou Meng just now. As the car door slammed shut, a meaningful look fell on Jiang Cheng's face. She held up the note and imitated Zhou Meng's innocent look, her eyelashes trembling. "Senior, I really like you." Jiang Cheng's blood boiled instantly when he saw her harmless appearance, especially the words she said. My heart almost stopped. There was an inexplicable tension. Are you serious? Yi Qingjiu glanced at him. What do you mean I'm serious? Isn't this left by your schoolmate? And there's this lipstick mark. After saying that, Yi Qingjiu shook the note in his hand, looked at the bright red lipstick mark on it and couldn't help but wonder. Tell me the truth, are you two having an affair? Looking at Yi Qingjiu, who was pouting and looking a little angry, Jiang Cheng felt as if a cat's claws were gently scratching somewhere in his heart. This woman is so beautiful even when she is angry. Jiang Cheng couldn't help but want to tease her. That's it. She really wanted to ask him if he had kissed the schoolgirl, but she couldn't say it. She was embarrassed and angry. Yes. Yes, yes. Jiang Cheng grabbed her head and kissed her soft lips, then raised his head and looked at her with a smile. Is that so? Yi Qingjiu felt a pair of warm and soft lips suddenly pressed against him, and his heart stopped. 30 seconds later, Yi Qingjiu's scream erupted in the car. Jiang Cheng, who asked him to kiss himself. He actually kissed himself like this. Looking at Yi Qingjiu, whose face was red all the way to his neck, Jiang Cheng said with a playful smile, I'm here, Tilda. Yi Qingjiu stared at him without saying a word. After a while, he said, I have something else to do. I'll go back to the company first. After saying that, he opened the car door and ran away. Jiang Cheng opened the window and said, Wife, let me take you there. She was responded by the roar of a Lamborghini starting. Jiang Cheng shook his head. His wife was so cute. What kind of aloof female CEO? She was clearly the girl next door. He was in a very good mood. He turned on the radio, listened to Jolin Tsai's Sun Never Sets, pressed the start button, walked out of the parking lot with a smile and headed towards home. Sure enough, as soon as I entered the corridor, I heard the heroic cries of the two babies. Jiang Cheng's heart tightened and he rushed to the third floor. Aunt Zhang said that the two babies are a little grumpy when they wake up. As soon as the door opened, the two little babies saw Jiang Cheng coming back, stopped crying and rushed over to him. Nyunyu shed tears and looked at Jiang Cheng aggrievedly. Dad, don't you want us anymore? It is said that a daughter is her father's little lover in the previous life, and this is absolutely true. Seeing Nyunyu complaining so aggrieved, with tears wetting her eyelashes, Jiang Cheng's heart almost broke. Dad is out buying a present for Mom. How could he not want you guys? Yanyan hugged Jiang Cheng's legs and was about to climb up, which scared Jiang's mother. Afraid that the child would fall, he hurried over and picked him up. My dear, this is so dangerous. Then he handed the child to Jiang Cheng. Dad, do you have a gift for Yanyan? Yanyan snuggled into Jiang Cheng's arms, her voice soft. Jiang Cheng held Nyunyu in one hand and Yanyan in the other, his face full of shame. It was not that he didn't want to buy them, but he really didn't have the time. He looked at the alarm clock in the living room, and it was almost 6 o'clock. Well, let's go find Mom first. We'll go out to eat today. After we're full, the four of us will go to the supermarket and buy you gifts. How about that? Yanyan's face was full of anticipation. Dad, Yanyan wants Ultraman Zero that Tiger is not. Yanyan is a loyal Ultraman fan. Nuo rubbed his chubby hands, his face full of excitement. Nunuo likes Barbie. Mommy hasn't bought me a new Barbie doll for a long time. Okay, no problem, but can you two come down first? Jiang Cheng's waist has been a little bit weak these past 2 days because he has been holding 2 children. If it weren't for the marrow cleansing pill, I would have been useless by now. After saying that, Jiang Cheng put the 2 babies on the ground and looked at his parents. Mom and Dad, I'll leave first. I will definitely bring my wife back to you someday. Go ahead and be careful on the road, Father Jiang warned. Mother Jiang glanced at the old man and said, I'll send them down. After saying that, he put on his shoes. Nuo and Yanyan knew they were about to leave, so they ran to their grandfather, one on the left and one on the right, and hugged him on the face and gave him a kiss. Grandpa Bay by Tilda. Grandpa Bay by Tilda. After saying that, he ran back to Jiang Cheng's legs. Father Jiang looked at the 2 babies with a smile. Okay, bye. Jiang's mother watched his car start up. Then she walked back reluctantly. Jiang Cheng went all the way to the Tengsing parking lot. The 2 meatballs opened the door and ran downstairs. They were as familiar with this place as their home. The 3 of them got on the elevator and went straight to the 14th floor. When passing by the conference room, Jiang Cheng heard Yi Qingjiu's voice coming from inside and couldn't help but stop in front of the glass door to watch. Yi Qingjiu was wearing a suit and a suspender skirt that clung to her body. With her white arms wrapped around her and her delicate face slightly raised, she looked like a phoenix looking up into the sky, emitting a powerful aura. Jiang Cheng felt a slight sense of oppression even when he was standing outside. The moment she raised her eyes, she saw Jiang Chengzheng standing at the door. After a moment of surprise, Yi Qingjiu tapped the table lightly with her fingertips. That's all for today, let's adjourn. She came out and asked, Why are you here? The 2 kids saw their mother coming out and hurriedly grabbed her hand. Daddy said he would take us out for dinner and buy us gifts. In the office, I heard 2 kids calling this man Daddy. Their eyes widened, their faces filled with disbelief. Chapter 15, Wife, why don't we give birth to a football team? That was President Yi, who was famous for her cold-bloodedness. She hated gossip in the office the most, so no one dared to mention the 2 babies' fathers in the past few years, and naturally no one knew about it. Over the years, they have been wondering a lot about who could make an iceberg beauty like Ms. Yi, who is rare in a century, fall in love with her and give birth to a pair of twins at all costs. I didn't expect that he was such a young boy. It's really shocking. Jiang Cheng looked at Yi Qingjiu blatantly. Are you done? Yi Qingjiu hummed. Let's go eat after we're done, Tilda. Jiang Cheng looked at her. Let's go out to eat, Yi Qingjiu asked. Yes, I'll treat you 3 to a good meal. Jiang Cheng looked at Yi Qingjiu with a smile. His pair of peach blossom eyes seemed to hide a 10-mile peach forest. Yi Qingjiu's heartbeat accelerated unconsciously. Her eyelashes trembled. Let's go home and eat. It's too troublesome to eat outside. In fact, it wasn't that she really found it troublesome, but she felt embarrassed that the pair of shoes she bought today cost her 128,000 yuan. To her, it's just a pair of shoes. But for him, it may be a year of hard work, or even more. She couldn't bear to use his money anymore, but she was afraid of hurting his reputation. After thinking it over, she could only say this. Seeing that she was unwilling, Jiang Cheng was a little anxious. Don't do that, we can buy them gifts after dinner. I can ask my assistant to buy whatever they want and send it back, or I can go buy it myself. Before she could finish, Jiang Cheng grabbed her wrist and walked towards the elevator. In the conference room, there was a tidal wave of discussion. Damn it, that man actually pulled Bossy's hand. He's the father of the child. Isn't it normal for him to pull it? What kind of magical plot is this? That guy is so handsome. He doesn't look like the stay-at-home dad on TV at all. Damn, Mr. Yi actually likes this kind of young, handsome guy. What a pity. Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but be a little distracted when Jiang Cheng pulled her like this. It was a warm and firm hand. Holding it tightly in his hand gave me an indescribable sense of security. She let him pull her downstairs from the elevator before pulling away. Why are you pulling me? Jiang Cheng looked at her shy appearance and burst out laughing. Well, not bad, you have improved. Your face is not red anymore. Yi Qingjiu was suddenly at a loss for words. This guy is so smooth-talking. Jiang Cheng looked at her embarrassed and angry appearance and gently inserted a hand into her hanging hair and scratched it. Are you stupid? This action, which only lovers would do, gently tickled a certain place in Yi Qingjiu's heart. This guy is really teasing without knowing it. She blinked somewhat helplessly. Why are you always like this? Jiang Cheng blinked and said innocently, because I like you. It's terrible. What kind of vicious words are these? He actually said he liked me. Yi Qingjiu felt that time had stopped again. Jiang Cheng grabbed her hand again, warmly and affectionately. You are the mother of my child and the person I like, so is there anything wrong with me holding you? After hearing these words, Yi Qingjiu was completely dumbfounded. Jiang Cheng opened his arms and hugged her. Be good, relax. After saying that, he turned around and looked at the two little ones following behind him. Come on, babies. Daddy will take you to eat delicious food and buy gifts. When they heard that they were going to eat something delicious, the two little guys were very excited. Yeah, Tilda. Jiang Cheng opened the car door, and the two little guys couldn't wait to get in. Even after the car drove away for some distance, Yi Qingjiu's mind was still filled with Jiang Cheng's big hug. That hug seemed to have a special power. It's a huge sense of security. She took out her cell phone and silently began searching for some cheap and delicious restaurants. Finally, we settled on a fisherman's kitchen. The food is delicious and not expensive, only 100 yuan per person for a meal. Let's go here. Yi Qingjiu handed the phone to Jiang Cheng. Jiang Cheng glanced at the price and returned the wine to Yi Qing. What are you thinking about? My wife and children must go to the best place in the city. As he spoke, he drove towards Jinyu French restaurant, the most expensive restaurant in Chuancheng. Yi Qingjiu said calmly, I think it's fine to just eat something casually. There's no need to go to the best place. We're not talking about business. The best place in the city is undoubtedly Jingyuefa. The average cost per person there is over 1,500 yuan. 4 people can spend a few thousand yuan on food. It is nothing to her, but for Jiang Cheng, it may be a month's salary. She really couldn't bear it. Jiang Cheng smiled and said, Okay, you are hesitant even to eat. Show your CEO style. Does Yi Qingjiu in front of me look a bit like a cool and domineering president? She is clearly a hesitant and adorable little girl next door. Yi Qingjiu did not insist. When they arrived at the restaurant, several people sat down. The waiter handed over the menu with a smile. Jiang Cheng was stunned after taking a look at it. French. How the hell do I understand this? Normally, I would have a meal with a few university students at a small restaurant that costs only 100 yuan, and have 2 bottles of beer, and we would enjoy the meal very much. He handed the menu to Yi Qingjiu somewhat awkwardly. Come here and see what you like to eat. Yi Qingjiu took the menu and spoke a few simple words in French to the waiter. The waiter smiled and left. After a while, several exquisite dishes were served. The 2 babies' eyes were wide open. Daddy Nunyo wants to. Yanyan wants one too. When the 2 babies saw the delicious food, they immediately sat down properly and picked up the handkerchiefs on the table and tied them around their chubby little necks in an orderly manner. It seems that he has come to places like this to eat with Yi Qingjiu many times. Jiang Cheng picked up some dishes for them, and the 2 darlings picked up the spoons and started eating in big and small mouthfuls. The chubby little cheeks moved so cutely. Jiang Cheng picked up some dishes and put them on Yi Qingjiu's plate. He has to take care of 2 babies and himself. Yi Qingjiu felt a little embarrassed and said, I can do it myself. Jiang Cheng smiled. Isn't it normal for a husband to pick up food for his wife? The moment Yi Qingjiu heard the words husband and wife, her face turned red with embarrassment. The beautiful face was slightly drooped, as if it was completely at a loss. Jiang Cheng couldn't help but laugh out loud when he saw this. How come his wife is so cute? What kind of cold and aloof female CEO is this? She's just the little sister next door. I must have saved the galaxy in my previous life to have such good luck. Yi Qingjiu scolded him. You're laughing again. Every time he laughed, he couldn't help but feel his heart beating faster, as if he had done something shameful. Jiang Cheng stopped smiling and said, Okay, let's eat. After saying that, he started eating with relish. I'm in a very good mood. After dinner, several people did not go to the supermarket, but went to a larger shopping mall. After all, I need to buy toys for my children, and there are too few toys in the supermarket. The mall was full of toys, and the 2 babies' eyes lit up when they saw the toys. Nunyu ran to a Barbie doll like flying. Daddy, this doll is so beautiful. Yanyan grabbed an animatronic dinosaur and said, Daddy, this is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, woo Tilda. Yanyan imitated the roar of a dinosaur in a baby voice, making everyone laugh. A young couple passing by couldn't help but envy them and said, Honey, let's have 2 children in the future. Look how cute they. Sure, as long as you can give birth to a football team. Humph, you have no sentimentality. I'm not a sow. Hey, 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 don't go. Why are you angry again for no reason? What? Jiang Cheng looked at them and raised his eyebrows at Yi Qingjiu. Wife, how about we also form a football team? Chapter 16, 16 EQ Cherries. Yi Qingjiu looked at him unhappily. You come again. How can you behave so unruly in public? Nunu held Jiang Cheng's hand, her eyes full of desire. Daddy, Nunu also wants this Peggy and that sponge Bob Tilda. Jiang Cheng pinched her chubby little face, eyes full of doting. Okay, if Nunu likes it, we can buy them all back. Yanyan was holding a dinosaur and an Ultraman in her hand, and looked at Jiang Cheng excitedly. Dad, are these okay? Although Yanyan is a boy, he is still a 3-year-old child after all. When he acts like a spoiled child, he is so cute. Jiang Cheng looked at the two treasures and his fatherly heart melted. Okay, okay, you can buy whatever Yanyan likes. Yi Qingjiu stood by and looked at the two little darlings who were so happy, feeling a sense of guilt in his heart. In the past, I was always busy with work and seldom brought my children to buy toys. She always thought that if she loved them, she had to make more money and try her best to give them the best life. But in the end, she rarely bought them even the simplest toys. It seemed that she was not a competent mother. Jiang Cheng noticed her unhappiness and asked with concern, What's wrong? Why don't you look happy? Yi Qingjiu lowered his eyes and said, I gave them too little company. Jiang Cheng looked at her self-blaming expression and tried to comfort her. It's not easy for you to run such a big company by yourself with 2 children. Don't be too hard on yourself. But I am their mother. As she spoke, light began to flash in Yi Qingjiu's eyes, and she looked like she was about to cry. Jiang Cheng took her hand and looked at her seriously. You are already great. I will be here with you in the future. You can take care of the outside affairs while I will take care of the inside affairs. This way, it won't be so hard. Seeing his sincere look, Yi Qingjiu was somewhat moved. Thank you, Jiang Cheng. What nonsense are you talking about? You are my wife and these are my children. It's my fault that I didn't find you earlier and take care of you earlier. He forced a big smile. But aren't you afraid of being embarrassed taking care of the children at home? Yi Qingjiu knew that many straight men thought that taking care of children at home was a waste of time, and she was afraid that Jiang Cheng would have the same idea. Jiang Cheng was amused by this question. What's the shame in taking care of your own child? He patted Yi Qingjiu's shoulder. Okay, stop thinking about it. I'll go pay the bill. After saying that, he took the receipt issued by the salesperson and paid the money. Yi Qingjiu turned around and looked at the 2 babies. Come on, babies. Let's go to the door and wait for Daddy, okay? Okay, Tilda. The 2 darlings held Yi Qingjiu's hands, one on the left and one on the right, and walked towards the door. After returning home, the 2 babies happily started playing with their new toys. Yi Qingjiu took out the ice cream as usual. Jiang Cheng looked at the ice cream on the table and frowned. This thing is so cold, how can I eat it every day? After saying that, he picked up the ice cream and went to the kitchen. Yi Qingjiu's eyes widened. What are you doing? No one has ever dared to take away my things so blatantly. Jiang Cheng responded from the kitchen. Wait, I'll wash some fruit for you to eat, it's healthy. He opened the refrigerator door and washed some strawberries. He suddenly remembered his cherry tree and wondered what it was like now. He closed the kitchen door and quietly entered the space. This is a great sight. The seeds that were just thrown in the morning have now grown tall and lush, and there are many big red cherries on them. Just looking at it makes you want to take a bite. Perhaps because the time was too short and no more fruits were produced, Jiang Cheng hurriedly picked a small pot of cherries. System prompts that the cherry tree matures once every 8 hours. After taking it, the emotional intelligence attribute is +10. EQ +10, damn. What kind of magical tree is this? Jiang Cheng couldn't wait to leave the space, washed the cherries, and brought them out together with the strawberries. It's good for girls to eat more fruits. Don't eat cold food all the time. It's not good for your health. After saying that, he put the fruit on the coffee table, picked up a cherry and fed it into Yi Qingjiu's mouth. Yi Qingjiu quickly dodged and said, I'll do it myself. Jiang Cheng smiled evilly. Don't force me to do anything inappropriate for children. When Yi Qingjiu heard that it was not suitable for children, her entire face turned red. Jiang Cheng took the opportunity to put the cherry into her mouth. How is it? Is it sweet? As a daughter-in-law who runs such a large company, it is inevitable that she has high IQ and EQ, but it would definitely be beneficial for her work if she had more EQ. Yi Qingjiu chewed one slowly under Jiang Cheng's fiery gaze. So sweet. Hearing her say it was sweet, Jiang Cheng smiled especially happily. Yeah, if it tastes good, eat more. After saying that, He turned around to look at the two babies who were concentrating on playing with toys. "Come here, babies. Daddy has washed the cherries. They are delicious." When the two babies heard that there was fruit to eat, they dropped their toys, ran over, picked up the cherries, and put them into their mouths. Yi Qingjiu hurriedly said, "You are not allowed to eat until you wash your hands." Hearing this, the two little darlings raised their heads and looked at Jiang Cheng eagerly. This is waiting for his support. 3 seconds later, Jiang Cheng straightened his back and said, "Why are you washing your hands again after just washing them? How many times do you have to wash them in a day? It's okay, eat." After hearing what their father said, the two babies went straight to Cherry. Yi Qingjiu looked at his suddenly straightened back, with a nervous look on his face, and couldn't help but curl the corners of his lips. "Just talk if you want to. Why are you straightening your back?" This was the first time she smiled. Her pink lips slightly curled up, forming a curved arc. Jiang Chengsen felt itchy after seeing this. He raised an eyebrow. "The waist is fine, so why don't you try it?" Yi Qingjiu's face turned red instantly. "Oh my God, what kind of vicious words are these? This person has no sense of reserve at all. It's so annoying." The two babies rushed to put the cherries into their mouths. 3 seconds later, Nuo's expression lit up. "Daddy, this is delicious." After saying that, he couldn't help but take another one with his left hand. Children have small mouths and can only eat half of a meal in one bite. Yanyan raised her chubby little hand and handed the remaining half of her meal to Jiang Cheng. Jiang Cheng squatted down and looked at him with concern. "What's wrong, Yanyan? Is it not delicious?" Yanyan shook her head, her eyes full of innocence. "This is so delicious. Daddy wants to eat it too." After saying that, Yaoba picked up the half cherry in Jiang Cheng's hand and fed it into Jiang Cheng's mouth. It is said that daughters are their fathers, little cotton-padded jackets, while sons only cause trouble. But in Jiang Cheng's eyes, his son is also very good and as cute as his daughter. He touched Yanyan's little head and said, "Thank you, baby." Nunu also hurriedly brought a cherry over. "Daddy, Nunu wants to feed Daddy too, Tilda." The sweet cherries went down the throat and into the stomach. Happiness spread throughout the living room. Yi Qingjiu touched his burning face and said, I'm going to sleep first." After saying that, he went straight into the bedroom. Jiang Cheng shrugged at her back. His wife was so shameless, so cute. There weren't many cherries to begin with, and the two babies finished them in no time. Nunu grabbed the hem of Jiang Cheng's clothes. "Daddy, Nunu still wants to." Jiang Cheng patted her head lovingly. "No, don't eat too much. We'll eat tomorrow, okay, Tilda?" Nano nodded, "Okay." Yanyan had already picked up his little dinosaur. "Sister, let's play the monster beating game." "Okay." Nunu licked his lips and went towards Yanyan again. Chapter 17, Coaxing the Baby to Sleep. The two babies played for a while, and then Aunt Zhang came over and said, "My babies, it's already 9 o'clock. Isn't it time to go to bed?" During the day, she followed the young lady's instructions and sent the two nannies away. So now she has to urge the babies to go to bed. When they heard that it was time to go to bed, the two babies puffed up their chubby little cheeks, pouted their little mouths, and pulled Jiang Cheng's hands, one on the left and one on the right. "We want to sleep with Daddy, Grandma Zhang. You should go to bed soon." Now they have completely become friends with Jiang Cheng. Mother Zhang looked at the two babies and smiled helplessly. "You two will cling to Dad like this. Dad will be tired." When Nunu heard that his father was tired, he got a little nervous and held his hand tighter. "Daddy, Nunu can massage your legs." Nunu has massaged Mommy's legs when she was tired. Yanyan was not to be outdone. Yanyan can do it too. Jiang Cheng looked down at the two little elves and said softly, "Dad is not tired. Sleep with Dad tonight." After saying that, he smiled and looked at Aunt Zhang. "You should go to bed early. I'll take care of them." Aunt Zhang nodded. "Okay, I'll go and rest now. Call me if you need anything." "Yeah," Jiang Cheng agreed. At this moment, the system's voice came to my mind again. "Congratulations to the host for triggering a new task. Task, coax two babies to sleep. Reward, superb voice." Jiang Cheng shook his head. "Is this okay?" He picked up the two little babies excitedly and said, "Let's go, brush our teeth and go to." The three of them stood in the bathroom, brushed their teeth, and spit out water for a while. The two darlings then followed, Jiang Cheng into the bedroom contentedly. During the day at my mother's house, the two babies were so sleepy that they fell asleep as soon as they got into bed. At this moment, everyone's eyes were wide open, and they didn't look like they wanted to sleep at all. Jiang Cheng patted them, his face full of love. "Be good, go to sleep, Tilda." But Nunu doesn't want to sleep. Nunu was the first to refuse. "Dad, Yanyan wants to hear a story, Tilda." Boys always speak slower, so Yanyan's speech is not as clear as Nunu, and he often has a lisp. Story? Jiang Cheng thought for a moment and said, how about we tell the story of Little Red Riding Hood? I don't care about the two babies, as long as there are stories to listen to. They said in unison, okay, Tilda. Once upon a time, there was a Little Red Riding Hood. She wore a red skirt and a beautiful Little Red Riding Hood on her head. One day, Little Red Riding Hood went to her grandmother's house to deliver cakes. Jiang Cheng talked about Little Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, and the Ugly Duckling. After finally watching the two babies close their eyes, he quietly sat up, getting ready to go to the bathroom. As soon as he stood up, he heard a soft voice behind him. Dad, where are you going? Niu sat up, blinking his big eyes, and he didn't look sleepy at all. Is it because Niu and Yanyan didn't sleep that made Daddy unhappy? Yanyan pouted her lips, looking unhappy. Daddy, Yanyan is very obedient. Yanyan doesn't want Daddy to leave Tilda. Damn it, is this the emotional intelligence cherry taking effect? My son is so sweet. Jiang Cheng looked at the two little darlings and suddenly felt that he was wrong. How can I go to the bathroom by myself? Why make the little ones so sad? He immediately went back to bed and said, Daddy is going to tell you another story about the 7 dwarfs, okay, Tilda? Niu said seriously, Dad, are the 7 dwarfs and Snow White the same story? Jiang Cheng. An hour later, the two little babies finally fell asleep. Jiang Cheng hurriedly got up and went to the bathroom. It took a full 3 minutes to solve the problem. When I came out of the bathroom, I felt as light as a swallow and refreshed. He shook his head and smiled bitterly. Perhaps this is the price of love. Just as he was laughing at himself, the system's voice came to his mind. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the voice of a king. Okay, now that I have a good voice, I don't need to tell stories tomorrow. I can just sing for my two babies. Thinking of this, Jiang Cheng happily returned to bed. The next morning, bright sunshine shone in. The two babies slept until they woke up naturally. Niu opened his eyes and saw that his father was still sleeping. He patted Yanyan, who was still in a daze. Let's go find Mama. Yanyan sat up and rubbed her sleepy eyes with her chubby little hands. Sister, I want to talk to Daddy. Niu blinked his eyes and said in a commanding tone, Daddy is still sleeping. Let's not wake him up. Go find Mommy. Yanyan looked at her sister and nodded. Okay. After discussing it, the two of them climbed out of bed and ran barefoot to Yi Qing's wine house. At this time every day, Yi Qingjiu is already up. At this moment, she had packed up and was about to come out for breakfast. Just then the two meatballs opened the door and ran in. Mom, we missed. She leaned over and hugged the two babies, kissing each on the head. Mommy misses you too. After that, he asked curiously, where's Dad? Dad is still sleeping. Niu blinked. Then let's go have breakfast and let Dad get some rest. Yi Qingjiu said this, pulling the hands of the two babies into the living room. Aunt Zhang had already cooked the porridge and left it on the table to cool. Yi Qingjiu doesn't like to drink something too hot, so every day after Zhang Ma cooks porridge, she always cools it down early. When she got up, the temperature was just right, neither too hot nor too cold. Aunt Zhang helped the two babies brush their teeth and made a bottle of milk for each of them. Yi Qingjiu finished his breakfast, and the two babies had just finished their milk. She looked at the two babies and said, Mom is going to work. You stay home and be good to Grandma Zhang and Dad. Mom, please come back soon. Niu will miss. Yanyan will miss you very much. Good. Yi Qingjiu smiled, waved his hand, turned and walked out. Less than 5 minutes after she left, Jiang Cheng woke up. He stretched and sat up. Looking at the empty bed, my first reaction was to look at the floor. Did I kick the baby down while I was sleeping? There is nothing on the ground. Where are the people? Jiang Cheng hurriedly got out of bed and walked to the living room, where he saw the two babies sitting on the floor, playing with the toys they had bought yesterday. I saw my dad woke up. Yanyan dropped the toy in her hand and ran over. Daddy, you're awake, Tilda. Niu also ran over. Daddy. Aunt Zhang nodded at him. You're awake. Jiang Cheng touched his head and asked, Where's Qingjiu? Has he left? I was just about to get up and make breakfast for my wife, but I fell asleep all of a sudden. The lady is busy with work and has to go out on time at 8 o'clock every day, so she gets up at 7 o'clock. Oh, Jiang Cheng agreed. It seems I have to get up earlier next time. Yi Qingjiu specially wore the shoes that Jiang Cheng gave her today. For this purpose, she specially matched a very elegant pink lace skirt, which made her look young and tender. Chapter 18. Have you seen Mr. Yi's shoes? She arrived at the company and got into the elevator. Several employees saw her and nodded hurriedly, Hello, Mr. Yi. After that, their eyes fell on her shoes at the same time. Yi Qingjiu nodded as a response. Seeing that everyone was looking at her shoes, she actually felt a little happy. They were all looking at her shoes, which showed that Jiang Cheng had a good taste. When they reached the 14th floor, Yi Qingju got off the elevator. The people inside were immediately shocked. What the hell? Mr. Yi is wearing flat shoes. Didn't they say a while ago that all female employees must wear high heels? That doesn't make sense. I haven't seen Mr. Yi wearing flat shoes since I started working. And her shoes don't seem to match Mr. Yi's aesthetic taste. Yeah, I think so too. Those shoes are nice looking, but they don't match Mr. Yi at all. What? Yi Qingju walked all the way to the office, and when the assistant saw her, he almost dropped his jaw. Oh my God! This pink and tender lace is so seductive when worn by Ms. Yi. Seeing her coming, the assistant hurriedly followed in with the documents. Yi, President Yi. Yi Qingju looked at her and asked, "What's wrong?" The assistant nodded. "You look really girly today." Yi Qingju stretched out his foot. "How is it? Does it look good?" To be honest, her shoes are just a pair of pink shoes with exposed insteps. Nothing special. It's just ordinary, not good-looking, and maybe even a little rustic. The assistant swallowed, his eyes full of desire to survive. "It's beautiful, so beautiful, Mr. Yi. Your taste is getting better and better." Yi Qingju nodded with satisfaction. "Yeah, I think it's pretty good too." The assistant even noticed a smile on her face. What, Yi Qingju, the 1,000-year-old iceberg, actually laughed. Or because of a pair of shoes. "This is unbelievable." She handed over the document and said, "Boss Yi, these are documents sent by several departments. Please sign them." Yi Qingju picked up the document and frowned. "Notify the finance department to delay the payment to the film and television company. Tencent Star is an internet company that provides videos, online games, and mobile games. It also has a medium-sized record company under its umbrella. The record company should have been the one that made the most money, but its performance has been mediocre, which has troubled Yi Qingju." The assistant nodded. "Okay, Mr. Yi." "Okay, then you go out first." Yi Qingju lowered his eyes. Hearing this, the assistant walked out holding the signed document. At this time, Yi Qingju's phone rang. She picked up the phone. "Hello." Sheng Yangtzen's voice came from the other end. "Qingju, I have made an appointment with a few friends. Let's sit together in the evening." "What friends?" Yi Qingju was a little confused. "It's just some friends in the circle. I've been out of ideas lately. I happen to have a few friends. You can get to know them. Maybe you can use them in your work." No, Yi Qingju had no interest in these things. "Come on, please, Tilda." Even through the screen, Yi Qingju could already feel Sheng Yangtzen's pitiful look. "I have no interest in such things." "Please, Tilda." Sheng Yangtzen continued to act coquettishly. "Let's go, okay? If you're bored, you can call your Opa along. He's a grown man, but he stays at home all day cooking and taking care of the kids. It's time to come out and change his mind." "You mean Jiang Cheng?" "Yes, it's so pitiful. If you stay at home with your children every day, it's easy for them to have mental problems over time." Hearing this, Yi Qingju was somewhat moved. "Real? Can what I said be false? I am a female writer. I read books and newspapers every day and look for trending searches just to understand the emotional issues between men and women today." Being frightened by Sheng Xinyan, Yi Qingju, who had no emotional experience, really thought it was a problem. Jiang Cheng stays at home taking care of the children. Won't he have any mental problems? If so, he really needs to go out for a walk, interact with people, and relax. She hesitated. "Okay." Sheng Xinyan was extremely happy. "Okay, just come to my house." Beep, beep, beep. Yi Qingju hung up the phone and sent a message to Jiang Cheng an hour later. "Come and pick me up at 8 o'clock in the evening." After thinking about it, he added another point. "Leave the babies to Aunt Zhang." Jiang Cheng fed the two babies before he had time to look at his phone. When he saw this, he was so excited that he almost laughed out loud. Is his wife going on a date with him? He quickly typed out a few words. "No problem." Then I excitedly looked at the two little guys with greasy mouths while eating. "My dears, Daddy is going to look for Mommy tonight, so please stay home and be good to Grandma Zhang. Okay, Tilda." Nunu sat on the dining chair, smacking her lips. "Daddy, are you going on a date with Mommy?" Jiang Cheng was shocked. This little girl knew too much. She even knew about dating at such a young age. He poked Nunu's little nose and said, "Do you know what a date is?" Nunu nodded. "I know there are often uncles and aunts holding hands downstairs of Mom's office." Mom said they were just going on a date. Jiang Cheng, his wife really dares to teach him anything. Yanyan burped. "Daddy, Yanyan wants to eat cherries, Tilda." Hearing about cherries, Nunu's eyes sparkled with desire. "Dad, if you give us cherries, we will let you date Mama." Wow, is this the EQ cherry at work? Is this something a 3-year-old child could say? It's so fucking outrageous. Very outrageous. Jiang Cheng looked at the two babies, feeling helpless and amused. No problem, Dad will wash the cherries for you right away. After saying that, he turned and went into the kitchen, closed the door, and come under the cherry tree in the space. A day has passed, and the cherries now are obviously bigger and redder than yesterday. It still shines an alluring light. Under the tree there are a few spinach plants that I bought from my mother's house that day. They have grown into a small patch and look extremely fresh. He picked some spinach and prepared to cook for the babies later, unexpectedly as soon as he touched the leaves. Then the system prompt sounded. Spinach has been detected to have triggered the IQ attribute, IQ plus 10. While my IQ is as low as spinach, I must make some arrangements for my two little darlings. Jiang Cheng picked some vegetables and a full basin of cherries and washed them with spiritual spring water. Only then did he bring out the cherries for the two babies to eat. The two babies, one for you and one for me, were eating with such relish. He took another lunch box and poured out some. Yanyan watched as her father was about to share the cherries, her face filled with anxiety. Dad, are you not going to give us any to eat? Jiang Cheng touched his head and said, Children can't eat too much. These are for Mom. When they heard that they had to give it to their mother, the two babies hesitated. Nano is eating the last one. The rest are for Mama Tilda. Yanyan doesn't eat anymore. Jiang Cheng looked at the sensible babies with a look of relief on his face. There are still a lot of cherries, but you can't eat too many at once, understand? Chapter 19, Invitation from a Best Friend. He pointed to the small half basin of cherries in front of the baby. These are for the babies. He pointed to the lunch box in his hand and said, This is for Mom. When Nunu and Yanyan saw that there was still food to eat, they were so happy that they said in unison, Okay, Tilda. After eating the cherries, Jiang Cheng took them to take a nap. The two babies were sleeping very soundly, perhaps because they woke up early. Jiang Cheng took advantage of the time when the babies were sleeping to clean up the place carefully. Ever since he took the marrow cleansing pill, his appearance had changed unconsciously, his already handsome face now becoming taller and more angular. The figure has become more shapely, too. He stood in front of the mirror and nodded with satisfaction. When the two babies woke up, it was already past 4 in the afternoon. He cooked soup with spinach and watched his two babies drink it with satisfaction. Then he kissed the two babies on the forehead and handed them over to Zhang's mother. Daddy is going to find Mommy. You two have to be good, Tilda. Nunu looked at him sensibly. Dad, come back soon, Tilda. Yanyan also spoke up. Yanyan will protect her sister, don't worry, Dad, Tilda. Jiang Cheng nodded and looked at Zhang Ma. Thank you for the trouble. Aunt Zhang smiled and said, Go quickly, don't delay. Jiang Cheng then went out and drove to Tengsing. After entering the parking lot, I sent a message to Yi Qingjiu. Do you want me to pick you up? 30 seconds later, I received a message from Yi Qingjiu. No need. Through the screen, Jiang Cheng could already feel his young wife's shy expression. I couldn't help but raise the corner of my mouth. 10 minutes later, Yi Qingjiu opened the car door and got in. She was wearing a light pink lace skirt that hugged her hips, and her figure was still impeccable. The slightly yellowish hair hangs softly and obediently on the angular collarbone. No matter how you look at her, she doesn't look like the cold female CEO I met on the first day. Seeing Jiang Cheng staring at him with blatant aggression in his eyes, she was a little shy. What are you looking at? Jiang Cheng curled his lips. I'm looking at. Such people are so terrible. Yi Qingjiu lowered his eyes. In the Wellington Villa district. Sheng Xinyan's home is in the Wellington Villa area. Jiang Cheng felt very happy when he saw her shy little expression. Yi Qingjiu slowly opened his mouth. When you go, don't. Speaking of this, Yi Qingjiu's pretty face turned red, and she pursed her lips, feeling a little embarrassed. Jiang Cheng looked at her and found her very cute. What else? Yi Qingjiu lowered his head. Don't call me daughter-in-law. After all, the two of them didn't get married, and this circle is very chaotic. She doesn't like crowds, and doesn't want to expose her private affairs to others as a pastime after dinner. Afraid that Jiang Cheng might misunderstand, she added, They are very talkative. I don't want others to know my private affairs. Jiang Cheng looked at her embarrassed expression and couldn't help but want to laugh. He suppressed his laughter and said, Okay, I'll listen to my wife. After all, she is a single mother and a CEO who is the focus of everyone's attention. If a man suddenly appears around her, it will indeed be easy for people to talk about her. Jiang Cheng can understand that. At the entrance of Wellington Villa District, the Sheng family's nanny had come out to greet them. In this kind of private villa area, if no one comes to pick you up or you receive a call from the owner, you will never be allowed to enter. Yi Qingjiu's car parked smoothly in the Sheng family's garage. The villa is very big, but it is still inferior to Yi Qing restaurant. The main body is a three-story British-style building. Sheng Xinyan stood at the door and was delighted to see that Yi Qingjiu had indeed brought Jiang Cheng. Such a handsome man, just take one more look at him, even though he is my best friend's husband. But it's not illegal to look at it. When she looked at Yi Qingjiu, who was getting off the passenger seat, her eyes widened like copper bells. "Oh my God, you are a young girl or a young woman in love." Jiang Cheng chuckled. He didn't expect that a cold and strong woman like Yi Qingjiu would have such an outspoken friend. Yi Qingjiu glanced at her and said, "With your speaking ability, it's no wonder your novel is so unpopular." Sheng Yan smiled instead of getting annoyed. "No, you're wearing pink, it's too dreamy, and you still say you're not in love." Seeing that she hadn't finished speaking, Yi Qingjiu said angrily, "Still talking. If you continue, I'll go back." Sheng Yangxin shook her head and sighed inwardly. Love really makes people artificial. It actually turned the black, white, and gray Yeking wine, which had been black and gray for thousands of years, into pink. Okay, no need to talk anymore. Let's go in, they are all here. By the way, don't talk nonsense," Yi Qingjiu reminded her. This socialite circle is full of gossip, so it's not surprising that she doesn't want her news to be exposed. Okay, I understand. Sheng Xinyan agreed readily. Led by Sheng Yangxin, the two went to the underground level. Sheng Yangxin turned this floor into a 200-square-meter bar. There is a bar, scattered seats, booths, and even a standing microphone. In short, all the bar configurations are available here. Several white and rich women in their early 20s have beautiful legs, each longer than the other, all in D+. Some have sweet looks, while others have the temperament of a queen. It's like a beauty pageant. When a few people saw Yi Qingjiu, they stood up enthusiastically. "Jiujiu, you're here. Every time I call you, you never come out. If Xinyan hadn't organized the party, I'm afraid I wouldn't have seen you again." Yi Qingjiu smiled and said, "How could that be? If it weren't for Sheng Xinyan, I'm afraid she would have no intersection with these people. These people are all born with love brains. Apart from everlasting love and everlasting right and wrong, there is really nothing that interests them." She walked straight to the sofa and sat down. "Wow, this guy is so handsome, Xingxin. Where did you find him?" Before Sheng Xinyan could explain, the beautiful woman in a red suspender skirt sitting on the sofa walked up to Jiang Cheng with her phone in her hand. "Handsome guy? Add me on WeChat Tilda." Jiang Cheng smiled politely and said, "Sorry, I didn't bring my phone." This sentence caused a lot of sighs. "Handsome guy, your excuse is too obvious. Is there anyone who doesn't carry a cell phone these days? How can such cruel words come out of your handsome mouth?" Hearing this, Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but look at Jiang Cheng's face. Jiang Cheng smiled politely at the beauties and said, "People with wives don't need mobile phones." After saying that, he looked at Yi Qingjiu meaningfully. Seeing this, Yi Qingjiu's heart was in his throat. "Hey, this is so boring." The beauty was a little disappointed. Sheng Yangxin clasped her hands and said angrily, all right. I called you here to tell a story, not to see a handsome guy." "Come on, let's clink glasses first," suggested the beautiful lady in the red suspender skirt. Hearing that they wanted to drink, Yi Qingjiu silently brought a cup of tea. "Drink. Quit it. You can only have sex after drinking once." Everyone picked up the wine glasses on the table. Only Yi Qingjiu held the teacup. "Sorry, everyone, I have a meeting tonight, so I won't drink." "Jiujiu, you are so heartless." "Hey, Jiujiu is a busy man, a big boss, unlike us," several beauties teased. Yi Qingjiu smiled slightly. "There are many opportunities, there is no need to rush this time." Chapter 20, Wife, Are You Jealous? Sheng Xinyan knew her best and helped smooth things over. "It's just that there are many opportunities." After saying that, he drank it all in one gulp. Several people began to talk about their rich emotional experiences. The lady in black belly-bearing clothes spoke first. "Let me tell you, last time I fell in love with a handsome guy, I gave him a watch and bought him a car. I spent 2 million in total, but he was indifferent." Wow, it sounds like she's met a cool and handsome guy. Sheng Xinyan likes this kind of plot the most. His eyes were full of excitement. "What happened next? What happened next?" "What happened next?" Sister Yu snorted disdainfully. "I found a few beauties to get him drunk, and then I took him down." Jiang Cheng was drinking water. Hearing this, he almost choked himself to death. Cough, 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 cough. Has society progressed to this extent? Are you ladies so crazy? Hearing Jiang Cheng cough, several beauties turned to look at him. The royal sister's eyes were full of affection, and her tone was mocking. "Little brother, don't drink water. It's boring for a man to drink water. Drink some wine instead." This is terrible. The goal has been set. That's right, the beautiful woman in red suspenders came over with a glass of wine. Little brother, let's have a toast, Tilda. This is not good, Jiang Cheng swallowed. What's wrong with that? Who wants to play with water? Yi Qingjiu's eyes dimmed. She picked up the teacup on the table and said, "Didn't I drink water too?" After saying that, she took a sip. The whole table was filled with the red suspenders that kept teasing Jiang Cheng. Even someone like Yi Qingjiu, who doesn't understand emotions, could see it. She first asked for Jiang Cheng's phone number, and now she wants to drink with him. Yi Qingjiu held it in for a long time before finally being unable to hold it in any longer. "Why don't you go sing a song?" She thought that if she found him something to do, he would be safe. Jiang Chengjian noticed the slight jealousy on Yi Qingjiu's face and was secretly delighted. It seems that this beautiful daughter-in-law still has him in her heart. Singing is a good idea, but that perfect voice can't be given for nothing. Sure, no problem, Jiang Cheng smiled slightly. Hearing that Jiang Cheng was going to sing, the girl in the red suspender skirt became more energetic and looked at Jiang Cheng with a crazy look on her face. "Okay, I love listening to little brother singing the most, Tilda." Yi Qingjiu felt that sour and uncomfortable feeling in his heart again. Seeing that Jiang Cheng wanted to sing, Sheng Xinyan quickly turned on the projector and pointed to a song ordering system next to it. "It's right there. Just order whatever you want to sing. Don't hesitate." Jiang Cheng nodded and silently selected a song called Starry Sea. As the accompaniment slowly sounded, Jiang Cheng's low voice rang out, "I wish to turn into a perseverance and protect the buzzing of the seabed. It's my dream, it's magic. Light up your heart. How far is the distance to your eyes? Walk through the crowd and don't stop. While there is still hope, will our love be blown by the wind like the sea? Whenever you come to me, you are the sea of stars." When Jiang Cheng's magnetic voice sounded, several beauties couldn't help but wave their hands gently, listening to it in fascination. Even Sheng Xinyan couldn't help but silently envy Yi Qingjiu. What a godly husband he was. He was so handsome, could cook, and sang so beautifully. He was simply perfect. Yi Qingjiu looked at Jiang Cheng, feeling nervous at the look in his eyes. He can actually sing, and he sings so beautifully, even better than some of the popular singers. "I will run to you, you are the sea of stars. Oh, 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 oh." While singing, Jiang Cheng looked at Yi Qingjiu intently. Yi Qingjiu raised her eyes, and her gaze met Jiang Cheng's. Eyes met. For a moment, I forgot to breathe. She lowered her head quickly, feeling a little overwhelmed. After Jiang Cheng finished singing a song, several beauties could no longer sit still. They stood up and prepared to toast Jiang Cheng in turn. "Handsome guy, if I don't add you on WeChat today, don't even think about leaving our house." "Yes, it's really beautiful. I have to leave my contact information, Tilda." The person who spoke was the queen who got the guy drunk. Seeing them chasing after her, Yi Qingjiu felt blood rush to her head. She stood up and said, "Everyone, I forgot to announce that this is my boyfriend." After saying that, he took Jiang Cheng's arm and said, "His name is Jiang Cheng. Why don't you want others to know your privacy? Why are you afraid of being gossiped about? It seems that everything becomes unimportant. What the hell is going on?" The royal sister was a little confused. "Yeah, you guys didn't talk much when you came in. How come your boyfriends all of a sudden?" The girl in the red suspender skirt also had a depressed look on her face. The handsome guy was snatched away by Yi Qingjiu. The more she thought about it, the more uncomfortable she felt. Jiang Cheng felt that Yi Qingjiu's hand on his arm was a little cold. His heartbeat couldn't help but quicken, and he took the opportunity to hug her waist and said, "Let me introduce you all, this is my girlfriend, Yi Qingjiu." After saying that, he kissed her on the forehead. A tingling sensation immediately spread throughout Yi Qingjiu's body, and then his mind went blank. "Well, we have something else to do, so we'll leave first." Yi Qingjiu forced himself to remain calm and pulled Jiang Cheng out. "Oh my God, this kiss is too sweet. I can't bear to watch it, Tilda." "Well, when will I have sweet love?" Several people looked at the two people's backs, and their envy was about to overflow. "What?" On this side, Yi Qingjiu let go of Jiang Cheng's hand as soon as he went out and walked forward quickly. Sheng Xinyan was also confused by her actions. What was going on? Didn't she say not to tell anyone about their relationship? Did you announce it yourself? No matter how decisive and resolute the female devil is in the business world, she can't stand even the slightest stimulation. She hurriedly chased after him and shouted to Yi Qingjiu, who had walked some distance away, "Qingjiu, wait for me." Yi Qingjiu was so ashamed that she couldn't face anyone, even her best friend. The more Sheng Yangxin shouted, the faster she walked. Seeing that she couldn't catch up, Sheng Xinyan had to give up. She walked to Jiang Cheng, clasped her hands together, and looked at him with longing. You were so handsome just now. It made me, an ambitious young woman, want to fall in love. Jiang Cheng. Sheng Xinyan patted his shoulder and said, Okay, don't worry, I won't target you. Just be careful on the road. I don't understand you. After saying that, she turned and went into the room. Jiang Cheng shook his head with a smile on his face and quickly chased after him. In the car, Jiang Cheng looked at Yi Qingjiu, who was lowering his head with a flushed face. Wife, are you jealous? Yi Qingjiu was so embarrassed that she didn't even have the courage to look at him, but her tone was very firm. No. Then why did you suddenly say I was your boyfriend? Jiang Cheng asked knowingly. I'm not jealous, that's all. Yi Qingjiu's face turned red to her ears. She just couldn't stand other women drinking with him and smiling at him. I just can't help feeling sour. Jiang Cheng patted her head and said, Okay, Tilda, it's getting late. Let's go home, Tilda. Jiang Cheng was in an even better mood than when he came. It was obvious that his wife had feelings for him. Otherwise, why would she be jealous? Chapter 21, Washing the Feet of Babies. Half an hour later, the Phantom stopped in the underground garage. Two people opened the door of the villa and walked in. Aunt Zhang was sitting on the sofa with Niu and Yan, watching Peppa Pig. Seeing Jiang Cheng and the others coming back, the two babies slid off the sofa and pounced towards them. Yan was so happy. Daddy and Mommy Tilda. Niu clung to Jiang Cheng's legs and looked at him eagerly. Dad, you are finally back, Tilda. Yi Qingjiu looked at the time, and it was already 9 o'clock in the evening. Children need to go to bed early so that they can grow well. She said with a cold face, Why haven't you slept yet? Seeing that their mother was angry, the two babies hurriedly hid behind their father and stretched out their little heads to look at Jiang Cheng. Niu's innocent eyes blinked. Daddy, Niu, Mrs. Yan also looked at him pitifully, softly. Dad, Yan has been waiting for you for a long time, Tilda. Looking at these two little kids, Jiang Cheng's heart as an old father was instantly melted. It's okay to be 10 or 20 minutes late. Children are not machines. They can't be exactly late. Yi Qingjiu glared at him, and Jiang Cheng seemed to feel the strong, murderous intent coming from his wife. He straightened up and said the softest words in the hardest tone. Come on, go to bed with Daddy. After saying that, he took the two babies and went into the house. Aunt Zhang looked at the family with a smile on her face. After Jiang Cheng brought my children into the house, she looked at Yi Qingjiu with a warm gaze and spoke earnestly. Qingjiu, the two babies are going to be admitted to the garden soon, right? We should do what we should do now. When this matter was mentioned, Yi Qingjiu felt confused. You should go to bed early. I'm going to rest first. After saying that, he ran back into the house. Jiang Cheng helped the two children brush their teeth and went to bed. Less than 2 minutes after lying down, Yan sat up and said, Sister, let's go see Mommy Tilda. Good. After all, they are twins, a boy and a girl, and they hit it off right away. Without waiting for Jiang Cheng to say anything, the two darlings stretched out their little feet, climbed off the bed nimbly, and ran out on the floor with a thumping sound. Jiang Cheng smiled bitterly and said, Why aren't you wearing shoes? Then he took his shoes and followed him out. Before the two darlings could push open Yi Qingjiu's door, they were stopped by Zhang Ma. She just heard the young lady seem to be on the phone inside, probably about work. Mommy is busy. Go find Daddy and go to sleep, dear Tilda. The two babies were stopped by Grandma Zhang, pouting in grievance. Okay, Grandma Zhang Tilda. Just as they were about to turn around to look for their father, Jiang Cheng grabbed them by the waist and picked them up with one hand each. You two running around without shoes. Hee, Yan laughed. Hee, Tilda, Niu also laughed embarrassedly. Jiang Cheng reluctantly carried the two babies back into the house. At this moment, a familiar voice rang in my mind. Ding, Tilda. Latest system task. Wash the feet of two babies and gain King of Glory game production skills. Oh my God, Honor of Kings. After so many years, I almost forgot about this game. Back then on Earth, this game was all the rage in China. Can people even make this thing themselves? This is so cool, Jiang Cheng sighed secretly. After preparing the foot washing water, I put the two babies on small stools and started washing their feet. 2 pairs of chubby little feet were placed in the water. You stepped on me and I stepped on you. We were having a lot of fun. Jiang Cheng also laughed foolishly. Water splashed all over the floor, and Aunt Zhang hurriedly took a cloth to wipe it. I looked at the two babies worriedly. Don't play in the water or you'll catch a cold. Jiang Cheng looked at her with a smile. It's okay, Aunt Zhang. It's rare for the children to be happy. Let them play if they want to. I'm afraid it won't be like this again in a few years. He wanted to do his best to give them a happy childhood. Zhang's mother's eyes were full of kindness. No wonder the children like you. With you, they can do anything. Actually, that's not the case. Jiang Cheng just feels that when they grow up they will have to face work, family, and a lot of trivial and annoying things. He hopes to do his best to give them a happy childhood. Give me the cloth, I'll come later. It's getting late, you should go to bed first. Aunt Zhang shook her head. It's okay, old people can't sleep, I'll clean up, you just take them back. The two babies were having more and more fun, and their giggles made Jiang Cheng feel warm inside. Their pants were soaked from playing, and the water was almost gone, so they stopped. Nunu looked at Jiang Cheng. Dad, Nunu wants to change pants. Yanyan wants one too. Jiang Cheng washed the two babies carefully, wiped them clean, and then took them back to change their pants. The pants have been changed. A familiar voice sounded in my mind. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the King of Glory game production skills. Jiang Cheng felt a flood of data source code, art pictures, and various special effects flooding into his mind. I don't know what kind of effect this game will have here, and whether it will be as popular as it is on Earth. Why not wait until tomorrow to buy a computer and try it out? Thinking of this, Jiang Cheng took his two babies and went back to sleep. Yi Qingjiu tossed and turned in bed for an hour. Finally, I couldn't help but picked up the phone and called Sheng Xinyan. Her tired voice came from the other side. Baby, why aren't you asleep yet so late, Tilda? Yi Qingjiu said calmly. Tell me, how can you know whether a person really likes you or not? Needless to say, Sheng Xinyan knew who the person she was talking about was. Oh, Jiang Cheng, no need to ask, he definitely likes you. Yi Qingjiu didn't respond to her. She didn't know whether he really liked her as a person or because she was the mother of his child. She continued to ask, then how can I make him really like me? Sheng Xinyan burst out laughing. Sincerity for sincerity, is there any need to ask? If you treat him well, he will treat you well. This is called moving the other person with true love. After hearing Sheng Xinyan's words, Yi Qingjiu nodded thoughtfully. How about I buy him a Patek Philippe? As expected, she is a female CEO, and all she can think about is spending money. Are you unsophisticated? Buying a watch? What era is it now? You're still buying a watch to express your love. Besides, look at Si Wanyan. Didn't she say she would buy a watch for someone today? In the end, she got the upper hand after a big drink. Ah, Tilda, Sheng Xinyan seemed to suddenly think of something. Why don't you two drink again and relive the old times, and all the problems will be solved? Get lost. Yi Qingjiu's face turned red and he quickly hung up the phone. What she wanted was his true heart, not his body. She put her phone beside the bed and lay down. The moonlight poured in through the floor-to-ceiling windows and sprinkled on her enchanting figure. Her fair skin, under this thick, cool tone, looked even more charming. Chapter 22, Buying Clothes for My Husband Tilda. Please recommend and collect. She curled up and fell into deep thought. During these 2 days, she thought it was because she hadn't had contact with the opposite sex for so many years. So she felt a little nervous every time she touched Jiang Cheng. But today she suddenly realized that things seemed different from what she thought. She felt particularly at ease when she smelled the faint scent of soapberry on him. I feel sad when I see others asking for his WeChat. She would feel uneasy if a woman came near him. She faced her own heart and realized that perhaps she was indeed attracted to him. But does he really like himself? Or is it just because I am the mother of his child? Yi Qingjiu thought about it for a long time but couldn't figure it out. Unknowingly, he fell asleep in a daze. The next morning, after the two babies got up, Jiang Cheng took them to brush their teeth. Aunt Zhang had already prepared breakfast and placed it on the table. Yi Qingjiu came out of the room, sat silently at the dining table, and drank porridge with his head down. Jiang Cheng came out with his two babies, laughing and joking. Seeing Yi Qingjiu, he greeted her with a smile. So early today. Yeah, Yi Qingjiu nodded. He put the two babies in the child's seats, set the table for them, and served them some porridge. Yi Qingjiu put down his chopsticks after taking a few bites. Well, I have something else to do. I'll leave first. Jiang Cheng nodded. Well, be careful on the road. Yi Qingjiu got in the car, hesitated for a moment, took out his phone and called his assistant. Kinking, see you downstairs at IFS in 20 minutes. IFS is the most high-end shopping mall in Sichuan, no doubt about it. The so-called first-line big brands are just a drop in the ocean here. But Mr. Yi, there is a meeting to be held this morning. This was a group meeting scheduled last week. Now that several mobile games have been launched, it is the time to study the feedback. We'll talk about it this afternoon. It's settled. Yi Qingjiu's voice revealed an irresistible sense of oppression. The assistant was a little nervous. Okay, Mr. Yi. Assistant C. Kinking hung up the phone, informed everyone that the meeting was cancelled, and hurried out of the Tengsing building. 20 minutes later, Yi Qingjiu stopped the car, looked at C. Kinking standing at the entrance of the mall and nodded. Let's go in. The assistant was slightly stunned. Boss Yi, what are we doing? She couldn't understand why Mr. Yi postponed such an important meeting so early in the morning and called her to the mall. Buy clothes. Yi Qingju took off his sunglasses and walked in. The assistant followed behind cautiously. When did Mr. Yi become so insensitive to the importance of things? After getting off the elevator, Yi Qingju walked straight to the men's clothing area. Men's? The assistant was shocked. Boss Yi, what are you doing? Her intuition told her that Mr. Yi was most likely buying clothes for the child's father. Oh my God, she actually postponed such an important meeting just to buy clothes for the child's father. In the past, she was the kind of person who insisted on working even when she was on an IV drip. Today, for the sake of a man, even such an important event as a meeting was canceled. To be honest, Yi Qingju didn't know much about men's clothing, but she knew that you get what you pay for, so it was never a wrong thing to buy something expensive. She spent the whole morning selecting more than 20 sets of clothes, and only then did she leave IFS feeling satisfied. Yi Qingju looked at the beautiful assistant who was carrying a lot of bags behind him and said in a light tone, "Send these clothes to my house." "Okay, Mr. Yi," the assistant nodded. Yi Qingju hummed, turned around, and just as he was about to leave, he discovered the Apple store in the corner. Why not buy a computer for Jiangcheng? After all, boys nowadays are all game fans. It would be nice to buy a computer and play some games for entertainment. Thinking of this, Yi Qingju turned and walked into the Apple store next door. She lowered her eyes slightly, her gaze falling on a silver computer. This one seems pretty good. The waiter looked at Yi Qingju, who was wearing limited edition clothes. He took 2 quick steps and looked at her with a smile. "Miss, you have a good taste. This is our latest model." Before she could finish, Yi Qingju decisively said, "Swipe the card." Wow, she swiped the card without even asking the price. She must be rich. The waiter hurriedly led her to the front desk. Ding tilde. The bank card was swiped through the POS machine. "Hello, miss, this is your card. Please keep it safe." Yi Qingju checked the card and turned to look at the assistant. "Send this computer back and give it to him." "Yes, Mr. Yi. I'm going back to the company first." After saying that, Yi Qingju left the Apple store. The clerk looked at the assistant C. Kinking, who was carrying a lot of bags and couldn't help but envy her, and said, "Oh my God, you can't wear all these clothes in a year. Your boss Yi is too rich." The assistant smiled bitterly and said, "Just give me the computer." Inside the villa, Jiang Cheng was sitting in the children's room with his 2 babies playing with toys when he heard the doorbell ring. Then came Zhang Ma's familiar voice. "Oh, why did you buy so many things?" Jiang Cheng thought it was Yi Qingju who came back and walked out. When he saw the assistant carrying a lot of bags, his eyes widened in surprise. Is this a move? Is his wife, the assistant, going to move here to work in the future? The assistant looked at him with a smile on his face. "These are all bought for you by Mr. Yi, and there is also a computer." After saying that, he put the things on the ground. "Sir, Aunt Zhang, I'll go back to work first." Okay, drive slowly on the way." Aunt Zhang smiled and sent the person out. Jiang Cheng looked at the nearly 20 bags on the ground. Buying so many clothes. This is outrageous. What happened to his wife? Why did you buy so many clothes for no reason? Could it be that he disliked that his clothes were a bit old? To be honest, all my clothes were left by the original owner before I traveled through time, and I haven't bought any new clothes in the past 3 years. As for clothes, it's fine as long as they are wearable. It's better to have a good meal with that money. Jiang Cheng looked at the 20 or so bags and felt both moved and amused. He picked up the phone and called Yi Qingju. "Hey, honey, I can't wear all these clothes." Yi Qing's drunken voice came from the other end. "Well, I'm not very good at buying, and I was afraid that you wouldn't like it, so I bought some more." Afraid that he doesn't like her. Can his silly wife be any cuter? "How could I not like it? I am so happy that my wife bought it for me." Jiang Cheng chuckled, said, and gave Yi Qingju a big kiss through the screen. When Yi Qingju on the other end of the phone heard the word, "Mua," his heartbeat started to accelerate again. "Well, that's all. I'll hang up first." After saying that, Yi Qingju quickly hung up the phone. Aunt Zhang and Jiang Cheng took the clothes back into the house, and Jiang Cheng's eyes fell on the brand new notebook. Just when I was wondering where to use my game-making skills, my wife gave me a computer. He quickly opened the box, took out the brand new notebook, and started fiddling with it. Aunt Zhang looked at him lovingly and said, "You are already a father, but you still act like a child." Jiang Cheng's face was full of pride. "You don't understand, this is a gift from my wife." After saying this, he patted the computer proudly. It's incredible, it's a gift from my wife. It's incredible, Tilda. Aunt Zhang made this joke while helping him straighten his clothes. Jiang Cheng also helped with a smile, and after a while the two of them hung all the clothes in the closet. Chapter 23. I just want to cook a meal for you. Please recommend and collect. Jiang Cheng looked at the closet full of clothes. I have to say my wife has really good taste. There are so many pieces and each one is well matched. There is really no fault to find. Aunt Zhang looked at him with a smile. Nano and Yanyan are having a great time. They don't need anyone to supervise them for the time being. If you want to play, just play for a while. It's not a big deal. Jiang Cheng nodded. Mother Zhang, you still understand me. After Zhang Ma left, Jiang Cheng turned on the computer. Click on the program making software. Before traveling through time, Jiang Cheng already had excellent computer skills. Now he has the entire game from code to art, and all the special effects are reflected in his mind, so he can operate it with ease. However, it is a game after all, and it will take more than a day or two to complete it. Time flies, and 2 hours have passed before I knew it. Jiang Cheng felt a little dizzy looking at the screen full of numbers. He turned off the computer and went into the children's room. In the children's room, 2 babies are having a lot of fun playing on the slide. Jiang Cheng squatted on the ground and looked at them. Seeing Jiang Cheng, the 2 babies ran over barefoot. Nunu opened her little hands and hugged Jiang Cheng's neck and acted coquettishly. Daddy, Nunu wants to eat cherries again, Tilda. Yanyan also rushed over. The 2 little babies had a faint smell of milk, and they were soft, chewy, sweet, and delicious. Jiang Cheng held 2 soft and tender little girls in his arms, smiling lovingly. Okay, Dad will wash the cherries for you right now. When Nunu heard about washing cherries, she pouted her chubby little mouth and gave Jiang Cheng a kiss on the face. Then he raised his hands above his head and made a big heart shape. Daddy, I love. Yanyan was not to be outdone. Yanyan loves Daddy too, Tilda. Good job. Cherry has an incredible EQ. Nunu's EQ is definitely that of an 8-year-old now. He can even use a pen refill. Thinking of this, he looked at Yanyan next to him, and Yanyan said guiltily, Don't look at me. She is a girl. I am not. What? Okay, it seems that my IQ has also played a role. The current maturity of these 2 children is definitely not what they should be at the age of 3. Jiang Cheng looked at the 2 treasures and didn't know whether the EQ cherry was still edible. The effect was really strong. When Yi Qingjiu returned to the company, she downloaded a cooking app. I thought about making a decent meal for the 3 of them. We can't always let Jiang Cheng cook alone. At around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Yi Qingjiu went to the supermarket, bought a whole bag of ingredients according to what was written on the app, and carried it back home. Jiang Chengzheng was hiding beside the sofa, playing hide and seek with the 2 children. Nunu searched for Jiang Cheng for a long time but couldn't find him. She stood in the corridor and started to act like a spoiled child. Daddy, where are you? If I can't find you, Nunu will cry, Tilda. Yanyan was still searching for Jiang Cheng in other rooms. I heard the sound of a door opening, followed by footsteps and the rustling of plastic bags. Jiang Cheng stretched his head out of curiosity to look, and saw Yi Qingjiu's thin body carrying 2 full bags and walking towards the kitchen with difficulty. He stood up in an instant. What are you doing? Yi Qingjiu was so frightened that his mind was full of thoughts about how to cook, and he was startled by his shout. He threw the bag in his hand instantly. When she turned around and saw Jiang Cheng standing in the gap next to the sofa, she asked unhappily, What are you doing there? Hearing Jiang Cheng's voice, Nunu and Yanyan ran out as fast as they could. Daddy, Daddy. Seeing the bag on the ground, I couldn't help but be curious. Mom, what's here? Yi Qingjiu squatted down and looked at the 2 babies. Mom got off work early today. Can I cook for you? When they heard their mother was going to cook, the 2 babies looked at Jiang Cheng with uncertain eyes. Mom, please let Daddy do it well. Nunu likes to eat the food made by Daddy, Tilda. Yanyan also likes to eat the food made by his father, Tilda. The 2 children looked at Yi Qingjiu pleadingly, as if the food she cooked was poison. It further aroused her determination to win, and she was determined to cook a decent meal today. No, Mom must cook today's meal, Yi Qingjiu said firmly. Jiang Cheng looked at her bewildered. Stop messing around, let me do it. She is so spoiled, how could she possibly cook? She is just asking for trouble. After Jiang Cheng finished speaking, he picked up the 2 bags on the ground and walked towards the kitchen. Yi Qingjiu followed behind. I'm not making a fuss, I want to cook. Jiang Cheng entered the kitchen, put the dishes on the floor, turned around and looked at Yi Qingjiu, patting her head lovingly. Be obedient, I'll do it. She had worked so hard to buy so many vegetables to prove herself. How could she give up at this moment? No, I have to do it. Seeing her resolute look, Jiang Cheng smiled helplessly. Okay, come on, come on. Yi Qingjiu turned around and pushed him out. Just wait and see. After saying that, he closed the kitchen door. Jiang Cheng glanced at the kitchen, his face full of confusion. What happened to this girl today? They gave me clothes, computers, and cooked for me. He shook his head and went to the living room. Seeing Jiang Cheng coming over, the two kids came up to him. Niu pulled at the hem of his father's clothes, looking worried. Dad, what should we do now? She was very worried that the food her mother cooked was completely inedible. Yanyan also looked at him with a depressed look. Dad, Yanyan is hungry. Jiang Cheng patted the two babies' heads and comforted them patiently. We still have to have faith in Mommy. What if Mommy succeeds, right? As he spoke, he heard a scream of "Ah" from the kitchen. Jiang Cheng's heart was in his throat because of the scream. He stood up and ran to the kitchen. Yi Qingjiu stood in front of the chopping board, mustering up the courage to kill the fish. Who would have thought that as soon as I caught it, the fish would sway left and right and struggle desperately? He jumped directly from the chopping board to the ground. Yi Qingjiu, who had lived a life of luxury, had never seen such things before and was so frightened that he almost flew away. Seeing Jiang Cheng, he instinctively pounced on him. The two bodies touched each other defenselessly, and the pleasant soapberry scent on Jiang Cheng's body instantly rushed into Yi Qingjiu's nostrils. Jiang Cheng was completely stunned by her hug. I had been playing pranks on her before, just wanting to see her when she was shy. But this time, he felt like his heart was about to jump out. Yi Qingjiu also realized his own gaffe. She quickly escaped from his arms. Hey, I'm fine. Jiang Cheng looked at the fish on the ground and touched his head awkwardly. Well, how about I finish it and then you come back? Okay. Yi Qingjiu really couldn't kill the fish. She had rarely even seen a live carp like this before. The reason for buying it was because Jiang Cheng's family was ordinary, and he wanted to let him have a home-cooked meal. She turned and walked out, pressing a hand to her heart to soothe the little deer that was about to jump out. Jiang Cheng killed the fish and washed it before coming out. He looked at Yi Qingjiu and said calmly, Hey, I've got it done. Okay. Yi Qingjiu didn't even have the courage to look at him. He lowered his head and quickly walked into the kitchen. He turned around and closed the door. Chapter 24, Mommy Won't Be in Danger, Tilda. Please collect and recommend. Two nervous little heads popped out from the corridor. Daddy, is Mommy in danger? Although I don't really want to eat the food my mother cooks, it doesn't affect my love for her. Jiang Cheng came over, hugged them and comforted them softly. No, don't worry. Niu looked at his father worriedly. Really? Yanyan also clenched her fists nervously. Why don't we go protect Mom? Jiang Cheng looked at the two cute little angels and raised his lips. Dad won't lie to you, don't worry. Before he could finish his words, he heard another earth-shattering scream from the kitchen, followed by the clanging of pots and pans. Jiang Cheng's head buzzed, and he rushed into the kitchen. I saw that the pot was on fire, and the fire was so strong that the flames even burned onto the range hood. Yi Qingjiu was nervously searching for something on the ground. Jiang Cheng rushed over, covered the pot with the lid, and turned off the fire. He turned around and looked at Yi Qingjiu, his face full of helplessness. Yi Qingjiu was embarrassed and lowered his head, like a child who had done something wrong. I just heated the oil according to the instructions on the app and then put the fish in. Why did it catch fire? A president who is always decisive and swift in doing what he says can't even cook a meal. You can imagine the psychological trauma he feels. In the past few days, Jiang Cheng has seen 100 kinds of yecking wine. She is arrogant, she is proud, she is shy, she is angry, and she is the one who keeps strangers away. She was the only one who had never seen him before, and she was at a loss, even panicking like a child. He looked at her, feeling indescribably distressed. If you can't cook, don't do it. Why force yourself? Yi Qingjiu lowered his head, his voice soft and sweet. I just want to learn, Jiang Cheng remembered her panicked look just now. By the way, what were you looking for just now? Yi Qingjiu looked innocent. Fire extinguisher? Why is there no fire extinguisher in the kitchen? Jiang Cheng looked at her pitiful appearance and felt a little amused. He took Yi Qingjiu's hand, his eyes full of seriousness. Listen to me, you don't need to learn these. If you want, I can cook for you for the rest of my life. It's fun to cook for the ones you love, isn't it? Plub plub. Yi Qingjiu felt like his heart was about to fly out. He actually has to cook for himself for the rest of his life. Go out and accompany the children, just teach me here. Jiang Cheng touched her head. Yi Qingjiu nodded obediently, turned around and walked out. The two babies rushed over worriedly. Mom, don't cook anymore. We don't want to lose you. Seeing the baby's nervous expressions, Yi Qingjiu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She touched the heads of the two babies, her eyes full of tenderness. Do you like Daddy? Nyunyu blinked his eyes and said seriously, Nanyu likes Daddy. Daddy can cook delicious meals, play with dolls with Nyunyu, and coax Nyunyu to sleep. He is Nyunyu's superhero. Yanyan also spoke up. Yanyan likes Daddy too, and Daddy is Yanyan's superhero too. Yi Qingjiu listened to the children's affirmation of Jiang Cheng. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. An hour later, Jiang Cheng brought the meal. A family of 4 sat happily at the table. Nyunyu looked at the fish on the table, eyes full of anticipation. This fish is exactly the same as the fish at Grandma's house. It must be delicious, Tilda. Yanyan also smacked her lips. Yes, Grandma's house also has this big fish, Tilda. Yi Qingjiu always felt that carp had too many bones and never gave them to his 2 babies. Whenever I want to eat fish, I buy cod. It has no bones and the meat is tender. Hearing the 2 babies talking about Grandma, Yi Qingjiu was stunned for a moment. His eyes turned strange. What Grandma? Jiang Cheng looked embarrassed and coughed a few times. It's my mother. She knew she had grandchildren and was so excited. She's an old lady. He hadn't had the time to tell Yi Qingjiu about this because he was afraid that she would be suspicious. After all, he had only been taking care of the child for 2 days, and he hadn't discussed such a big thing with her. As expected, Yi Qingjiu's face turned bad. She put down her chopsticks and said with an unhappy look, Why didn't you tell me? Jiang Cheng hurriedly explained. My parents knew that they had grandchildren, and they were so excited, so I wanted to show them off. Jiang Cheng has watched many TV dramas, in which the wealthy heroines are always very picky about their parents-in-law, and they always get along with them. He is ready to deal with the relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Yi Qingjiu's eyelashes trembled. So you all went, and I was the only one who didn't go, right? Jiang Cheng seemed to see the grievance in her eyes. So this is just being too suspicious. Is she angry because I didn't bring her to meet my parents? Jiang Cheng was somewhat caught off guard. He originally thought that she didn't want to meet her parents so early. I didn't expect that she would be so suspicious about this. Well, I'm just worried that you're not ready. I can take you to meet them at any time. You don't know how much my mother wants to see you, Jiang Cheng explained hurriedly. Yi Qingjiu said calmly, Then let's do it on the weekend. I'm a bit busy these 2 days. She is indeed a bit busy, and she has to meet her parents-in-law, which is a big deal. She must prepare well. No problem, I'll tell them right now that my daughter-in-law is coming home to see them. Jiang Cheng's heart was filled with joy. Yi Qingjiu said calmly, Okay, let's eat first. Jiang Cheng happily poured a bowl of soup and placed it in front of her. Wife, drink more fish soup. It's good for your skin, Tilda. After saying that, he gave a bowl to each of his 2 babies. It was already 8:30 when the family of 4 finished their meal. Yi Qingjiu's heart was in a mess and she just wanted to be quiet. She stood up and said, Well, I still have some work to do. I'll go get busy first. Jiang Cheng nodded. Okay, I'll take them to wash up and go to bed. After saying that, he cleaned up the dishes and took the 2 babies into the bathroom. As usual, brush your teeth and spit out water. At night, after the 2 babies fell asleep, Jiang Cheng took out the computer that Yi Qingjiu bought for him and opened the software to create the program. Jiang Cheng continued to output various source codes in his brain until 1 o'clock in the morning. Then he rubbed his temples and went to bed to rest. The next morning, Jiang Cheng cooked a pot of spinach porridge as usual. It was the first time Yi Qingjiu had spinach porridge. She frowned and asked, What kind of dish is this? Jiang Cheng was a little nervous looking at her. Why don't you like it? Not really, it tastes quite delicious. Jiang Cheng smiled and said, Unique skill, enjoy it, Tilda. I always thought that my wife must be a person with high emotional intelligence and EQ since she could become a president. Unexpectedly, the more I get to know her, the more I feel that she is a little silly. After dinner, Jiang Cheng looked at the weather outside. The sky is cloudless. It is a good day for going out. He looked at the 2 little cuties with a smile. My dears, the sun is so nice today. Mommy will go to work soon. Daddy will take you to the zoo, okay, Tilda? The 2 babies' eyes lit up with excitement when they heard about the zoo. Mom is very busy at work and only takes them to the park once in a while. They have never been to the zoo. Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but smile knowingly at their loving expressions. Then you guys can have fun with Dad. Mom is going to work, Tilda. No, Mom, I want to go with you. This time it was Yanyan who spoke first. After hearing what his brother said, Nyunyu almost cried out of grievance. That's right, Mommy has never taken us to the... Chapter 25, Visiting the Zoo and Buying a Bubble Machine. Please collect and recommend. Yi Qingjiu looked at these two babies with a face full of guilt. She had indeed never taken them there. On the one hand, she was really busy, and on the other hand, she didn't want to go. She was afraid to go because her two children saw that others were accompanied by their fathers and chased her to ask for their father. However, now that they have a dad, she no longer worries that they will ask her for a dad. Yi Qingjiu patted the two babies' heads and said, "Okay, let's go to the zoo together today." "Great." "Yes, Tilda." The two babies were so happy when they heard that their parents were going to the zoo with them. Niu's face was full of anticipation. "Dad, Mom, when are we leaving?" Looking at his daughter's cute appearance, Jiang Cheng smiled with a face full of doting. He turned and looked at Yi Qingjiu beside him. "Well, how about we set off now?" Yi Qingjiu smiled and said, "Okay." After saying that, she lowered her head and sent a WeChat message to her assistant. "I won't be there today. Please call me if you have anything." She looked up at Jiang Cheng and said, "Well, I'm going to change my clothes first." She was wearing a high-end suit and high heels. It looked good, but it was not very suitable for walking. Activities like visiting a zoo should be enjoyed in a relaxing way. Jiang Cheng raised his chin and said, "Go ahead, I'll take them to clean up." While Yi Qingjiu was changing clothes, Jiang Cheng washed the faces of the two babies and combed Niu's hair. Looking at Niu's soft and smooth yellow hair, Jiang Cheng couldn't help but smile knowingly. This hair is exactly the same as her mother's. Put shoes on and hats on the two babies. Yi Qingjiu changed her clothes and came out. She was wearing a light yellow long dress, which made her look particularly gentle. Her long hair was draped back, and a pearl hairpin was pinned at her ear. The slightly upturned lips looked so pink that one can't help but want to take a bite. Jiang Cheng was a little dazed by what he saw. Yi Qingjiu felt embarrassed when he looked at her. "Why are you looking at me?" Jiang Cheng smiled carelessly. "I only look at you because I like you." "Damn it." He actually said he liked me. Yi Qingjiu glanced at him and quickly ran out the door. Jiang Cheng picked up the two babies and placed them in the safety seats in the back before getting into the car. Along the way, Yi Qingjiu kept his head down and sat quietly in the passenger seat. When they arrived at the zoo entrance, the two babies' faces were full of excitement. "Here we can finally see the big lion." Niu clapped his hands happily. "There are also big tigers," Yanyan added. Jiang Cheng stopped the car, and Yi Qingjiu carried the two babies down. The four of us bought tickets together and passed security check. The family of four walked along the gravel road to where the lion was. Yanyan's eyes lit up when she saw the lion. "Daddy, Mommy, there's a big lion." Niu also ran over with small steps, his chubby little hands clinging to the railing. "Daddy, look at it. It's so majestic, Tilda." Jiang Cheng walked over to them and squatted down. "Stay away, it's safer. If the person behind you bumps into you, you will fall down, Tilda." When he said this, the two little babies were startled and quickly took a step back. 3 seconds later, Niu tilted her head and looked at Jiang Cheng. "Dad, you should also step back a little. It's not safe, Tilda." Yanyan's face was also full of tension. "That's right, Dad has to protect himself too." Yi Qingjiu was moved when she saw their loving expression. Jiang Cheng patted the heads of the two babies and said, "Let's go. There are many animals behind us. The weather is very good today, with bright sunshine and a gentle breeze." Many mothers make plans to visit the park with their children. When they looked at the angular man with a pair of peach blossom eyes and two lovely babies, they couldn't help but feel envious. "Hey, look, that guy is so handsome. He's so handsome and can even take care of a child. He's so sweet. What a god husband he is. Look at those two babies. They have inherited all his strengths. They are so cute. Oh, how nice it would be if this were still my husband." The one in the yellow dress at the back is their mother, right? She has such a great figure even after giving birth to two children. She has fair skin and a pretty face. She's as beautiful as a star. Several mothers were talking to each other, looking at the family of four with envy on their faces. Since taking the marrow cleansing pill, Jiang Cheng's figure has become more and more stylish. His already handsome face has become more angular, and even his eyes have become deeper. He attracted a lot of people's attention along the way. Yi Qingjiu listened to everyone's discussion about Jiang Cheng and couldn't help but feel secretly happy. You see, Jiang Cheng is really good. Everyone is praising him. The zoo is very big, and there are many people selling snacks and toys on the roadside. A middle-aged woman selling bubble machines was holding a pink bubble machine in the shape of a camera and shouting to passers-by, "Buy one for your child. It's very fun." She shouted and pressed the switch. Countless colorful bubbles flew out in an instant, and the bubbles of all sizes looked particularly dreamy under the sunlight. Niu Niu looked at the bubbles in the sky with his eyes wide open. Daddy, which one do I want, Tilda? Yanyan also had a look of longing on her face. It looks so good, the bubbles are colorful. Yanyan wants one. Yi Qingjiu had strict family education since she was young. When others went out to play, she would study at home. Seeing the sky full of bubbles, I loved it so much that I couldn't help but look at it a few more times. Jiang Cheng saw the love in her eyes and walked towards the woman who bought the bubble machine. Boss, give me 3. When the boss heard that they wanted 3, he quickly agreed. Okay, I'll get you a few new ones. After that, he immediately took out a few new bubble machines and handed them to Jiang Cheng, smiling. How lucky you are to have twins, a boy and a girl, and your wife is so beautiful. Jiang Cheng scanned the code, smiled, and nodded. Yeah, I feel very happy too. Yanyan raised her little face and looked at him. Daddy, Yanyan is happy too. Niu Niu was not to be outdone and pulled Jiang Cheng's trouser leg, acting coquettishly. Nunuo is also happy. Niu Niu is the happiest, Tilda. The man selling the bubble machine looked at the 2 cute babies and couldn't help laughing out loud. These kids are so cute. Jiang Cheng leaned over and handed the bubble machine to Yanyan and Niu Niu, respectively. Go play, Tilda. The 2 little babies received the gifts and were so happy that they almost flew up, and they couldn't wait to install the switch. In an instant, colorful bubbles flew all over the sky. Jiang Cheng took the last bubble machine and turned to look at Yi Qingjiu. Here, Tilda, it's yours. Yi Qingjiu didn't expect that there was one for him and was a little surprised. After all, I'm a mother now. Will I be laughed at if I play with these children's toys? Seeing that she was a little hesitant, Jiang Cheng pulled her hand and stuffed the bubble machine into her hand. The little ones have it. The big ones must have it too. Take it. Under the sunlight, Yi Qingjiu held the bubble machine given to him by Jiang Cheng in his hand, with a light in his eyes. The 2 babies ran over and took their mother's hands. Niu Niu acted like a spoiled child, her chubby body swaying back and forth. Mom, let's play together. Chapter 26, The Birth of a Game. Please recommend and collect. That's right, Mom. Please accompany us, Tilda. Yanyan's eyes were also full of desire. Yi Qingjiu looked at the 2 babies and smiled beautifully. Okay, Mom will play with you. Great, Tilda. The 2 babies jumped high and cheered. What? Jiang Cheng looked at their 3 happy, smiling faces and the colorful bubbles in the sky, and an inexplicable sense of happiness arose spontaneously. This is probably the happiness of having a home. At this moment, Jiang Cheng remembered a familiar voice in his mind. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the tour of the zoo with the baby, and the reward is 5% of the shares of Mazara Group. Mazara Group is a large listed company abroad, one of the top companies in the automotive industry. With 5% of the shares, you can make a lot of money in a year. With this 5% stake, you can say that you will never have to worry about food and drink for the rest of your life. After visiting the zoo, the 4 people were all a little hungry. I just found a restaurant and prepared to eat something. The 2 babies played like crazy for the whole morning and felt so sleepy after just a few bites of food. Little Niu Niu, who is usually talkative, lowered his head with his eyes wide open. Jiang Cheng looked at their listless appearance and shook his head helplessly. Will you go back with us? Yi Qingjiu wiped her mouth and said, I'd better go to the company. After all, she hadn't been there all morning, and there were still many things waiting for her to deal with. Then I'll take you there. No need, take the children back and let them rest early. Seeing the 2 darlings looking listless, Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but feel distressed. How could she bear to let Jiang Cheng waste any more time just to send her off? Okay, then be careful on the road. Jiang Cheng also knew that the children were very sleepy, so he didn't refuse. After they separated, Jiang Cheng took the babies back to the villa. The 2 babies played like crazy for the whole morning and fell asleep as soon as they got in the car. Arriving at the villa, he stopped the car and looked at the 2 babies who were sleeping soundly. He was reluctant to wake them up. I had no choice but to call Aunt Zhang, and the 2 of them took the babies back one by one and put them on the bed. Jiang Cheng looked at the 2 sleeping babies and smiled lovingly. He took a shower, washed off the sweat on his body, and changed into the new t-shirt his wife bought for him. Only then did he sit in front of the computer and continue his great programming work. The 2 babies were very tired and slept for the whole afternoon. Jiang Cheng kept typing various codes in his mind into the computer. Time passed quickly and it was 5 o'clock, and the 2 babies finally opened their eyes. Seeing Jiang Cheng sitting in front of the computer, Yanyan blinked her lifeless eyes and opened her hands. Daddy, hug me, Tilda. Yanyan spoke softly. Yanyan wants a hug too, Tilda. The 2 babies had just woken up, and their voices were slightly nasal. They looked like two soft and juicy little balls, so cute. Jiang Cheng closed the computer and walked over with a smile. Okay, Dad, give me a. He played with the two babies for a while, and then went to make dinner as usual. Yi Qingjiu was also very tired today. He played with the children in the morning and dealt with various documents in the company in the afternoon. After returning home, we hardly talked the whole night. After dinner, our family of four continued to have a computer meeting. Jiang Cheng played with the babies for a while, ate some fruit, and then took the two babies to bed. The babies seemed to know that their dad had work to do, and they worked particularly hard. They fell asleep on their backs in less than 20 minutes. While they were asleep, Jiang Cheng turned on the computer again and continued to input various codes. This was his old job. No one disturbed him and he didn't feel sleepy, so the whole night passed by before he knew it. When it was almost dawn, Jiang Cheng finally finished the entire game. He couldn't wait to try it out. Although some parts were still a bit rougher than the original King of Glory on Earth, time was limited after all, so he could just fix the rest slowly. He opened Steam and paid 647.3 yuan for the software, which officially released the game. Only then did he turn off the computer, shook his buzzing head, and decided to go to the space to drink a glass of cool and sweet spiritual spring water to refresh himself. He drank 2 cups of sweet spring water and felt refreshed. Only then did he come out of the space feeling satisfied. The two babies were still sleeping soundly. Jiang Cheng couldn't bear to wake them up, so he tiptoed out to wash up. Then I went to the kitchen and prepared some vegetable porridge for them. As soon as I entered the door, I smelled the fragrance of rice. It turned out to be Aunt Zhang. She had already cooked porridge early and was making cold cucumber salad. When Aunt Zhang saw Jiang Cheng coming in, she looked at him with a smile. I saw a light in your room last night. You didn't sleep all night, did you? Jiang Cheng looked at Zhang Ma in surprise. How do you know everything? Aunt Zhang smiled and said, I'm old now and always can't sleep, so I got up a few times to see if there were any electrical appliances at home that I forgot to turn off. Jiang Cheng smiled helplessly. No wonder Qingjiu is so good to you. You are too dedicated. Aunt Zhang took a slow look and said, young people should have a regular schedule. Otherwise, when you get old, you will be like me, unable to sleep even if you want to. Jiang Cheng nodded. I know, Tilda. As the two were talking, Yi Qingjiu walked out. After a video conference last night, she has been thinking about her 2 children going to kindergarten. Looking at Jiang Cheng standing in the kitchen, he said lightly, come out for a moment. After saying that, he went to the living room and sat on the sofa. Jiang Cheng followed her and said, wife, what's wrong? You suddenly look a little serious. Yi Qingjiu said calmly, the 2 children are about to go to kindergarten. What do you think about this? Jiang Cheng looked at Yi Qingjiu, who was serious, and suddenly he felt a little nervous. Well, you have to go to school when it's time. As the old saying goes, you can't lose at the starting line. I have no objection to this. Yi Qingjiu poured a glass of water and said, if you decide to go to kindergarten, go to Menglisi Kindergarten. I've checked out the environment there and the school is good. Mingli's is the most expensive kindergarten in the whole Sichuan city. After all, the tuition and fees alone are 160,000 yuan a year, and the meal fee is another 10,000 yuan. The annual cost for one child is 170,000 yuan. There are 2 children in his family, so the total cost is 340,000 yuan. After all, the price is so high, so there should be nothing to complain about the software and hardware. Jiang Cheng nodded. Okay, I'll listen to you. Seeing that he had no objection, Yi Qingjiu continued. But if you want to enroll, you still need a household registration. She didn't continue talking because she wanted to see what Jiang Cheng's attitude was. After hearing her words, Jiang Cheng was a little surprised. The child is 3 years old and still hasn't been registered. Is it because the child has no father and therefore cannot be registered? Thinking of this, Jiang Cheng felt a little guilty. He looked at Yi Qingjiu and thought of the difficulties she had gone through over the years. He couldn't help but feel pain in his heart. He walked over, his eyes full of seriousness. Wife, are you willing to get the marriage certificate with me? When Yi Qingjiu was asked this, her entire face turned red with embarrassment. Aye. If I agreed to this readily, I would be too unreserved. I have to agree to it. Sending children to school is a big deal. Chapter 27, Why Am I So Shy? Please collect and recommend. Just as she was hesitating about what to do, the 2 babies ran out barefoot. Seeing Jiang Cheng, Niu looked aggrieved. Dad, where have you been? I can't find you anywhere, Tilda. Yanyan also opened her little arms, looking unhappy. Daddy, hug me, Tilda. Jiang Chengxin was melted by the moment. How could his twin boy and girl be so adorable? He held the two treasures in his arms, one in his left hand and one in his right hand. Yi Qingjiu blushed and stood up quickly. Well, I have something else to do, I'll leave first. After saying this, he ran to the gate. Jiang Cheng looked at her shy back and smiled helplessly. It seemed that his wife was shy again. After lunch, Jiang Cheng settled the two babies with Aunt Zhang. He went to the street to propose to his wife. Girls all like romance. As soon as he entered the second floor of the mall, the sales ladies were particularly enthusiastic towards him. After all, it was rare to see such a handsome man. "Hello, sir, what could I order?" the waiter said with a smile. Jiang Cheng was a little confused. What should I give as a proposal? Hearing the proposal, the shop assistants at the back couldn't help but look disappointed. Oh, the beauty is already taken, no point. Why are all the good men from other families? Jiang Cheng wanted to ask a few more questions but was frightened by the shop assistant behind him. He said, "Forget it, I'll take a look again," and turned and ran away. It turns out that being handsome does bring troubles, just like him now. No matter what question I ask, the first answer I get is, "You are so handsome, handsome guy, add me on WeChat." Why is it so difficult to buy something properly? The waitress behind him saw him turning around and leaving and hurriedly chased after him. "Sir, how about adding WeChat tilde? Look, it's happening again." Jiang Cheng smiled and said, "Sorry, my wife is very jealous." After saying that, he turned around and walked away quickly. When I was hesitating, I saw the advertisement playing on the big screen in the mall. "Love only one person in your life, Dr. Diamond Ring." Jiang Cheng looked at the big screen and suddenly decided that this was the one. Such a good wife, he would love her endlessly for the rest of his life. He followed the direction of the advertisement and found Doctor, which was indeed about loving only one person in a lifetime. The sales lady was much more stable. "Hello, sir. Are you looking to buy a diamond ring?" Jiang Cheng nodded. "Yes, buy it for my wife." "Okay, sir, this." Jiang Cheng tried on a 1-carat diamond ring on the counter. The clerk hurriedly took out the diamond ring. The ring is inlaid with a sparkling diamond-shaped diamond, and the setting is in the shape of a heart. The thin ring band can just show Yi Qingjiu's perfect hand shape. He took it in his hand and looked at it carefully. Yes, this is it. After paying the bill, Jiang Cheng put the diamond ring into his pocket with satisfaction. I ordered a bunch of roses from the flower shop and then returned to the villa. He looked at the time, and it was already past 6 o'clock. Jiang Cheng prepared the meal and called Yi Qingjiu. Yi Qingjiu sat on the leather sofa in the office, feeling particularly conflicted when thinking about what happened in the morning. Just as she was struggling, Jiang Cheng called. She hesitated for a moment and picked up the phone. "What's the matter?" Jiang Cheng's carefree voice came from the other end of the phone. "Hey, wife, when will you come back for dinner?" Yi Qingjiu's tone was a little shimmering. Hey, I have something to do tonight, so I'll be home late. Don't wait for me to eat." In fact, she didn't really have anything to do that night. But when the matter of getting the marriage certificate was mentioned, she was a little hesitant. "Go ahead, does he really love you? After all, marriage is a major event in life. She is a conservative person. Once she chooses someone, she will be with her for life. She won't accept it. After all, the children are going to kindergarten. It is said that children should not lose at the starting line. If it is because of her that the children cannot go to kindergarten, she will definitely feel guilty. She hasn't figured out what decision to make. I don't know how to face Jiang Cheng. The hesitant and even vague voice made Jiang Cheng realize that something was wrong. "Don't you usually come back to eat and work at home in the evening? What happened today?" Yi Qingjiu swallowed and said, Yeah, anyway, I have something to do in the company and I might be busy until very late. I won't say any more, I'll hang up first." Before Jiang Cheng could speak, a beeping sound came from the other side. Jiang Cheng touched his head, looking confused. What happened today? Could it be because we talked about getting the marriage certificate this morning? She doesn't want to be with me. But if I really don't want to think about it, why does she blush and her heart beat fast every time I tease her? Why did she take the initiative to learn how to cook? Jiang Cheng shook his head and thought, forget it. A woman's mind is unpredictable. If you can't guess it, then don't guess it. While eating, Niu found that her mother had not come back and asked with a pout, "Dad, aren't you going to bring food to Mom today?" Yan stuffed the chopsticks into her mouth, looking hesitant. "Daddy, when will Mommy come back? Yan misses Mommy so much." Jiang Cheng looked at the two cute babies with a warm gaze. "How about after dinner? Daddy will take you to find your mother, okay?" In fact, he was also thinking about Yi Qingjiu. Niu clapped happily. Yan likes Daddy and Mommy Tilda. After dinner, Aunt Zhang cleaned up the dishes. Jiang Cheng changed his clothes. took the two little babies out of the villa and drove to Tengsing's underground parking lot. When getting off the car, Niu held the flowers that Jiang Cheng bought during the day. "Dad, the flowers are so beautiful. Are they for Mommy?" As expected, she is a little smart girl. Nothing can be hidden from her. Jiang Cheng looked at his precious daughter and smiled helplessly. "Yes, you found out all this. Dad, let's carry it up to Mom. She will definitely be very happy." Niu held the flowers, her peach blossom eyes sparkling. Jiang Cheng originally planned to give Yi Qing wine after returning home. After all, there were too many people in the company, and it would seem a bit ostentatious to hug him openly like this. But when he saw his daughter's innocent eyes, he changed his mind instantly. "I bought these flowers with my own money and gave them to my wife. Why are you sneaking around like that?" He nodded, "Okay." "Wow, that's great." The two babies happily climbed out of the car holding the flowers. The three of them got on the elevator and headed toward the president's office on the 14th floor. Because it was time to get off work, there were a lot of people on the way to the president's office. Many employees were surprised to see Jiang Cheng bringing the president's two treasures and holding a huge bouquet of roses in his hand. I couldn't help but stop and whispered, "Isn't this the child's father? Is he here to see Mr. Yi?" Several female employees expressed envy. "Oh my God, Ms. Yi is so lucky. She has such a handsome husband who either brings her meals or flowers every day. I'm so envious, Tilda." "Yes, my husband is so handsome, my two babies are so cute, and I am the CEO. I can get whatever I want. This is a lucky life, Tilda." The man sighed, "Damn, what a fate this boy has. He just looks handsome, but he can seduce a goddess like this." Jiang Cheng went upstairs, pulled his two babies through the crowded crowd, and headed straight for the president's office. Chapter 28, Proposal Success. Please recommend and collect. The 14th floor was full of employees getting ready to leave work. At this time every day, people who were out doing business would come back to clock in, so the place seemed particularly crowded. Everyone looked at Jiang Cheng holding flowers and walking towards Mr. Yi's office. They all stopped silently and waited to see what happened next. That's Mr. Yi's office. Who wouldn't be curious about such a big melon? Yi Qingjiu was sitting at his desk, arranging tomorrow's tasks for his assistant. The two babies opened the door and rushed in. Niu climbed on Yi Qingjiu's legs, smiling happily. "Mom, Daddy brought you flowers, Tilda." Yanyan pointed at the flowers in Jiang Cheng's hand and said, "Mom, look how beautiful it is, Tilda." Yi Qingjiu looked at Jiang Cheng holding the flowers, and his heartbeat suddenly accelerated. What is he going to do? Is he going to confess to me? Seeing that Mr. Yi's door was not closed, several brave employees quietly slipped over, risking being scolded. Although Mr. Yi is scary, the feeling of missing out on a shocking piece of news is even scarier. Jiang Cheng handed the flowers to Yi Qingjiu. "Do you like it?" This was the first time in Yi Qingjiu's life that she had been given flowers. Her beautiful face turned red from her neck to her ears, as if it was about to bleed. Seeing Yi Qingjiu blushing, Jiang Cheng burst out laughing. He couldn't help wanting to tease her again and said with a look of regret, "Don't you like it? Otherwise." Sure enough, Yi Qingjiu was shocked. He wouldn't think that she didn't like it and wouldn't give it to her. "She wants it. But how do I start this?" After hesitating for 3 seconds, she snatched the flowers. There were still water droplets on the red petals, which were fresh, delicate, and full of fragrance. Yi Qingjiu couldn't help but lower his head to smell them. More and more people gathered outside the door, and almost everyone on the entire floor was blocking the door. Although they couldn't see it, it was first-hand information after all. "Oh shit," someone exclaimed at the door. "Did you see that? Mr. Yi actually snatched the flowers. It's too much to bear watching. What kind of fate does this kid have? Wasn't the guy who came to give flowers last time kicked out of Tengsing by Mr. Yi himself?" Seeing that she accepted the flowers, Jiang Cheng simply took out the ring from his pocket, knelt on one knee, and looked particularly abstinent in his suit. "Wife, I'm not good at saying sweet words, and I don't like to say those empty words. I just know that I like you and I will always like you. Will you marry me?" Wow, Tilda, the crowd at the door became even more lively, especially the female colleagues. Their eyes almost popped out of their heads when they saw such a romantic scene. "Ah, what kind of fairy tale love is this? Mr. Yi, you marry him. Boss Yi, if you don't agree, I'll do it. Marry him, marry him." The voices were getting louder and louder. Yi Qingjiu's face couldn't be any redder. "He actually proposed to me. But now it is time to get the certificate. After all, the children have to go to school." Niu and Yanyan excitedly pulled their mother's hands. "Mom, please agree to Daddy quickly, Tilda." "Mom, Dad's ring is so beautiful, Tilda." Yi Qingju pursed her lips and said, "Okay." If he hadn't proposed to me, I don't know how long I would have been embarrassed before I could tell him about the marriage certificate. The applause merged into one, and the employees outside the door could no longer hold back and clapped wildly, each one more excited than the other. It's as if the person being proposed to is me. Yi Qingju glanced outside the door. Oh my God, he was so nervous just now that he didn't even notice so many pairs of eyes staring at him at the door. Her face darkened. "Who told you to watch it? Don't you want the bonus?" The assistant hurried out and closed the door. "It's time to get off work, but you're still not leaving. If you're so energetic, why don't you stay and work overtime today?" After she yelled at them, everyone dispersed immediately. After all, no one wanted to stay and work overtime, let alone lose their bonus. Some female employees were so aroused by the scene just now that they have secretly sent WeChat messages to their boyfriends, saying that they also want such a romantic proposal. Assistant C. Kinking confirmed that everyone had left before turning back into the office and quietly taking the two babies out. Mr. Yi has always been his idol. An idol's proposal must not be disturbed by anyone, not even one's own flesh and blood. This cold storage is so ruthless. Jiang Cheng pulled Yi Qingju's fair jade hand and put the diamond ring on her ring finger. "From now on, you are my wife Tilda." Although this diamond ring is really beautiful, she doesn't know how much of his savings it cost. Thinking of this, she felt a little distressed. Yi Qingju looked at the sparkling diamond and said, "Actually, there's no need to buy a diamond ring." Jiang Cheng looked at her serious expression and couldn't help but kiss her on the forehead. "What nonsense are you talking about? Although I don't have much money now, what others have, my wife must have." Yi Qingju felt his face burning instantly. He kissed himself again. He kissed himself again. Jiang Cheng looked at her shy little appearance and couldn't help but gently touch her nose. "Wife, can you change your words now?" Yi Qingju hadn't recovered from her blushing and heartbeat just now. She looked at him in confusion. "Why change your words? Call me husband?" Jiang Cheng smiled, and his pair of deep peach blossom eyes made Yi Qingju feel at a loss. She lowered her head, her face full of shyness, and her pink lips murmured, "Why are you so annoying? The sound is soft and sweet, and it makes people want to take a bite. I hate that you still promised me." Seeing her at a loss, Jiang Cheng was very happy. He held Yi Qingju's hand and said, "Wife, you haven't eaten yet, right? What do you want to eat? Your husband will take you there." Hearing the word eat, Yi Qingju looked at him eagerly. "Is anything really possible?" "What's wrong with that? My husband doesn't have much money, but eating a meal is no big deal. Don't worry, I will work hard, and one day I will be your pride." Yi Qingju nodded, her long eyelashes trembling. I want to eat at a food stall." Since childhood, she has been the only heir of the Yi family. As the largest shareholder of Tengsing, the Yi family's demands on her are naturally much higher than those of an ordinary family. Things like food stalls would never appear in the Yi family's dictionary. However, Yi Qingju was particularly envious every time he heard his classmates say that they and their parents had eaten at food stalls, and even had a small glass of beer. Looking at Yi Qingju's cautious and almost pleading eyes, Jiang Cheng felt a little distressed. "Okay, your husband, I'll take you to a food stall right now." Yi Qingju nodded heavily. "Okay." Although she couldn't say it out loud, she was still happy in her heart. Sometimes the reason we can't say something is not because we don't like it, but because we are shy. For example, the current Yi Qing wine. She called her assistant, brought the two babies back, and the family of 4 left Tengsing. Although the food at the food stalls is delicious, Yi Qingju has been blessed with a privileged environment since childhood and grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. Chapter 29. Taking my wife to eat at a food stall, please collect and recommend. Jiang Cheng was still a little worried along the way, afraid that she couldn't stand the environment of the food stall. He turned his head and glanced at Yi Qingju. Her slightly raised lips showed that she was in a good mood. "Wife, are you sure you want to eat at a food stall?" Yi Qingju nodded. Yeah. That was what she had always desired. She had to eat at a food stall once, and then her life would be complete. Seeing that she was so persistent, Jiang Cheng didn't say much, and the car shuttled on the busy road for more than 20 minutes. Finally, they arrived at the gate of Z University. Jiang Cheng had been eating at the food stalls in this area for several years. There is a restaurant with super delicious food here, and many people drive here to eat there. When he was in school, he would come here almost every week and was very familiar with the owner. "Bring Yi Qingju here to eat. I guarantee the taste will satisfy her." Jiang Cheng stopped the car, got out to open the door for Yi Qingju, then went to the back and let the two well-behaved little darlings down. Then he went straight to the alley not far away and said, Wife, it's over there. There is a restaurant that tastes very good. Niu is a foodie, and he gets very happy when talking about food. Yeah, Daddy is taking us to eat delicious food again, Tilda. Great, great Tilda. Yanyan was also very happy. Yi Qingjiu looked at the happy faces of the children and felt particularly happy. Then, let's go over there. The family of four held hands and walked towards the direction Jiang Cheng pointed. Looking at the happy faces of the mother and her two children, Jiang Cheng couldn't help but feel a little proud. Whatever you want to eat in the future, just tell your husband. There is no delicious food in Sichuan that I can't find, Tilda. What did he say? Does he know a lot of delicious food? Why do you know so much? Is it for the research of his ex-girlfriend? Yi Qingjiu turned and looked at him. When you were in college, did you often bring your girlfriend here to eat? This sentence almost choked Jiang Cheng to death. He swallowed and said, I don't have a girlfriend. Hearing that he had never found a girlfriend, Yi Qingjiu's mouth moved imperceptibly. Then why don't you find one? Jiang Cheng rubbed his head and said, I'm not the kind of person who won't recognize anyone once his pants are pulled up, Tilda. Crazy. Yi Qingjiu blushed at his joke. Okay, my dear, the child is already this big. Just accept the reality, dear Tilda. What reality was he talking about? Wasn't it just the night he and I had? He comes again. It's really out of shape. When they got to the food stall, Jiang Cheng pointed at the door and said, This is it. The conditions of this food stall are very simple. It just has a simple door made of wooden boards with a red silk sticker pasted on it with the words, Warm Food Stall, written on it. It rains a lot in Sichuan, and the doorway looks a bit old from being washed by the rain. There were several square tables and chairs at the door. Several couples were sitting at the tables, drinking beer, eating food, and chatting and laughing. Jiang Cheng originally thought that Yi Qingjiu would be a little uncomfortable, but unexpectedly, she was extremely happy and picked a place to sit down directly. Niu and Yanyan also climbed onto the small chairs and waited obediently. The young men and women around them couldn't help but envy them when they saw their family of four. The girl at the next table said to her boyfriend, Those two little darlings are so cute, they look like they came out of a cartoon. The girls at the other table were all focused on Yi Qingjiu's face. Oh my God, this is so beautiful, honey. I really want the skirt she's wearing. The boss is a middle-aged man with a buzz cut and a slightly plump figure. Seeing Jiang Cheng coming, he came out to greet him with a smile. Hey, Chengzi is here. It's only been a week since I last saw him. He's so handsome that I almost didn't recognize him. Jiang Cheng nodded politely. I miss the fried chicken with ginger you made. Oh, and Ma Zairo. The two children can't eat spicy food. Another serving of pig's trotters and a boiled fish. Uncle Liu looked at Yi Qingjiu and smiled. This is your sister, she is so cute. These two kids are also very cute. They all say that the kids look like their uncle. Look, they look like. Jiang Chengxiao looked helpless. Uncle Liu, this is my wife. Uncle Liu touched his apron and was a little surprised. Oh, you just graduated and you have a child this big. Jiang Cheng chuckled, looking very proud. Sure, kid, you're a hidden talent. I'll get you some snacks first. After saying that, Uncle Liu went into the house. Jiang Cheng poured Yi Qingjiu a cup of tea and said, Drink some water first. You know the boss very well. That's right, this is pretty much the cafeteria I went to during college. As the two were talking, Uncle Liu came out of the house and brought a platter of edamame and peanuts. He also brought a plate of strawberries and a piece of cut pineapple. My wife bought strawberries and pineapples for our sons. Uncle Liu saw how cute the two little kids were, so he picked out a few big ones, washed them, and cut some pineapples for the two babies. He put the strawberries and pineapples on the table and looked at Yi Qingjiu with a smile. Girl, I can tell from the looks of it that you are from a wealthy family. There is nothing much to offer you in a small shop like ours. The fruits are all washed, so don't be disgusted. Yi Qingjiu was used to the hypocrisy in the business world. Looking at Uncle Liu's warm smile, he was moved and said, Thank you, Uncle. The two babies were very happy to see the fruits. They both clasped their hands and bowed. Grandpa Crab Tilda. Good boy, good boy. He looked at Jiang Cheng with a smile. You are lucky. After saying that, he looked at Yi Qingjiu again and said, Uncle will cook for you guys right away. Jiang Cheng hurriedly said, Uncle, my wife can't eat spicy food, put less chili. Okay. Uncle Liu agreed and went to the kitchen. The four of them had some snacks, and soon Uncle Liu started serving the dishes. First is a dish of spicy crayfish, which is fried in oil and then seasoned with various seasonings. It tastes crispy and even the shrimp shell can be eaten. Jiang Cheng peeled one for Yi Qingjiu and handed it directly to her lips. Come here, wife, try Uncle Liu's cooking. Yi Qingjiu opened his mouth obediently, and his expression lit up. Tilde, it's really delicious. Nyunyu pouted and said, Daddy, Nyunyu wants to eat too, Tilde. Yanyan also looked at Jiang Cheng anxiously. Yanyan wants to eat too, Tilde. Okay, Daddy will peel it for you. Jiang Cheng peeled shrimps for the two little darlings with a smile. The two people opened their mouths like hungry birds. Jiang Cheng stuffed a crayfish into each of their mouths. After a while, Uncle Liu brought the fried chicken with ginger, pig's trotters, and boiled fish. Yi Qingjiu ate with great relish, and discovered that this was what food at a food stall tasted like. Seeing Yi Qing sipping the wine, Jiang Cheng couldn't help but feel happy. Wife, how is it? Isn't it delicious? Well, I want to have another beer, is that okay? Yi Qingjiu looked at him. Jiang Cheng smiled, walked into the house, and took a bottle of beer and 2 cups. He poured a glass of wine for Yi Qing and a glass for himself. Come on, wife, I wish you become more and more beautiful. Chapter 30, the proposal video has become a hot search. Please collect and recommend. Yi Qingjiu glanced at him and said, Am I not beautiful now? Jiang Cheng quickly changed his words. No, my wife is the most beautiful in the world. Yi is so beautiful. Can you please behave yourself? Yes, then I wish you many children and grandchildren, and a long line of descendants, Tilde. Yi Qingjiu. Looking at Yi Qingjiu's speechless expression, Jiang Cheng chuckled. Yi Qingjiu ate at a food stall and drank a small glass of beer, feeling particularly satisfied. Yi Qingjiu smiled. Jiang Cheng, thank you. Jiang Cheng raised his eyebrows. Why are you being polite to your own husband? She took another sip of beer and said, Today is Friday. Let's go get the certificate on Monday. After all, the children are already 3 years old, and the school season is about to start in September, so there is no time to waste. Okay, no problem, Tilde. Jiang Cheng nodded. Ding, a familiar voice came to my mind. Congratulations to the host for completing the task of taking a family of 3 to eat at a food stall. Reward, concentration and persistence in doing things. Note, concentration. You can focus all your attention on doing anything. Durability means that no matter what you do, as long as the host is willing, the time can be increased by double. When Jiang Cheng heard about the reward, he burst out laughing. This reward was quite interesting. After eating at the food stall, the family of 4 returned home. The 2 babies hugged Jiang Cheng as usual and asked their father to coax them to sleep. Jiang Cheng took them to wash up and told stories for another half an hour. The 2 babies fell asleep. After the children fell asleep, he quietly got out of bed and went to Yi Qingjiu's room. Yi Qingjiu had just finished taking a shower and was wrapped in a white bath towel. Her hair was wet, and she hadn't had time to blow dry it yet. Seeing Jiang Cheng suddenly come in, he was startled. How did you come in? Needless to say, I must try out the reward I just got. The system has put so much effort into this, he can't just let it go. Jiang Cheng smiled mischievously and took Yi Qingjiu into his arms. Wife, you are so beautiful. A pleasant light fragrance rushed into Jiang Cheng's nose. It was so fragrant and sweet that people couldn't help but want to taste it. However, he did so. Without waiting for Yi Qingjiu to react, he kissed her directly along the ear. A tingling sensation spread from behind my ears to my entire body. After Yi Qingjiu lost his mind for a moment, he finally came to his senses. What are you doing? Jiang Cheng looked at her with a smile on his face. Wife, we've already got the marriage certificate. Why are you still shy? What is he talking about? How can this be possible when you don't even have a certificate? Too unrestrained. The more he thought about it, the faster the blush on Yi Qingjiu's face spread. Seeing Yi Qingjiu's nervous look, Jiang Cheng looked at her with a smile. Wife, why are you so easily shy? After saying that, he took 2 steps towards her. Yi Qingjiu looked at Jiang Cheng, who was slowly walking towards her with a mocking look on his face. What is he going to do? His skin was tense with tension, and he involuntarily stepped back until his entire back was pressed against the wall, and then he stopped. You don't come over here. Jiang Cheng leaned one hand on the wall and looked at her playfully. Well, then you have to reward me. Yi Qingjiu raised his head and looked at him. How much money do you want? Jiang Cheng, you really are a good businessman. You are willing to talk about money with me at this critical moment. When a man asks a woman for a reward, it's usually a kiss. How can it be money? What on earth are you thinking about in your little head? Jiang Cheng was a little helpless. Yi Qingjiu realized that he had said the wrong thing, and his face was filled with guilt. I. Jiang Cheng pointed at his face and said, Kiss me. Yi Qingjiu didn't know where she got the courage from. She pursed her lips, stood on tiptoes, and kissed Jiang Cheng on the face. The soft touch of lips spreads across my face, and it feels wonderful. Your proud leap, the leaf I perch on. Yi Qingjiu's ringtone suddenly rang. She lowered her head quickly and said, Well, I need to answer the phone. Jiang Cheng raised his eyebrows. Okay, good night then, Tilda. Hey. Yi Qingjiu agreed. She glanced at the incoming call alert and saw it was Manager Luo. What's the matter? Yi Qingjiu picked up the phone. Manager Luo's cautious voice came from the other end of the phone. Hello, Mr. Yi. I'm sorry to bother you so late. I just found a game with great potential. This game has just been released for one day, and without any advertising or promotion, it has already reached 1 million people. You know, for a game without any commercial promotion or advertising effect, the number of players reached 1 million in one day. This is really outrageous. It's not just outrageous, it's simply unbelievable. So Manager Luo didn't dare to waste time, and called Yi Qingjiu even so late. Yi Qingjiu was also a little surprised to hear this data. Over the years, she had never seen a game with more than 100,000 players on the first day of its release. And it's a game with no marketing or advertising. She said calmly, Are you sure you didn't see it wrong? Boss Yi, you are definitely not mistaken. What's the name of the game? Manager Luo said excitedly, Honor of Kings? I just wanted to try it out, but I didn't expect that I couldn't get out of it. I played for almost 2 hours without realizing it. Manager Luo is from the department, and his team has also developed quite a few games. There are also some that were once popular. He can be so addicted to it that it seems this game cannot be underestimated. Yi Qingjiu thought for a moment and said, I understand. Is there anything else? No, that's all. Mr. Yi, do you think we should buy the copyright of this game and let our company promote and operate it? After all, there were 1 million players online at the same time that day, which was an unprecedented spectacle, and Manager Luo did not want to miss this opportunity. It's too late today. Come to my office tomorrow to talk. Okay, Mr. Yi. After saying that, Manager Luo hung up the phone. Yi Qingjiu hung up the phone, opened the notebook on the table, searched for Honor of Kings, and prepared to give it a try to see what the experience was like. Following an illusion that she came to Summoner's Rift, she silently chose Daji. Who doesn't love a little vixen? Although she doesn't know how to do it, they are all novices and no one is better than anyone else. In this game, there were 5 mages, who were having a lot of fun fighting with the opponents. Yi Qingjiu finally managed to keep the person calm and was extremely happy. Just then, the phone rang again. She really didn't want to answer it. After all, she was having fun. She looked at the caller and it was her assistant, Si Qingqing. Then he reluctantly picked up the phone. What's the matter? Si Qingqing's panicked voice came from the other end. Yi, Mr. Yi, I don't know who uploaded the video of your proposal today to the internet. Now the internet is flooded with news that the famous female entrepreneur Yi Qingjiu was proposed to by a mysterious man. It has become a hot search. Chapter 31. The viral video, trending on the internet, please save and recommend. She was able to become the president of Tencent at such a young age. She held 60% of Tencent's shares in her hands and could be said to have the power of life and death over Tencent. In addition, she has a natural, outstanding temperament and has been interviewed by a financial channel. She is a well-known figure in Sichuan. As long as her proposal video is posted on the internet, it will definitely cause quite a stir. Yi Qingjiu frowned. How could this happen? Si Qingqing was also at a loss. Yi, President Yi, I don't know either. Maybe one of the employees was too emotional, or he sent it to his boyfriend, family, or friends, and it was finally posted online. It seems that I haven't dealt with them for a long time recently. They dare to gossip about my private affairs. Yi Qingjiu said in a somewhat cold tone, I know. What should we do then, Mr. Yi? What should I do? Let me take a look first. After saying that, she hung up the phone. Looking at the Honor of Kings on the computer, I suddenly lost interest. She opened Weibo, and sure enough, her video was on the home page. The title is, A well-known beautiful entrepreneur was proposed to by a mysterious man. Is it true love or hype? Yi Qingjiu patiently clicked on the article, which clearly stated, according to insiders, at around 6 o'clock today, an unknown mysterious man made a romantic proposal to the famous female entrepreneur Yi Qingjiu in the Tencent office building. Just a few days ago, Tencent Star launched 2 mobile games. I don't know if it is hype or true love that he proposed to a female entrepreneur at this time. To know the results, please continue to pay attention. She read the entire article, pushed her hands aside, and sat on the chair with a serious expression. Just because she is the president of Tencent and the representative of Tencent, her proposal will be considered as hype. Does she need to hype it up? She might as well invest in stocks if she has the time. really taking advantage of the situation. Thinking of this, she slammed the computer shut. Jiang Cheng returned to the room, but couldn't fall asleep as he thought about the kiss just now. I simply turned on the computer and watched his Honor of Kings game. After all, it was the first day of its release, so I was a little curious. Wow, when I clicked on it, there were 1.3 million people online. There are so many people in the parallel world. Without any advertisement or promotion, millions of people have tried the game. This Honor of Kings is a mobile game. After all, it is not as convenient to use a computer as a mobile phone. How could the computer effect be so good in such a short time? His original plan was to slowly develop a mobile game a month later, once the growth trend in the number of players had stabilized. I didn't expect the response to be so enthusiastic on the first day of its launch. It seems I have to make the mobile game in advance. However, making mobile games is not as easy as making computer games. At least you have to make an app. He looked at the time. It was almost 12 o'clock. He decided to go to bed first. After all, this matter was not something that could be rushed. He got on the bed, covered the two babies with a thin blanket, and then closed his eyes. The next morning, Yi Qingjiu was sleeping soundly when a quick cell phone ring rang at the bedside. A snow-white arm stretched out from under the quilt and weakly pulled the phone in. Boss Yi, the number of online users of that game has increased to 1.5 million. We can't wait any longer, Boss Yi. Yi Qingjiu was woken up from his sleep and inevitably became a little irritable. Why are you in such a hurry? Which game toy in the company has not sold for more than 1 million? Keep watching. Manager Luo on the other end of the phone shuddered at her yelling. Okay, Mr. Yi. After hanging up the phone, Manager Luo, who was sitting at his desk, played King of Glory in front of his computer again. This game is really fun, a 5-on-5 team battle. There are many types of heroes, and there is more room for free play. At the same time, Yaochen Group and Mulin Group also discovered that the data of Honor of Kings was soaring. The R&D department of Yaochen Group has received a call from the president, asking them to try to see if they can make a similar product. In Lin Mu's office, he was already working on a data analysis table for Honor of Kings. Niu and Yan are two little babies. Maybe because they are twins, as soon as one wakes up, the other one will be ready soon. The two babies were sitting on the bed, stretching their arms and legs, and the noise woke Jiang Cheng up. Seeing that Jiang Cheng woke up, Niu rubbed her eyes, forced a sweet smile, climbed up to him and gave him a kiss on the face. Yan also followed suit and kissed him on the left cheek. Jiang Cheng felt warm in his heart after being kissed by two cute and soft little things. Are you too hungry? Let's get up and drink milk, Tilda. Jiang Cheng looked at the two babies gently. Okay, Tilda, hearing about drinking milk. The two babies immediately became energetic and climbed out of bed immediately. Jiang Cheng looked at the two meatballs with a smile. Old rules, brush your teeth first. Oh, I can spit water again, Tilda. Yan likes to spit water the most, Tilda. The two babies cheered and ran towards the bathroom. After the three of them finished brushing their teeth, Jiang Cheng brought out the bottles, put 200 milliliters of water in each bottle, added 5 spoonfuls of milk powder, stirred it evenly, and then gave it to the two babies. The two babies sat on the sofa, drinking from their bottles with relish. Jiang Cheng was just about to wash his face when he heard his phone ringing in the room. Before he could speak after answering the phone, Suji's voice came from the other end. Brother Cheng, is that you on the internet? Suji and Jiang Cheng are both computer majors and live in the same dormitory, so they have a very good relationship. Jiang Cheng was shocked. Could it be that just because he hadn't looked at his computer all morning, the game had become so popular that a human producer had to be created? Thinking of this, he got a little excited. Are you talking about King of Glory? What King of Glory? I'm talking about the proposal video. Didn't you see it? It's trending on Weibo now. The comments are overwhelming. A mysterious man proposed to a famous female entrepreneur. Hearing this, Jiang Cheng was completely stunned. He was actually pushed to the top of the trending searches. Seeing that Jiang Cheng didn't say anything, Suji seemed to understand something. I could sense his envy even through the phone. Brother Cheng, you're really good. Last week you said you were going to apply for a job at Tencent, but I didn't expect you to get the position of CEO in just 1 week. But although CEO Yi is beautiful and from a wealthy family, those two children are not your biological children after all. If the aunt knew about this, would she agree? What are you talking about? You are not my biological child. Brother Cheng, I'm doing this for your own good. I'm just giving you a friendly reminder. Don't attack me personally. My mom risked having more children than allowed to have me. We still have a certificate for being an only child. Suji's tone is full of pride that he is the biological father. This is a long story and cannot be explained in a few words. In short, there is one central idea. My wife is mine and my child is mine too, Jiang Cheng said helplessly. Chapter 32, Preparing for Acquisition. Please collect and recommend. Hearing that the child was his biological child, Suji couldn't help but get excited again. Good fellow, I didn't expect you to be so secretive. No wonder you didn't find a girlfriend during your 4 years in college. It turns out you've been dating the beautiful CEO for a long time and even had a child with her. You've reached the pinnacle of your life right after graduation. You're definitely a big winner. After that, he said softly, "Ah, when can I find such a beautiful CEO to bear my child? My wife is a beauty, she is also a CEO, and I have a pair of adorable twins, a boy and a girl. Who wouldn't be envious?" "Okay, you're the only one who talks too much. Let me take a look at the trending searches first." Jiang Cheng felt helpless. "Remember to invite me to the wedding banquet so that we can see the true appearance of the female president," Su Ji continued to tease. Roll. After hanging up the phone, Jiang Cheng opened Weibo. Sure enough, the first piece of news was that a mysterious man openly proposed to the president in Teng Xing's office. When he clicked on it, there were already tens of thousands of comments. A little girl, "Oh my God, this guy is so handsome. He's going to blind my titanium dog eyes. Dare not be presumptuous. Oh, if I were there, I would definitely snatch him away and hide him without hesitation. Yijian Fenghu, heartbroken, what kind of aloof female CEO is this? My goddess was snatched away by someone like this. Brown dog, haha, it's all hype. This guy just wants to be famous. It's just a proposal. Whether the goddess will marry him or not is another matter. Public second young master. When you are young, you don't know the value of a rich woman. When you are old, you regret marrying into her family too late. When you are young, you don't know the fragrance of soft rice. You mistakenly waste your youth. Be frank, I love the female president. White Tea Fairy, how could there be anyone more perfect than my readers? I don't believe it. Jiang Cheng was watching his cell phone with great interest. Without knowing when, Yi Qingjiu appeared at his door. Seeing him grinning at his phone, I knocked on the door gently. "Hey, what are you looking at?" Jiang Cheng looked up suddenly when he heard Yi Qingjiu's voice. "Hey, I don't know who posted my proposal to you online. It's already a hot topic." Yi Qingjiu was worried that Jiang Cheng would be angry if he knew about this. After all, the video was leaked from his own employee. Moreover, many people on the internet say that Jiang Cheng is a gigolo. But seeing that he was smiling as if nothing had happened, she spoke up. "Are you not angry?" Jiang Cheng looked at her with a smile. "Why should I be angry?" Yi Qingjiu lowered his head and said in a soft voice, "Yes, some people say that you are a gigolo." Jiang Cheng patted her head and said, "That's nothing, it's just sour grapes." He thought for a moment, "By the way, what are our plans for today?" "I may have to go to the company later," Yi Qingjiu said seriously. "Okay, let's go eat first." Jiang Cheng rinsed the empty bottles of the two babies, and Aunt Zhang had already brought up breakfast. After the family of 4 had breakfast, Yi Qingjiu left in a hurry. After all, in large companies, overtime is inevitable, especially for a company of Tencent's size. 996 is a normal operation. Early this morning, many people saw the hot search on Weibo. Many people took videos yesterday, so when they saw Yi Qingjiu today, they all lowered their heads in fear. After all, the president's private affairs were leaked, and if she got angry, she would lose her job completely. Assistant Si Qingqing saw Yi Qingjiu and hurriedly followed her into the president's office. She was obviously still in shock about what happened yesterday. President Yi, go and call Manager Luo over to me." Hearing that the president did not ask about yesterday's incident, Si Qingqing breathed a sigh of relief. "Okay, Mr. Yi." After saying that, he walked out quickly. After a while, Manager Luo followed Si Qingqing in and stood in front of the desk. "Boss Yi, you're looking for me." Yi Qingjiu looked at him with no expression on his face. "Do you know who made that game?" Manager Luo shook his head. "I don't know." Si Qingqing also discovered this game while lying in bed last night. After playing it for a few rounds, she found the gaming experience unprecedentedly good and was simply addicted to it. Hearing them talking about this game, he hurriedly said, "Boss Yi, that game is so fun, really our company should buy it." Yi Qingjiu didn't say anything, but glanced at her. The oppressive feeling in his eyes made Si Qingqing shut up immediately. "I'm going to make a data analysis table right now to see the future growth trend of this game. I want to see the analysis table in half an hour." "Yes, Mr. Yi," Manager Luo said and hurried out. Yi Qingjiu glanced at Si Qingqing and asked, "Are the 4 vice presidents here today?" Si Qingqing thought for a moment and said, Well, only Mr. Lee is not here, the other three are all here. Okay, inform them that the meeting will start in an hour. Okay, Mr. Yi, Si Kinking hurried out. Tengsing Company has a total of 5 shareholders. Apart from Yi Qingjiu, the remaining 4 people each hold 10% of the shares. Although the shares are small, I have put a lot of thought into it. They have been plotting against her overtly and covertly over the years, and they all hope that she will step down. Jiang Cheng had breakfast, played with the 2 babies in the garden for a while, and then took the 2 babies to the vegetable market. Why go to the vegetable market? After all, the vegetables in the market are fresh and cheap. Although I have some money now, it's still better to buy groceries in a new way. His principle is to only buy the right things, not the expensive ones. I bought some groceries and made lunch. After lunch, the 2 babies took a nap. Jiang Cheng waited until his beloved ones were all asleep before he sat down at the table, turned on his computer, and took a look at the background of King of Glory. At this point, there are already 2 million players online at the same time. The speed of the data increase far exceeded Jiang Cheng's expectations. He was studying the data when Su Ji called again. Jiang Cheng was afraid of disturbing the child, so he ran out holding the phone. He said impatiently, "Why are you calling at this time?" Su Ji on the other end of the phone looked confused. Huh? Why are you so angry? Did I disturb him? It started in the middle of the day. How exciting. Thinking of this, Su Ji on the other end of the phone looked ashamed. "I'm sorry, Brother Cheng, you go on, you go on. Help me convey my sincere apology to my sister-in-law." After hearing what he said, Jiang Cheng was both angry and amused. "Get lost, can you be a little more serious? The 2 babies are sleeping. I was afraid of waking them up by calling. What are you thinking about all day long? Tell me, what do you want from me? I can't look for you if there's nothing wrong. It's only been less than 2 weeks since we last met, and you're so cold to me," Su Ji said half-jokingly. Jiang Cheng was horrified by what he said. "Don't disgust me, just tell me what you have to say." "Nothing much, there's just a new game called King of Glory. It's so exciting, the 5v5 competition is very strong. Do you want to rank up together?" Speaking of games, Jiang Cheng was somewhat excited. "Okay, let's try a couple of games. My online name is How to Train Your Dragon Yin Jiping. Brother Cheng, please add me." Jiang Cheng, Chapter 33, Signing a Contract and Preparing to Sell Copyright. Please collect and recommend. This name is really bad. Jiang Cheng hung up the phone and opened the game. A quick search added How to Train Your Dragon Yin Jiping. A moment later, Jiang Cheng received a WeChat message from Su Ji. "Brother Cheng, is it you who lit the mosquito coils for Tang Bohu?" Jiang Cheng replied, "It's not me, it's you." Su Ji. I secretly sighed in my heart that Brother Cheng is worthy of being Brother Cheng. Even his name is so. The 2 people quickly chose heroes. Jiang Cheng chose Sima Yi and Su Ji chose Yu Liang. There are 2 people, one in the middle and one in the jungle, and the mid and jungle work together. They caught the enemy a few times in the beginning, and then held him down and hit him in the face. The middle lane was defeated all the way, and the opponent had no choice but to team up to defend the home. Jiang Cheng, a Sima Yi, was moving back and forth among the 5 people, and 3 consecutive victories were seen on the screen. 4 consecutive victories. Team wiped out. After several waves of operations, the opponent was so poor that he couldn't even afford to buy shoes. Barely 8 minutes into the game, Jiang Cheng and Su Ji were already standing at the doorstep of someone's house. The 2 of them didn't even bother to dismantle the crystal, just waiting for whoever came out to kill them. Taking heads was like cutting leeks, one after another, until the screen went from 3 consecutive wins to 8 consecutive wins. I beat the opponent so hard that he started to doubt his life. The game was over, and Su Ji was so excited that he almost went crazy. It felt so good to beat the opponent. It feels even better when the opponent doesn't dare to come out. Because the 2 babies were sleeping, Jiang Cheng did not turn on the voice chat. Fortunately, it was not open. If it was, he would definitely hear Su Ji's excited and silly screams. Whoosh! WeChat rang and the sender was Su Ji. "Brother Cheng, you are so awesome. This is simply a god-like operation." Jiang Cheng, stop bragging, the game has only been out for 2 days. Have you ever seen a great player? Su Ji, I don't care, Brother Cheng. You will always be the god in my heart. Please accept my knee. Jiang Cheng kneeled down and bow. What? Jiang Cheng was playing the game enthusiastically, and at the same time Yi Qingjiu's meeting was also in full swing. Several vice presidents were sitting in the conference room, crossing their legs and looking at the domineering Yi Qingjiu. They are both vice presidents and shareholders of Tengsing, and no one holds more than 10% of the shares. Li Zhang spoke first. We have already spent nearly 20 million on the 2 mobile games we launched previously, and the finance department doesn't have any more money to buy copyrights right now. Yi Qingjiu knew very well whether Tencent had money or not. The reason why Li Zhang said that was simply because he was unwilling to buy the copyright. Yi Qingjiu did not respond but looked at Mr. Zhang Heng. What do you think? Zhang Heng and Li Zhang have always had a good relationship. The two of them worked together on the project to embezzle a lot of the company's money. If Li Zhang disagreed, he naturally couldn't agree either. My opinion is the same as Mr. Li's. After all, there are already 2 A-level projects in the bank. The most important thing is to do a good job on those 2 games and recover the funds as soon as possible. Yi Qingjiu raised his eyebrows and looked at Mr. Feng, who was sitting opposite Mr. Zhang. What about you? Mr. Feng coughed twice. I don't think there's much to study about this issue. For Tencent, technology is its strength. As for the marketing in the later stage, Tencent doesn't have much advantage in a series of strategies, so I don't recommend buying the copyright of this game. What he said sounded fine, but in Yi Qingjiu's opinion, the scope was not big enough. Yi Qingjiu had no expression on his face and said calmly, I think that the game King of Glory has not been packaged yet, but the effect is so good. Of course, many companies will be eyeing it. If this game falls into the hands of other companies, have you thought about the consequences? If such an explosive game were acquired by a company of comparable strength, it would undoubtedly deal a huge blow to the 2 other games that had just been launched. Mr. Wang looked at Yi Qingjiu with a hint of impatience in his eyes. These 4 shareholders are all veterans of Tencent. In their eyes, Yi Qingjiu is just bullying others in Tencent because he has a lot of shares. She is just a little girl, what can she understand? He crossed his legs and looked at her. Qingjiu, we are all your uncles according to seniority, but I still want to advise you something. You are a girl, there are many things you don't understand. I heard today that your proposal was posted online. Since you already have someone you like, why don't you sell your shares to us, take the money home to raise your husband and children, and live a fairy-like life? Isn't that good? Yi Qingjiu looked at him and sneered. I knew that you had something against me, Boss Wang. Today it seems that you have a big problem with me. You don't even want to pretend anymore, right? President Wang looked at her and smiled dignifiedly. How can you say that? We are doing this for your own good. What they meant was that it was for her own good. It was just that the 4 of them wanted to join forces to take away her shares. Yi Qingjiu glanced at them with her phoenix eyes and folded her hands across her chest. Originally, this meeting didn't have to be held. To put it bluntly, the fact that you can sit here is entirely out of my respect for you. But since no one agrees, I don't think we need to raise our hands for a vote. She glanced at her assistant Kinking and said, Notify manager Luo to dig out this developer for me. Tencent is going to acquire Honor of Kings. You, President Wang, was very angry. Although you are the president, you can't be too willful. Mr. Zhang slammed the table in anger. Yi Qingjiu sneered. I thought you forgot that I'm the president. Why, since everyone thinks it's unfair, why don't we vote by raising our hands? When it came to voting by raising hands, everyone's faces became even worse. The vote by show of hands is not actually calculated by number of people, but by shares. Yi Qingjiu alone holds 60% of the shares. In other words, even if all 4 of them objected, their opposition would be ineffective. Since ancient times, the business world has been like a battlefield. Yi Qingjiu also deeply understands the truth that there can't be 2 tigers in one mountain. It's not that she is overbearing, but Tencent needs someone with a strong influence. There are some things that she must decide. Humph, you are becoming more and more arrogant now. Sooner or later, Tencent will be destroyed in your hands. Mr. Wang was so angry that he slammed the table and left. Yi Qingjiu raised his eyebrows indifferently and said in a contemptuous tone, If there is nothing else, let's adjourn the meeting. After saying that, he turned around and went back to the president's office. In the Yi family villa, Jiang Cheng had just won a few games and was in a very good mood. While I was looking at my own battle record, my cell phone rang unexpectedly. He ran out holding the cell phone. I was speechless. The phone didn't ring early or late, and it was ringing loudly when the child was already asleep. Hello, how are you? Jiang Cheng asked patiently. Hello, are you Mr. Jiang Chengjiang? The girl on the other end of the phone asked this cautiously. I am. Hello, Mr. Jiang, I'm from Steam. So far, 8 companies have approached us, hoping to negotiate with you about the game copyright. 8 families. The next day, people came to the door and they were 8 companies. It seems that good games are equally popular there. Jiang Cheng sighed secretly. Chapter 34, Cooking Fruit Porridge for my wife Tilda. Please collect and recommend. Although he really wanted to make this game himself and develop a mobile game later, it was obvious that he didn't seem to have that much time. Once the number of game players reaches a certain level, a team is needed. Continuously repairing data and testing the system takes a lot of time. Moreover, if the offer made by the other party is attractive enough to make you excited, then it is not a bad idea. But with so many companies, how can I know which one is the strongest? Mr. Jiang, it's like this. You know, we are just a platform that provides games. We are not very clear about other things. If you are willing, you can leave this matter to us. So what are you going to do? It's like this, Mr. Jiang. We will hold a special bidding for your game and do everything we can to ensure that you and your game will receive the most revenue. Is there such a good thing? You know, he only paid 647 yuan at the beginning. How could he get such good service? Is your platform service so good? Jiang Cheng was a little incredulous. It's like this. Our company does provide this special service. As long as you sign a contract with us and promise to entrust us to handle this matter, we will be responsible for you and your game to the end. However, once it is successful, we will charge a 10% commission. Oh, is that so? I'll leave it to you then. Okay, Mr. Jiang, are you free at 4 p.m.? Let's make an appointment and sign the contract as soon as possible. Jiang Cheng looked at his watch and said, Okay, no problem, let's go to the Starbucks on Zhongshan Street. When it was almost 4 o'clock, Jiang Cheng handed the two children to Zhang Ma, then went out and went to Starbucks. As soon as I entered the door, a beautiful woman in a casual suit came to greet me. Because she had submitted her ID card when submitting the game, she recognized Jiang Cheng at a glance. But she didn't expect that he was much more handsome in real life than in his ID photo. She was so happy that she couldn't help but speak excitedly. Hello, Mr. Jiang. Oh, hello, Jiang Cheng smiled politely. Sir, please come this way. After saying that, the beautiful woman stretched out her arm to lead Jiang Cheng. Okay, Jiang Cheng followed her and walked to a sofa by the window. The beauty took out the contract and said with a smile, Please take a look. Jiang Cheng nodded and began to read it carefully. The beauty looked at Jiang Cheng lowering his head and reading the documents seriously, and couldn't help but sigh secretly. Oh my God, he is so handsome. Most importantly, he is still young and promising. He can make such a popular game on the entire internet in his early 20s. The more she thought about it, the more excited she became. She looked at him with admiration. Sir, do you have a girlfriend? Hearing this question again, Jiang Cheng said firmly, I have a wife and two children, twins, boy and girl, super cute. Wherever he goes now, people follow him and ask him if he has a girlfriend. It's really frustrating. After hearing his answer, the beautiful woman felt a little regretful. You already have a child at such a young age. Sure enough, all the good men have been picked up by others. Jiang Cheng signed the contract quickly and handed it back. He said politely, Sorry for the trouble, sir. I have something else to do. I'll leave first. If you have anything else, we can contact each other by phone. Okay, Mr. Jiang. Jiang Cheng turned and walked out of the Starbucks door, got into his Phantom and drove home. The setting sun shone through the dark glass film, and a warm breath filled the car. For a moment, Jiang Cheng seemed to smell the faint fragrance of Yi Qingjiu. Yes, he missed her. Jiang Cheng picked up the phone and dialed the familiar number, just about to ask her when she would be back. Unexpectedly, no one answered the phone. He dialed again and listened to the beeping tone on the other end of the phone. I couldn't help but wonder. It's strange, his wife never seems to fail to answer his calls. Was she already home? Was she with the kids so she didn't hear it? Thinking about this, Jiang Cheng arrived at Kaiyanjiang Road, which was not far from the villa. 5 minutes later, Jiang Cheng arrived at the door of the villa. I stopped the car and was about to open the door when I heard the roar of a car. Turning around, I saw that eye-catching Lamborghini. Yi Qingjiu parked the car at the door without delay, pressed the trunk button, and saw Jiang Cheng standing at the door. He said casually, What a coincidence, just in time to help me get something. Just as he was thinking about her, she appeared. Jiang Cheng smiled and said, I'm very happy to help my wife get things. When he walked to the trunk, he was surprised by the full trunk. There were all kinds of vitamins, calcium tablets, American ginseng tablets, and cordyceps, filling the entire trunk. Jiang Cheng looked at her and said, Wife, are you feeling unwell? Yi Qingjiu glanced at him and said, We'll get the marriage certificate the day after tomorrow. Aren't you going to take me to meet my uncle and aunt? She felt that it was necessary to meet the parents before getting the marriage certificate, as it was a courtesy from the other parents. After saying that, Qingjiu opened the car door and took out a few packs of 1916, 4 bottles of Maodai, and a large box of tea that looked very expensive from the passenger seat. Jiang Cheng didn't expect that his carefree, even silly wife could have such a meticulous side, and he felt touched. Seeing that he was still in a daze, Yi Qingjiu urged him, "Hurry up and bring the things in, Tilda." "Oh," Jiang Cheng agreed and took out the bags from the trunk, then walked into the house. Because of what happened during the day, Yi Qingjiu has been in a bad mood. I came home and sat on the sofa listlessly. Jiang Cheng looked at him and couldn't help but asked with concern, "What's wrong?" Yi Qingjiu shook his head. "It's okay, I'm just a little tired." She is a girl after all. In the eyes of outsiders, she is a decisive female devil, but no one knows how difficult her life is. She sat on the sofa wantonly, her yellowish hair falling down softly. The whole person exudes an indescribable temperament, a little weak and a little charming. Seeing that she didn't want to talk, Jiang Cheng didn't ask any more questions. "You must be hungry. I'll go cook for you." Yi Qingjiu shook her head and said, "I'm not hungry and I don't want to eat." Her tone was soft, like a spoiled child. "You can't not eat, just wait." Jiang Cheng walked into the kitchen and looked at the passion fruit he bought in the morning. His eyebrows moved, and he thought about making some fruit porridge for his wife. He took out 2 passion fruits and cut them open, and the fragrance instantly filled his nose. He fetched some more spiritual spring water and cooked passion fruit porridge for Yi Qingjiu. After a while, the porridge was ready. He brought it out and placed it on the table. "Hurry and drink it." The golden porridge looked fragrant and sweet, which made Yi Qingjiu, who originally had no appetite, want to try it. She looked at Jiang Cheng and said weakly, "Thank you." Chapter 35, Do You Want to Swim Together? Please collect and recommend. Ding Tilda. The system detected that the host cooked fruit porridge for his wife and awarded the skill mind reading. Tip, it can only be used once a day, for less than 30 minutes. How do I use this? As long as the host concentrates, recites silently, and activates the mind reading skill, he can hear what others are thinking. This skill is good. Jiang Cheng narrowed his eyes. Seeing Yi Qingjiu sitting still, he said in a gentle voice, "Eat it quickly, I put sugar in it specially." When the 2 little babies heard that there was food, they both ran over. Niu looked at the golden passion fruit sweet porridge in the bowl, licked her lips, and acted coquettishly. "Mom, Niu, can I have a small bite?" Yanyan also came over. Yanyan wants to try it too. Seeing that both babies wanted to eat, Jiang Cheng walked over with a smile, bent down and touched the 2 babies' heads. "Be good, this is for Mommy. There's more in the pot. Daddy will serve it to you." "Okay." The 2 babies swallowed and looked at Jiang Cheng sensibly. He served some porridge to the 2 babies and watched the 3 of them finish eating. Only then did they put away the dishes, and the family of 4 sat on the sofa, watching Peppa Pig. Seeing Peggy's family swimming, Nano suddenly had an idea. Nano also wants to swim with Mom. Yanyan also clapped her hands hurriedly. Yanyan wants to too, Tilda. Hearing about swimming, Yi Qingjiu frowned. "It's so late, why swim?" Seeing that Yi Qingjiu refused, Niu immediately held her 2 chubby little hands and begged, "Mom, please, please, Tilda." Yanyan also looked eager. "Mom, Yanyan wants to swim too." The 2 babies spoke in such sweet and soft tones and looked so pitiful that Jiang Cheng couldn't bear it. "There's a swimming pool at the back, so why not swim for a while?" Jiang Cheng said. He knew that there were cleaning staff outside Yi Qingjiu's villa every day, and the water in the swimming pool was changed frequently, so it was very clean. Swimming is fine, swimming with the kids is fine, but what about him? What about him? If we swim together, he will see us naked. Yi Qingjiu looked away. You don't understand, the child is too young, it's an adult swimming pool, it's not safe." There was nothing wrong with her words, but the look in her eyes seemed like she was avoiding something. What was she avoiding? The more Jiang Cheng looked at her, the more he felt there was something wrong. Suddenly, a light bulb went off in my head. Did the system just read my mind? It has to be arranged. Thinking about it, Jiang Cheng concentrated and silently said, "Mind reading." Then I heard Yi Qingjiu's strong heartbeat. Swimming together, what if he flirts with me again? He always makes me blush and my heart beat fast. "You haven't even received the certificate yet, Yi Qingjiu. You must hold on." "Not too fast, not too fast." Jiang Cheng couldn't help but laugh as he listened to the voice in her heart that sounded like a barrage of audio. So he's afraid that I'll seduce her, so he's cheering myself up. No, I have to tease her. He crossed his arms and looked at Yi Qingjiu carefully, with a hint of ambiguous aggression in his eyes. Yi Qingjiu felt a little uncomfortable being stared at by him. Why are you looking at me?" Jiang Cheng shook his head with a look of regret. "Wife, why don't we go swimming together? Swimming helps you sleep, Tilda." Look, he finally said it. He just wanted to tease me and see me blush and my heart beat fast. Yi Qingjiu said with a firm face, I'm not going. Why does this man never play by the rules? They say the earlier you get something, the less you will cherish it. What if I can't help myself and get pregnant with twins? By then, we will have a family of 6. When Jiang Cheng heard about a family of 6, he finally couldn't help but burst out laughing. His wife has a really big imagination. It's just swimming, but she can think of so many things. And they have twins. Do you think you are in a TV drama, with a couple on the left and a couple on the right? Yi Qingjiu looked at him nervously and even stuttered as he spoke. What are you laughing at? Jiang Cheng touched the tip of his nose. Why can't I smile when my wife is so cute? Yi Qingjiu looked at him with ill intentions and felt a little nervous. Did he know what she was thinking? I clearly didn't say anything. Nunyu and Yanyan waited for a long time, looking anxiously at Jiang Cheng. Dad, Nunyu really wants to swim. Yanyan also pouted and said softly, Dad, just 10 minutes, okay, Tilda. Jiang Cheng glanced at Yi Qingjiu, and his tone of command was mocking. Don't worry, twins are not always possible. The children all want to go, don't spoil their fun. Oh my God, what is he talking about? What twins? Twins of what? Does he really know what he's thinking? Why is this happening? Jiang Cheng. Yi Qingjiu felt that all the nerves in her body were tense. At this moment, she was like a cat ready to fight at any time. Jiang Cheng curled his lips. Don't worry, I won't bully you, pack up and come over quickly. After he said that, he went back to the closet in the room, took out his swimming trunks, and went to the back door of the villa with his 2 happy babies. The 2 babes opened the locker by the pool and took out their swimsuits. Nyu's swimsuit is a white puffy skirt style, and when she wears it, she looks like a real white swan. Jiang Cheng looked at his daughter, who was so elegant at such a young age, and couldn't help but secretly sigh that Yi Qingjiu's genes were so strong. Yanyan was a boy who was only wearing a pair of swimming trunks and looked chubby. After changing their clothes, the 2 babies couldn't wait to jump into the water holding their swimming rings. Their chubby little legs paddled in the water and they splashed water like Peggy, which was so adorable. Although there was a swimming ring, the pool was only 1.6 meters deep after all. Jiang Cheng was concerned about their safety, so he just stayed by their side and played with them. The 3 of them were having fun splashing in the water when they saw Yi Qingjiu wearing a black bikini with a slender waist and a pair of long, straight, and thin legs. She was walking slowly towards them from the back door. She was so sexy that she was hopelessly sexy. When the 2 babies saw her, they swam towards her and said, Mom, Yanyan is here to pick you up. Mom, come down and play with us, Tilda. Yi Qingjiu looked at the 2 babies with tender eyes. Okay, Mommy will be here soon. The moment Jiang Cheng saw Yi Qingjiu, his blood began to boil. Then his throat became dry and he wanted to drink water. He really wanted to. He stood up and jumped up holding onto the platform. His whole body was exposed to the air, and his 8-pack abs were faintly visible. Yi Qingjiu's face instantly turned red. Why aren't you wearing any clothes? Jiang Cheng suppressed his laughter and said, Wife, your question is a bit stupid. Who wears clothes when swimming? Besides, you were the one looking at me. Why are you still shy? Chapter 36, Let's Go Sleep with Mom Tilda. Please collect and recommend Tilda. Jiang Cheng looked at her with a smile, with a hint of unintentional mockery in his tone. Yi Qingjiu's pretty face was so red that it almost bled. Then you don't know how to be shy. Jiang Cheng looked at her shy appearance and smiled with his eyes curved. You are my wife and I am your husband. We are about to get the marriage certificate, so why should we be shy? Damn it. How come his words, which were clearly problematic, seemed to have no problem at all? So what went wrong? Yi Qingjiu felt that the intellectual defense line that he was so proud of collapsed in an instant, and his brain was completely empty, without a single word. Now she just wants to escape. She wants to be quiet. Yi Qingjiu took the escalator and went up the stairs. The water on his body wet the marble floor under his feet. Jiang Cheng looked at her embarrassed back and wanted to laugh. Leaving now? Why is she so cute? No, I can't let her go. Jiang Cheng chased after her. Wife, don't go, you are not too embarrassed to see me, Tilda. His words made Yi Qingjiu want to escape even more. Just as he took a step, his foot suddenly slipped, and then he fell towards Jiang Cheng. 3 seconds later, both of them fell to the ground. Just like this, the woman is on top of the man. Yi Qingjiu stuck to Jiang Cheng, and the moment he touched his chest, his whole body began to burn uncontrollably. It was no exaggeration to say that his heart almost stopped beating. When she came to her senses, she realized that touching his chest was nothing. What's even worse is that he put his hand on his butt. Is this a hint? What is he going to do? Oh my God. Thinking of this, Yi Qingjiu's nerves all tensed up. Let me go. Jiang Cheng was worried that she would fall into the water and wanted to hold her, but unexpectedly, his hand touched her buttocks. He looked at Yi Qing's face, which was so red that it couldn't get any redder, and said in a teasing tone, I'm a little reluctant. You are a hooligan. Yi Qingjiu was going crazy. Jiang Cheng smiled with curved eyebrows. How can I be a hooligan if I touch my own wife? Seeing their dad and mom fall to the ground, the two babies were so anxious that they were about to cry, and they swam over with their little feet. Mom, get up quickly. You're pressing on Daddy Tilda. Daddy must be in pain, Tilda. Yi Qingjiu, don't you feel sorry for yourself? This is the child you have worked so hard to raise for 3 years. 30 seconds later, Yi Qingjiu ran quickly towards the back door of the villa. What? The two babies looked at their mother's back with innocent faces and said softly, Daddy, why did Mommy leave? Of course, they didn't understand that Mom was so embarrassed that she wanted to bury herself. Yanyan looked at Niu like a little adult. Mom must be angry and think we don't love him anymore. Jiang Cheng is in a very good mood at the moment. He doesn't know why, but he is always in a good mood. He looked at the two babies with a smile. Mom is angry, what should I do? Niu pouted and climbed on the swimming ring. But Daddy, why is Mommy angry? Jiang Cheng rubbed her nose, his eyes soft. Let me give you a simple example. If Dad only gave cherries to Yanyan and not to Niu, would Niu be angry? Niu looked at Jiang Cheng angrily. Yes, Dad doesn't love me and only gives food to my brother. Jiang Cheng looked at his daughter, who was deeply immersed in the play. Jiang Cheng carried her out of the water and said, Yes, you are worried about Daddy. What do you think Mom will think? After hearing what Jiang Cheng said, Niu felt so wrong that she almost cried. But I obviously love Mommy very much. She really loves her mother. Yanyan looked hesitant and said, Why don't we go sleep with Mom at night so she won't be angry? Who said my son isn't cute? Who? Niu looked at Jiang Cheng seriously. Daddy, can you sleep with Mommy? Jiang Cheng nodded. Why not? She is your mother. After getting Jiang Cheng's affirmation, Niu's young face showed a firm expression. Then let's go find Mom now. After saying that, he took Yanyan's hand and ran into the house. Jiang Cheng looked at the two babies running around barefoot, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. They didn't even wipe the water off. They'll get sick. After saying that, he chased after him with a bath towel. Yi Qingjiu had just taken a shower and calmed down when he heard a series of deep and shallow footsteps in the living room. Then two round heads popped in. Mommy, Niu, come and sleep with Mommy. Yanyan followed behind. I want to sleep with Mommy too. As soon as the two babies came in, Jiang Cheng followed in with a bath towel in his hand. You won't get sick if you don't dry yourself. Yi Qingjiu looked at the two soft and glutinous meatballs, and his heart softened immediately. She squatted down and looked at the two wet babies. Mommy will run the water for you to take a bath, okay? When they heard that they could take a bath, the two babies clapped their hands happily and said, Okay, Tilda. After saying that, he followed his mother into the bathroom. Jiang Cheng returned to the house. After all, he had just swam. Although the water in the swimming pool was very clean, he still decided to take a bath. He took a shower and blew his hair. As soon as I put down the hair dryer, I heard the earth-shaking cries of the two babies. Oh my God, what's going on? Jiang Cheng was startled and turned around and ran towards Yi Qing's wine room. At this moment, Yi Qingjiu was sitting on the bed looking at the two little guys helplessly. The two little guys held her hands, tears in their eyes, and looked so sad. What's wrong? Why are you crying like this? Jiang Cheng walked over and looked at the two babies worriedly. Seeing their dad, the two kids turned around and rushed towards him, full of grievances. Daddy, why did you come just now? Daddy, we miss you so much. Jiang Cheng's heart was broken when he saw his two babies crying so sadly. He hurriedly held the two meatballs in his arms and looked at Yi Qingjiu. What's going on? Yi Qingjiu's face turned red. Niu wiped her tears and spoke first. Daddy, I want to sleep with you and Mommy, but Mommy doesn't agree. Yanyan also nodded. Why don't Mom and Dad sleep together? Yanyan can't bear to leave Mom and Dad. Oh, so that's what it is. Jiang Cheng thought it was a big deal. He put the two treasures on the bed, then sat down and looked at Yi Qingjiu. Originally, he wanted to say that he would leave after the child fell asleep. Unexpectedly, Yi Qingjiu quickly turned off the lights, turned her back to Jiang Cheng and said shyly, Go to sleep. Okay, Mom and Dad will sleep with us. Niu burst into laughter. Go to bed quickly. Children will not grow tall if they don't sleep well, Yi Qingjiu said coldly. After an unknown amount of time, the two babies fell asleep. The moonlight is a little hazy. Yi Qingjiu heard Jiang Cheng's breathing, which was very light and even. I felt strangely relieved when I heard it, but I couldn't help feeling a little embarrassed. Chapter 37. Auntie is so nice. Please collect and recommend. Jiang Cheng turned around in a daze and hugged her. Yi Qingjiu's heart was in his throat. Why haven't you slept yet? I'm awake. I seem to have dreamed of you just now. Dream about me? Dream about me of what? I dreamed that you said you were afraid. So he was worried that he was scared. Yi Qingjiu thought about it and couldn't help but move his body. Don't move, let me hold you for a while. Jiang Cheng's voice was tired and hoarse. The little deer in Yi Qingjiu's heart seemed to be about to fly out. She smelled the pleasant scent of soapberry on Jiang Cheng. I just let him hold me like this, and I don't know how long it took. Both of them fell asleep. The next morning, Jiang Cheng felt as if his arm had been electrocuted. It was sore and numb. But looking at Yi Qingjiu, who was sleeping soundly, he couldn't bear to move. The sunlight fell on her fair face, her long eyelashes drooped, and her delicate M-shaped lips were particularly attractive. Yi Qingjiu opened her eyes and was startled by Jiang Cheng's passionate gaze. Why are you staring at me? Wife, my arm is numb. What? 30 seconds later, Yi Qingjiu quickly got up and said, Hey, pack up. We have to go see uncle and aunt later. After saying that, she turned and hid in the bathroom. God knows how I ended up sleeping on his arm. However, with my head resting on his arm, I seemed to sleep particularly soundly. The two babies got up when they heard the noise and smiled when they saw Jiang Cheng. Daddy, Mommy's bed is so soft. It's so comfortable to sleep in, Tilda. Let's sleep together with Mom from now on, Tilda. Jiang Cheng patted the two meatballs' heads and said, Get up, let's go to Grandma's house today. The two little guys loved to play. When they heard that they were going to Grandma's house, they were very happy. Great, we can ride big horses again. Grandpa would even lift it up very high, very high. Seeing the two babies' excitement, Jiang Cheng picked up his phone with a smile and sent a WeChat message to his mother. Don't you want to see your wife? I'll take her back to you now. Are you ready? 3 seconds later, I received a reply from my mother. Really? What does she like to eat? Is there anything she avoids? Jiang Cheng looked at the WeChat and imagined his mother's excited expression. He replied, It seems that your wife hasn't discovered anything else she likes except me. Just buy some and I will cook it when I get home. After replying to the message, Jiang Cheng put down his phone and took his two babies to brush their teeth and wash their faces. After packing up, the family of 4 got on the Phantom and headed towards my mother's neighborhood. When they arrived at the community, the two meatballs were skipping and jumping in front, while Yi Qingjiu and Jiang Cheng were walking behind carrying large and small bags. Jiang Cheng frowned. Wife, let's not buy so much next time. It looks like we are fleeing from famine. Although Yi Qingjiu valued his parents and made him feel very happy, there were only 2 elderly people after all, and it would take forever to feed them with so many gifts. Yi Qingjiu glared at him and said, What do you know? Lead the way. Mother Jiang knew that her daughter-in-law was coming, so she was waiting at the entrance of the corridor early. When she saw Yi Qingjiu beside Jiang Cheng, her eyes curved with smile. Her daughter-in-law is so beautiful. She looks well-behaved and lively like a fairy. Chengzi is back. This must be my daughter-in-law. Yi Qingjiu smiled politely. Hello, Auntie, my name is Yi Qingjiu. Why call me Auntie? Call me Mom. Mother Jiang was extremely excited. The 2 children saw their grandmother and ran over. Grandma, we are here to see you. Mother Jiang touched the 2 children's heads and said, Okay. She looked up at Yi Qingjiu and said, let's go home. As he said this, he took the 2 children and led the way. After entering the door, Jiang Cheng looked at his father in his shirt and leather shoes and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. My goodness, his daughter-in-law is here and she's even wearing leather shoes. This is too formal. Mother Jiang looked at the large and small bags and held Yi Qingjiu's hand. Child, it's not easy for you to earn some money on your own, and you have to raise 2 children. It would be great if you could save this money for the children. Auntie, it's okay. I don't know what you and Uncle like, so I bought a little more. I hope you like it. Mother Jiang took her hand and sat on the sofa with a smile. This child. Before he finished speaking, Jiang's father took the lead in expressing his opinion. Hey, from now on we are a family. If Jiang Cheng dares to treat you badly, just tell Dad and I will break his legs. And Mom, I will take care of you too. I will never let you suffer any injustice, Tilda. Jiang Cheng looked at the 3 people on the sofa with a frown on his face. Well, I have nothing to do now, so I'll go cook. He turned and went into the kitchen. His mother bought quite a few vegetables. Jiang Cheng picked a few and started cooking. As soon as Jiang Cheng entered the kitchen, Jiang's mother completely let herself go and talked about everything from his first grade to his university years. He had never had a girlfriend since he was a child and had a good relationship with that classmate. He told Yi Qingju everything clearly. The two little guys were having a lot of fun playing at Grandma's house and would come to the kitchen from time to time. At noon, hot meals were served on the table. A family of 6 sat at the table. Father Jiang nodded with satisfaction. In just a few days, his son had learned how to cook, and he cooked so well. It seemed that there would be no problem for him to help his daughter-in-law in the future. At least the two babies won't suffer just because the daughter-in-law is busy with work. Mother Jiang is also very satisfied with her daughter-in-law. She has taken care of the child alone for 3 years without any complaints. It is rare to see someone with such a kind heart. The family of 6 was having dinner when Yi Qingjiu's phone rang. It was manager Luo calling. After all, it was her first time meeting Jiang Cheng's parents, and she didn't want to leave any bad impression. I finished my meal before going to the bathroom to secretly answer the phone. She said calmly, "What's the matter?" Manager Luo sat in his office with a gloomy face. "Yi, Mr. Yi, we really can't find the producer of King of Glory, and Steam refuses to provide any information. How dare you be a department manager when you can't even find someone?" Yi Qingjiu was a little angry. After all, acquiring Honor of Kings was the top priority at the moment. If it is not acquired in time, its popularity will soon overshadow its own company's 2 games. The consequence may be that its own game may not even make back the initial marketing costs, not to mention the production costs of the game itself. Mr. Yi, don't be angry. Although I haven't contacted the producer as far as I know, other companies haven't been contacted either. And Steam said that the producer of this game has been handed over to them and they are fully responsible for it. An auction will be held the day after tomorrow. We will try to win it in one fell swoop then, Manager Luo explained. How many companies are there in total? She asked. There are 8 companies so far. Yaochen and Linmu also participated in the auction. Manager Luo answered truthfully. When Yi Qingjiu heard Yu Chen and Lin Mu, he felt a little unsure. Chapter 38, preparing to get the certificate, please collect and recommend. Although Tencent is the largest compared to Yaochen and Linmu, it is entirely based on Tencent's diversification. Just as Mr. Feng said, Tencent is indeed at the forefront in terms of technology. But when it comes to marketing methods, the 2 companies behind it may have more advantages than Tencent. Moreover, joint bidding will inevitably drive the price to the top. Something that was originally planned to be acquired for 30 million may cost 60 million or even 80 million once the auction starts. This is just another joke. Luo Siming, I just want to say one thing. You must find the maker of this for me, or you can go home and retire. Hearing this, Manager Luo felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. But the author's information is completely protected. We can't find out. Yi Qingjiu's eyelashes trembled. If you can't find out, hack Steam for me. I must find their customer information. As expected, it was Mr. Yi. There was no way she couldn't think of. Manager Luo was excited. Okay, Mr. Yi, I'll go right away. Yi Qingjiu finished speaking and hung up the phone. After the 2 babies finished their meal, their sleepy eyes became a little straight. Jiang Cheng saw Yi Qingjiu coming out and pulled her to Jiang's father and Jiang's mother. Hey, you guys have seen the person, let's take the child back first. When Jiang's mother and father heard that Yi Qingjiu was leaving, they felt reluctant to let him go. Although I really want to let them stay at home for a few days, the space is limited after all. Father Jiang also nodded and said, go back, let the children come and play more. Jiang's mother looked reluctant and said, okay, I won't keep you here, I'll take you there. Jiang Cheng glanced at his mother and said, don't send me off, it's just 2 steps away, it's not like I won't come back. Jiang Ma smiled and scolded him, you think I'm giving it to you as a gift? I want to give you green wine, I can't bear to give it away. Others forget their mothers after they get married, but he, as a mother, forgets his son after he gets married. Okay, Jiang Cheng smiled and shook his head. A few people came downstairs talking and laughing, and Jiang Cheng drove towards the villa with his family of 4. When Mother Jiang saw that everyone had left, she reluctantly walked back. As I was walking, I met some old neighbors. These old men and women are always outside basking in the sun, so it's common to run into them. Hey, Jiang Cheng's mother, that was your daughter-in-law just now. The person who spoke was our neighbor Aunt Li. Mother Jiang was very happy. Yes, Jiang Cheng finally brought his daughter-in-law back to me. I saw it when you came in. I think the girl is so pretty and filial. She was carrying so many bags for you that she could hardly walk. And those 2 kids, They look like they have inherited all the good qualities from them. Mother Jiang listened to her praise and smiled. Yes, yes, my two babies, you don't know they are so cute. It makes me happy to mention them. Aunt Lee looked at her with envy. I really don't know what good deeds you did in your previous life. Your son is getting more and more handsome, not to mention your daughter-in-law, who looks like a big star and is so filial. Your grandchildren are also cute. What? Yi Qingju sat in the passenger seat, and the two babies sat in safety seats. The warm sun shines in, making people feel sleepy. The two babies fell asleep again as soon as they got in the car, and Yi Qingju was also a little confused. When they got home, the two of them carried the child back to bed. The two babies were sleeping soundly, and had no idea that someone was carrying them from the car to the bed. Jiang Cheng looked at the listless Yi Qingju and said gently, "You should take a rest too." He turned around and prepared to go back to the house. Seeing that he was about to leave, Yi Qingju suddenly said, "Hey, let's sleep together." After saying that, she couldn't help but feel shy again. "You, don't think too much. I'm just afraid that they will be unhappy when they see you're not here." For some reason, she had begun to rely on him more and more. In fact, fearing that the children would be unhappy when they woke up was only one aspect. The more important thing was that she just wanted to be with him. "I just want to smell the faint scent of soapberry on him." Jiang Cheng looked at Yi Qingju. At this moment, her voice was soft, her expression was shy, and the corners of her beautiful eyes were slightly drooping. Just one look at it is enough to make people feel uneasy. He looked at her, and his heartbeat started to speed up for no apparent reason. "Are you not afraid of me?" She wasn't afraid, she was just nervous. "Although I don't know what to do, I can't help but feel a little excited." She looked up. "I'm not." Before he could finish his words, his chin was lifted slightly, and then a pair of warm and soft lips pressed against his. In an instant, the self-control she had always been so proud of collapsed. Her mind went blank. 30 seconds later, Yi Qingju pushed Jiang Cheng away and said, Hey, the children are here." Jiang Cheng looked at her with a smile. Okay. He understood what she meant. "Well, go to sleep." After saying that, he picked up Yi Qingju and carefully placed her on the bed. "Go to sleep quickly. I'm afraid you won't be able to sleep if I'm here again." After saying that, he touched her nose, turned and walked out. Yi Qingju lay on the bed, feeling upset. Jiang Cheng returned to the room, took a shower and lay down, resting his arms on the bed and looking at the ceiling. Just as I was savoring the kiss, the phone rang. It was a call from Steam. He picked up the phone. "Hello, how are you?" A beautiful female voice came from the other end. "Hello, Mr. Jiang, I'm from Steam. So far, 9 companies have expressed interest in the game Honor of Kings. We plan to hold an auction on the 5th floor of Elite International Building the day after tomorrow morning." "Okay. I'm calling this time just to confirm whether you need to attend." In fact, he was still a little curious. After all, it was a game that he had worked on for several days. It would be a lie to say that he was indifferent. He had to go. "Go." "Okay, Mr. Jiang." After saying that, Jiang Cheng hung up the phone. In the evening, Jiang Cheng prepared dinner as usual. During the meal, Yi Qingju told him that she had something to do at the company, so she left first. Jiang Cheng didn't think much about it and nodded. After Yi Qingju left, Jiang Cheng took the 2 children to play in the garden for more than an hour before going upstairs to drink milk and watching Peppa Pig for a while before going to sleep. The next morning, Jiang Cheng handed the 2 babies to Zhang Ma and took them out to play. "After all, I have to go get the certificate today." Yi Qingju was also dressed up carefully. With her high ponytail, she looked full of youth. The white lace miniskirt outlines the perfect figure. A pair of white high heels makes the whole person look refreshing and mature. After getting herself ready, she didn't forget to check on Jiang Cheng. After all, they were going to get the marriage certificate. It was a big day. Jiang Cheng was already sitting on the sofa waiting for her. I originally wanted to find some faults, but I don't know why the more I look at Jiang Cheng recently, the more handsome he seems to be, and it feels like there is a glow on him. She kept looking at Jiang Cheng from head to toe, and the more she looked, the more her heart was moved. I had to ask shyly, "Hey, are you ready?" Jiang Cheng came over and took his hand. "Are you ready?" Me, Yi Qingju nodded, "Yes." Jiang Cheng smiled slightly. "Then let's go." "Okay." Yi Qingju lowered his head. Thinking that I will soon be a certified person, I can't help but feel a little excited. The 2 men left the house and drove all the way to the Bureau of Identification. There were a lot of people getting married today. When we arrived at the certification office, we were called a number and then sat on the benches and waited. The 2 people sat on the stools, watching the people coming and going, and couldn't help feeling a little nervous. Who isn't getting married for the first time? How could you not be nervous? Chapter 39. Getting a certificate and registering, please recommend and collect. Even Jiang Cheng is the same. He looked at Yi Qingjiu and said, "Hey, I'll go buy you a bottle of water." Good. After Jiang Cheng finished speaking, he turned and walked towards the self-service machine next to him. He bought 2 bottles of water, gave one to Yi Qingjiu and kept one for himself. More and more people came, and many young men and women who came to get married recognized them. A couple who came to get their marriage certificate at the back began to discuss quietly. "Hey, look at that woman. Isn't she Yi Qingjiu, the CEO of Tengsing who was popular on Weibo a few days ago? Oh my God, that guy is so handsome." The person who spoke was a cute girl with big eyes, and at this moment there was only Jiang Cheng in her eyes. The boyfriend next to him got angry after hearing what he said. "Wang Ling, what do you mean? He's handsome, go get him and marry him." After saying that, she couldn't help but glance at Jiang Cheng. When she saw him, she couldn't help but exclaim, "Wow, he's so handsome." More importantly,